Okay.
A man who also happens to be a single father whose only child dies in a tragic accident when they decide to run outside.
Look at the pixel rain, looks like Minecraft.
Now, that alone would be plenty of connected dots, but the story continues to hammer home the parallels between these two men. In past videos, I've talked a lot about Henry's signature animatronic design, the hinged jaws that we see on the original animatronics, as well as the
I still remember, bro. I still remember. It's a miracle.
Edwin decided to build the mimic. Quote, under the eye
housing, the mimic
welded in place a hinged jaw. Speaking of Edwin's robots, do you know what Edwin's first business
project
was?
Mimic,
he made robotic vacuum cleaners, presumably like the ones that we see in Fast 6. Edwin and Henry even share the same sandy brown hair color. But the other big parallel that the story gives us is when Edwin destroys the mimic. The way this event is described is very similar to when Henry built the final Charlie bot from the Fourth Closet novel. Here's how it's described in Tales of the Pizzaplex. He could almost feel his murderous thoughts pouring through his muscles, transfusing through the metal into mimic systems. And here's what happens when Henry builds the Charlie bot after her death. Quote from that book. When Henry began to make the fourth, his despair turned to rage. He seethed as he soldered her skeleton together, pouring his anger into the forge where he shaped her very bones.
Oh my god, it's kind of bad.
It was made alive with Henry's fury. In both instances, we have men who have instilled their creations, animatronics that are literal stand-ins for their dead kids, with the pain and rage of loss. If that's not a solid connection, I don't know what is. Even from a timeline perspective, Edwin being Henry makes a lot of sense. In the Mimic,
okay.
Pull out that he's 24
maybe they're different, maybe they're twin brothers.
But then, in another tale from the Pizzaplex, this one called The Storyteller, we meet up with Edwin 40 years later, at the point that he decides to return to the Fazbear franchise to sit on their board of directors. Again, the books make a very specific point to call out all these dates. So why? What's the big deal here? Well, if Edwin is truly the parallel for Henry, Henry lost his daughter Charlie in 1983. We're not exactly sure when he leaves the company, but we definitely know when he comes back, 2023, as evidenced by the numerical code Snap 6.
3 years before.
A perfect match to the time frame that the books
from where we are now.
It has to be Henry, which means, in a very cool twist, our early franchise timeline was almost perfectly correct. In that video, I said that Will Mafton's company specialized in hand-sewn mascot suits, and that Henry, when he was brought in, was the one responsible for turning those suits into animatronics. That prediction right there, that was right on the money.
What's that? I don't remember anymore. I watched these like 1 week
get bought out. I was just wrong about which
last week. I don't remember anymore. My god.
But eventually ran out of money and had to be bailed out by Henry. But as this story shows,
that part I remember.
Henry was ultimately the one that was bought out. And in one final parallel between the books and the games, the story actually describes the Fazbear exec that gets Edwin to sign away his business as Portly, which connects all the way back to the Silver Eyes, where Afton was described in a similar way. Quote, Afton was as robust and lively as Henry was withdrawn and shadowy. He was a hefty man who had the ruddy geniality of a financially shrewd Santa Claus. Okay, cool. So we've got some
financially shrewd Santa Claus? What does that mean? Oh my god, I need to get better at English language. Oh my god.
Storyteller. In this one, we rejoin Edwin
40
years later. Because of his importance to the early days of
random person, I guess. I know it's the same one. Oh my god, I'm so confused.
Does not land too well with the current head of the board, Mr. Burrows. Get it? His name's
Mr. Burrows.
Everyone's always connected to rabbits. Anyway, to cut costs for the Pizzaplex, Mr. Burrows decides
Burrows is the name of a rabbit. No, Burrows is like the PlayStation Lab, right?
Storylines for all the characters. Basically, this thing is like ChatGPT on steroids. This, understandably, upsets Edwin, who apparently has gone from engineering nerd to creative heart of the company. But he's not just a WGA member that's upset about some Writers Guild's rights. What makes matters worse is the fact that Mr. Burrows isn't using just any AI, he's installing Mimic 1, the same program that Edwin created, the one that was trained by his son 40 years prior. When they install it, it even comes in the form of his son's favorite toy. And here's where things start to get real crazy. This AI controls everything in the Pizzaplex. It runs through a large central tree of wires that are connected through the walls. Even tapping
that looks like the Mimic?
In fact,
no, the Mimic, no. I don't remember the name. Oh, I'm so confused now.
From their normal personalities into something that's a bit more like a 4-year-old.
Because it wasn't the other name, Clown or Puppet, yeah.
Cry. David is somehow getting infused into everything that this AI touches. Eventually, Edwin attempts to shut the Mimic 1 program down, but he dies in the process. However, in his final moments, he attempts to communicate with his son inside the AI. You see, in the Mimic story, Edwin watches David communicating with his robot buddy using a made-up language described like this. Quote, David and Mimic had been doing all manner of odd little drawings that were surrounded by markings that looked vaguely like hieroglyphics. Edwin then uses this same language to communicate with the Mimic software at the end of the storyteller. Quote again, every sheet of paper was covered with odd stick drawings and strange symbols that were not at all familiar to Mr. Burroughs. Squiggles, squares...
Yeah, if he doesn't know the AI, bro.
So why
of course he doesn't understand those.
Well,
I don't understand either.
It's just that no one can truly settle on what it's trying to say, which means it's time for me to do my best to try and break
He's trying to say that they use ChatGPT now. I'm joking. They use Mimic 1 or something.
An analog for Henry's only child, Charlie. Not that they're one and the same or following the exact chain of events, but rather that where David goes in the books, we should be looking for Charlie to follow in the games. And in the story, the Mimic 1 AI...
Charlie's in the game?
David winds up controlling
Did she die?
and all its animatronics via an intricate system of wires. This, to me, is the book suggesting that we should probably be looking for Charlie to be doing the same thing in the games. And wouldn't you know it, but there is a lot of evidence to suggest exactly that. Throughout Security Breach, there are wires everywhere. Black and white striped wires that look very similar to everyone's favorite possessed puppet, Charlie. There are also the staff bots roaming around looking like a twisted version of the puppet. We also see several unexplained Nightmarion plushies hidden in strange locations throughout the building. Again, suggesting that an angry version of Charlie may just be at work within the walls of the building. During my complete timeline, I suggested that the reason we were seeing so much puppet imagery throughout the Pizzaplex is because Charlie's possessing the building poltergeist style. Just like the house in that movie is possessed by angry spirits,
how can you like
by Charlie because it's built
change
on top
pictures on an arcade
basically her
being a
spirit
gone,
but her spirit is
you know, this kind of crazy manifestation.
And again, I think that this latest story confirms that I was close about the what, but not necessarily about the how. Charlie is still very much here, but it's not a haunting, it's technological. And look at this.
Okay, yeah, she's like what, the
trunk and branches of a trunk, exactly the way the Mimic's wires are described to run through the Pizzaplex in the book. Just like David's consciousness infected everything in the Pizzaplex during the Tale story, so too is Charlie infecting everything in the Pizzaplex of the games. But that's not all. Remember that in the book, Edwin uses an elaborate code of symbols, sticks, and shapes to communicate with his son inside of the Pizzaplex. It's designed as an elaborate code of triangles within triangles. That right there, that is the wall code in Security Breach's secret room. Remember that one?
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember about this.
I built the breath.
I'm saying yeah, but what am I saying?
The storyteller here is giving us a clue that
I'm
this
just so
wall code,
confused.
these triangles within triangles, they were written by Henry. How? When? Not sure. Honestly, we hadn't even considered him as a possible person to have written this because he was supposed to be dead in the FNAF 6 fire. But if you look at the text with him in mind, the pieces all fit. Henry did build the breath. He was the creator of the animatronics. And in all stories about Henry, we hear about him repurposing old robotic parts. He is breaking and mending them. But midway through this,
hello, shiny Pikachu, how are you?
It starts giving instructions. Quote again: dodge, duck, flash, shoot, crawl, run, crush the vile band. Your life, your aim will save those with soul. He's teaching someone their mission. He's giving some robotic AI their instructions, just like Edwin was trying to communicate with the AI in the book. It is their task to save those with soul. But look specifically at the verbs that are written here, especially shoot and flash. This one has to be talking to Gregory. Not only is he the one that's crushing the vile band of the Pizzaplex, all of those actions are things that he performs in the game.
Oh my god, that's kind of bad, bro. They die.
Flashing with the Faz Cam.
But are they mean in the game?
May have built a
they look so
using an AI program and spoke to it using his triangle code. And that protector has to be Gregory. I know, I can't let robot Gregory go, I get it. But how else do you explain this? No one else is flashing and shooting. And remember, the story GGY confirms to us that Gregory is patient 46, whose secret therapy tapes are played right next to where this code is in the very same room. Everything in this one room is screaming that the message is for Gregory, written in a code that the books tell us is reserved
they tried to kill us.
Brain. But this then raises two major questions. First, how could I say that Gregory's a robot when you see him in
robot's
GGY's
okay, it ended mean.
GGY makes it clear that
but do you believe that Gregory is really a robot? People are saying that he's not a robot.
Your former therapists have gone missing, or two of them are missing. One of them was found dead. The woman's body was pretty messed up. It looked like it was mangled by machinery.
Gregory's pen name for a large portion of the book is Dr. Rabbit, for crying out loud. If that doesn't scream,
yeah, that's true. There's so many rabbit names in this series.
He even calls himself the wizard's most favorite apprentice. So how can I say that he's working for Henry when it's very clearly being told to us that he's also working for William? Well, first off, we never actually see confirmation that he's a human in the books. In fact, we largely get the opposite. Gregory is actually described in the book as, quote, an unfamiliar kid who looked a little lost at the start of the school.
And so Queen looks like an hospital.
No growing old together with a group of friends. He just appeared out of nowhere.
It's a
one day.
school, I
What's more,
guess.
whenever his friends do something odd, Gregory reacts in a very robotic way. He cocks his head and he has a weird pause in his behavior. Is that a lot to go off of? No. But also nothing about him explicitly says that he's necessarily human, or that he's just the reluctant follower of Afton. But obviously the bigger
Wait,
question
he's the
here is
follower
how
of
many
Afton or
people
the
is
follower of
Protector Bot
Henry?
and an agent of Afton at the same time? This is also a question that's raised in the
at
book.
the same
If
time.
GGY is saying that
Oh my God,
Gregory and
thank you
Glitch
for
Trap are in control of the
following!
animatronics, but then the storyteller is saying that an AI version of Charlie is controlling the animatronics, who's actually in control here? Both of these stories feel crucial to understanding
Oh,
security
thank you
breaches
for the
lore, and yet they seem to
message.
contradict each other. So what is going on? Well, for that answer, we actually have to go to the trailer for the new Security Breach DLC, Ruin. In the last few seconds of footage for this new game, we see a glitching techno rabbit, glitching between two colors, green and purple. This effect is known
Thank
as
you for the
chromatic aberration,
sticker.
which is when the lens of a camera is unable to focus the different colors of light into the exact same point.
Ooh,
Usually you see this
lights.
sort of thing with red and blue, sometimes red and green. Purple and green is not usually the natural color combination for this sort of effect, which means that it's trying
Okay.
to tell us something. And this isn't the only time we see it. If you go over to securitybreachtv.com, which has been the go-to location for all online teasers for these games, the website has this
I got you on
logo
Switch.
down
Is
in
it
the corner,
good?
glitched again between
Oh my God,
purple
look,
and green.
I like the
Not
logo
only
of
that,
the
they're reversing
company,
each
bro.
other.
It's so
Not
cute.
just reflections, but actually facing in opposite directions.
Is the ruin
Well, we know that
good?
purple
Is it
always gonna be the
scary?
villain color. It's evil. That is a given for this franchise. But green, that then, is probably the opposite color, the hero color. And while it
The
could
hero
represent Elizabeth
color,
with her signature green
green.
eyes, what I suspect is more likely is that the green is Charlie, the color of the security
How?
puppet's eyes, the color of the wristband that she
okay,
was
I
wearing
guess.
the night that she died.
Bro, this is so
all green.
how these
within
tiny
Gregory,
details
honestly,
make
within all of
sense.
these animatronics, there's a capacity for
How
both
do
good
they
and
even
evil. Glitch Trap
connect
is in code,
this?
obviously.
This
He's purple,
it's
but there's
DLC
also a
of
force for
Security
good, Charlie
Breach.
in there as well as green.
Yeah, but
And
is
what
the
we're playing
DLC
through
good?
is a
Like
battle
it
between
brings
the
good
two to ultimately
content?
decide who wins. That's why the tiger head and the tails from the
I don't
Pizza
know,
Plex
bro.
story
I
has two
never
different
played it.
colored
I will
eyes.
play
shows
it one
two
day,
forces
don't
that
you
work within the
worry.
same program. This also
But I'm
explains
still
why throughout the
wondering.
game, the other animatronics are getting corrupted, but why Glamrock Freddy isn't. He's booted in safe mode. The storyteller
so cute.
establishes that all the animatronics are hooked into the computer
Safe
network that
mode is
controls the
cute,
Pizza
I
Plex.
guess.
By glitching out and then rebooting in safe mode, Glamrock Freddy is separated from that system as well as any sort of corruption that's happening within it. And just like
bro,
that,
the
it
others
all
are
became
corrupted
crystal
then?
clear. The reason we have two stories telling us about two different sources of control over the animatronics in the Pizzaplex isn't because Scott changed his mind or because Steel Wool didn't get the memo. It's because Ruin is literally going to be a battle for control. The forces of evil, Glitch Trap,
okay.
versus the forces for good, Charlie. One who wants to kill kids and use their souls to gain eternal life, and another who wants to put it all to rest and protect those who can still be saved. And Gregory is stuck there in the middle, both of them existing inside of him. Like he says
what?
himself
They're
at the
inside
end of
of
the
him?
trailer.
Don't give up on me yet.
But hey, that's just a theory.
How is
a
that-
game theory?
How
Thanks
is-
for watching.
Inside
Hey, if
of
you want to see
him?
more of my live theory crafting and
Bro,
reactions to the
bro,
Ruin
that's
trailer,
kinda
there's a whole
crazy.
DVD
How
live
did that
video
happen?
over on the left. Might even get a sneak peek into some of the ideas that
This
I'm
is
using for an
crazy.
upcoming theory. Or if you're looking for another indie horror franchise with some quality lore, you can always click our video on the right to check out our theory on Amanda the Adventurer. As always, my friends, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all.
Okay, let's proceed with this.
The day's finally here. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach Ruin has arrived after a year and
Okay,
a half
finally, let's
in
see
the
what
making,
it's
which
about.
means that I've only got today. One final chance to solve Security Breach once and for all before Ruin clarifies everything for
Probably
us.
there's
Or, you know,
more-
just
even
adds
more
layers
DLCs, I
of
don't know.
confusion on top. So, can I do it? Can I give you the theory that'll finally pull together everything and unite the very fragmented fan base in time for the newest game release? Let's find out.
Maybe, I don't know. Let's see if it's not too confusing.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory! And you heard that intro right, the Ruin DLC is finally out. In fact, it just dropped
Okay.
today as I upload this video, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Okay,
because it
the
means
guy
that we
didn't
spent the
play
better
it,
part
so
of
how
2
many
years
left?
trying to solve one game and one game only, Security Breach. But all that time hasn't just been us spinning our wheels over and over again in
25.
Roxy Raceway. We've had ourselves some help. Kinda. Since the release of Security Breach, it's felt like the new Tales of the Pizzaplex books have been trying to offer
You know,
us
the
clues as
covers
to what
of
the
these
story
books
of
are
Security
really
Breach
good
was
made.
trying
Like,
to
look
be.
at that
Those clues
art,
have been,
bro.
challenging for the
I really
community
like
to
it.
interpret, to say the least.
Nice.
Mimics
Yay,
and Tiger
thank
Rocks
you.
and Dr. Rabbits, the storyteller Edwin, GGY. The list has
GGY.
been huge, and even if you follow every detail
GGY
every
reminds me
book,
of a
it's still
music.
very
I don't know why.
confusing. But finally, with the
There's a
release of
song
this
that
latest
says
book, Tiger
GGY.
Run, everything has come into focus for me. I think
Oh, look,
I
so
finally
sly,
get
the
it. I
Tiger Eats a
I
singer,
finally
bro.
understand the story that modern FNAF as a whole has been trying to tell us this entire time.
Oh,
Which,
the
you know,
thing
is
in
kind
the
of a good
middle
thing,
is
'cause it'll put
creepy.
us all on the same page as we try to theorize moving forward. This theory, I suspect, is the final key to the puzzle. The thing that's gonna help us all understand what the heck we're seeing throughout the new DLC and from this point forward in the franchise. And I suspect it all comes down to one topic: AI. No, obviously AI has been the
well,
buzzword of
ima-
2023, talking about
Well-
how powerful it is, fears about it taking our jobs, concerns about the ethics of it.
You
If
know,
read an article
AI
online, there's a chance
okay,
that it's
let
been
the
written
guy
by
talk
ChatGPT.
first.
See some cool artwork that just won a competition? Turns out Dolly made it. Watch a cool YouTube video?
Geez, MatPat, you're using a lot of power. You wouldn't last 1 minute playing 2020 mode, which I totally beat on my first try, by the way.
There's a chance that those voices were produced by AI.
Okay.
For all the talk about it, what exactly is AI? Basically,
Don't you
artificial
tell me this is a
intelligence
video
machine's
about
ability to
explaining
think like a
AI.
human. You feed the machine a bunch of data.
Ooh,
and the computer
look at that
brain is able to
computer.
learn from it. It ingests
Green.
all that information and then makes decisions based on that data moving forward. It actually closely parallels the way that we learn. We also ingest data from our environment and then use that data to make our decisions. And just like with a human, the more data that you're feeding into these
bad,
things,
bro,
the
that
more
orange.
sophisticated and well-rounded the responses become, and the more lifelike it seems. Well, within reason. You see, there's a problem with all of this. You have to
Number,
be careful about
number.
the data that you're
Oh.
feeding it. If you aren't properly filtering the information that's being ingested, making sure that it's factual and unbiased, then bad things are gonna start to happen. If I put in
Okay.
a bunch of misinformation, the responses I get back are just gonna be wrong. And that makes sense, right? The computer
First, I shouldn't pause this, but it's possible to have square fruit, bro, on apples. What do you do when they're growing? Put like these plastic molds and they'll grow square. Now, for them to be that color blue, just inject some stuff.
computer doesn't know any better. It only knows what we tell it. But things can actually get a lot
With
worse
science
than that.
nowadays,
What if I put in a
everything
bunch
is
of
possible, I
hateful
guess.
or biases? Well, that's exactly what you're going to get back. You're going to get a dark reflection of that data. And we saw that exact situation play out live in real time over on Twitch last year. Back in December of
What?
2022, one of the big trends was an AI-generated show called Nothing Forever. This show was designed to parody the old comedy series Seinfeld, with its dialogue and assets all being generated by AI in real time. ChatGPT
Okay.
scripts, DALL-E, Stable Diffusion, a few others. And I gotta say, it was impressive. Not only was this thing a pretty darn accurate replica of the classic series, but it was also
I never
just
saw
cool to
that
see how all
series,
these
but
systems
okay.
could work together to make something entirely brand new. But then one day, GPT-3 experienced outages, prompting the creators to switch over to a different AI chat system, one that was less filtered, one that was less sophisticated with its ingested data. All of a sudden, the jokes
Okay.
the AI was making in the show became harmful and abusive. Characters
Oh.
started using
Oh,
slurs
no.
and making hateful jokes, and the show got suspended from Twitch. Bad data equals bad results. But then, how does
Okay.
this all apply to FNAF? Well, each new Tales of the Pizzaplex book has leaned more and more into AI. In The Mimic, we watch as Edwin, a close parallel to Henry from the games, makes an AI program to help entertain his son while he's away at work. In The Storyteller,
A dish
we
cat,
watch as
bro,
that
that's
same
so
AI
old.
system
I
gets
still have
himself
dish
starts
cats at
controlling
my
the
house.
entirety of the pizza
I don't know
place.
how
In
to
the
use
epilogue,
those
we watch as
anymore.
an AI program takes
Like,
its
how
ingested
is
data
gonna
too
my computer
seriously,
read
ripping
these
the
cats
arms
now?
and legs off of people, wrongly assuming them to be robots. Bad data again, yielding bad results. And the newest story, The Monty
okay.
Within, makes all of this crystal clear when a boy named Kane gives a presentation about the human brain. He proposes that the left hemisphere of the brain is essentially like a computer, an AI within every person. That AI is then responsible for all the negative self-talk and flaws that human beings have. Quote from the story. My point
Wait,
is
the
that
AI is
can only
negative?
use what it's given. When the AI has bad data, it can turn into something that's harmful to itself and to the systems around
makes sense,
it.
I
The
guess,
actual
now.
theory that this guy's spouting is a little bit out there in terms of realism, but the fact that he specifically calls it the
It's
AI
not realistic,
within,
okay.
It's no coincidence. The new
I'm so
villain of
confused.
FNAF is rogue AI, unpoliced and then unleashed, with us humans helplessly trying to pick up the pieces too late and getting ripped to shreds in the process.
You know,
Obviously, all that's just happening in the
I
books.
don't like
Nothing
much
this
AI,
actually exists in
okay?
the games, otherwise we'd be aware of it, right? Right? It has been
You
there,
know,
and
but-
it's been under our noses the entire time. If you take this knowledge of AI from the books and
I don't
start
know,
to take a
bro.
look
It's
back through the
it's
games,
a
you can
such
see
a confusing
Scott sowing the
topic.
seeds
I
for
don't.
these ideas
In
as
the end, I
far
don't
back
like
as
it.
Help
It
wanted.
but
In fact,
doesn't
I
mean
actually called this
I
very
don't
plot
approve
twist
it or
4
something,
years
you know.
ago.
I sometimes use it for like research purposes, like to question how to do something. Like, how can I
AI replicating
No,
the
like this. How can I use soundtrack game soundtrack on my streams and the AI says no, and I'm like, okay. You could say, but you could just search that in Google. I know, but I wanted a more specific. I'm dumb. I'm sorry. Oh my god,
They sent us that
jeez.
stuff in the first place with no explanation, told us to scan it. It was just junk.
Or if I can do like private Minecraft servers and stuff, yeah.
There was usable code.
I should. I could just search that. I used the AI. I'm sorry.
Exactly. Afton is
Ooh,
was always
motherboards.
still a human. Why would
I
his
think there are
essence be a
motherboards.
circuit board? Back then, possession
Circuit board,
was the
okay,
order of
sorry.
the day. Remnant spirits infused into animatronic parts, and so for a long time we just collectively settled on the idea that Afton had somehow managed to escape his purgatory of Ultimate Custom Night by attaching a piece of his soul to a circuit board that was buried in the springlock suit that he was
How did
wearing.
he-
That circuit
how did
board
he
then
do
got
that?
scanned during the events of FNAF
How did
VR
he do
and AR,
that?
creating Glitch Trap, a virus that would then spread throughout Fazbear's systems, eventually passing into Vanessa. The series moved on, and we all moved on with it. But I would be lying if I said that this was the cleanest solution out there. The solution implied that Fazbear Entertainment went to the burned down FNAF 6 pizzeria, found the springlock suit with Afton's dead body still inside, and then just, took out the circuit
That's
board
so
to use.
creepy,
Although I'm
look
not
at
convinced
that.
the workers would have been happy to continue their job when they pry open a suit and discover the remains of the company's founder.
Yeah,
inside.
it's
And yet,
so
that was just the best that we
creepy.
had, because up to that point, that was largely the rules of the series. It was about the supernatural, not the sci-fi. It was possessions and ghosts, not rogue AI and technology on the fritz. Or at least, we didn't
Yeah,
think
now
the
what this
series
is
was
about.
that yet. But we were wrong. In FNAF World, take a look at the world map for me. It's messy, right? This thing is
Ooh,
just so odd. It's hacked together with no transition between the lands. It's complicated with all these twisting pathways that have no rhyme or reason to them. And then also, just on a basic level, why is it so zoomed out like this? Say what you will about Scott Cawthon's game
Maybe to
programming,
fill
but
out-
he should know
fill-
enough to make a better, more
Wait,
usable map
maybe
than
to
this
fit
thing, right?
in-
Well,
in
that's
the
because
screen,
it's not a map.
everything?
It's a diagram. It's a blueprint. A blueprint of the human brain. I know that sounds absolutely insane, but
Human
just take a look at this
brain?
map. And now, take a look at this map. This map of the human brain. Notice
Oh,
all the
bro, I
parallels.
think
There's
you're
a
going
long
too
brainstem
far. No
right in
way.
the middle where Pinwheel Funhouse is, Deep Metal Mine and Black Tomb Yard. Two smaller, rounded areas in the back matching the cerebellum and the occipital lobe. Two smaller, rounded lobes in the back of the brain. Even the twisting nature of the game's
Bro.
various pathways act exactly like the brain. Our brain is full of wrinkles. The
Okay,
gyri
this is
or curves
confusing
and
now,
sulci or
again.
grooves. It's built that way so we have
More-
as much
more
surface
confusing
area in there as
than-
possible, which allows for
I don't
more
know, bro, I'm
neuronal
just
connections to
confused.
happen, thereby making us smarter. And that's exactly what we're
Einstein.
seeing here in this
So
FNAF
then
world
what
map.
is this
That's
area
also why
here,
it
huh?
stays zoomed out the entire time, so we can see the silhouette. We can understand
Bro, but
what
that's-
Scott was
they
actually
should be
going
together,
for. That
these
white
two,
blob in
then.
front, it's either an eyeball or the frontal lobe. This, I suspect, was Afton's earliest experimentation
Okay, I
with
guess
AI,
then.
with turning a robot brain into something truly intelligent, to try and put things back
Glasses.
together like he promised his dying son. Back then, we weren't looking for clues to humanoid robots, but now, going back to the series and looking forward, we see those hints everywhere. Fast forward to Sister Location, there it is again. Afton literally has human heads sitting there.
You
on
know,
the desk,
seeing that
blinking,
in the
hidden
game
plain
may be
sight right in the
creepy.
lobby. He
I
was
would be
trying to
scared.
create people. He was
Maybe
experimenting
yes,
with
maybe
creating
not, I don't
artificial
know.
intelligence. Either he or Henry, maybe even both
I just
of them,
suppose
created
yes.
an AI program to speed up the programming process, to learn the way that a human learns, to copy and bring new life to their dead children.
Ooh,
By
wings,
observing
yes,
actions, by
I like
training them,
that.
The program was basically able to act as
Oh,
a second
computer.
brain. Inputting bad data got them bad results, and we wound up with Glitch Trap. There's also another related possibility here. In the books, the genius inventor Edwin, parallel to the game timeline's Henry, creates the Mimic program to entertain
There
a
are
small
parallel
child, giving it a
timelines
rudimentary
now?
body so it can play and learn from the small boy. Eventually, his child
Oh,
dies, and
jeez.
Edwin abandons everything in his grief, including this Mimic program. Fazbear Entertainment rolls in to collect what was their property, and in doing so, collects the Mimic, but not before it kills a number of their employees. In true
Jeez.
Fazbear fashion, that doesn't really stop them. Instead, they collect the parts, repurpose them, including the circuit boards, in order to create, quote, new scenarios for VR, AR, and arcade games, which is exactly what we see happening throughout FNAF VR and AR. Old circuit boards of the original games made by a rogue indie developer getting scanned into the system, child murder and all. And from that data, the system spits out Glitch Trap. Bad data, again,
Okay.
yielding bad results.
But
The
how
Mimic
they
basically
would
got
know
itself a
there's
crash course
glitch
in Afton.
trap-
AI
glitch
is
trap
watching and
in
learning how
there.
it should behave based on his actions, leading to it manifesting
They aren't
as a man in a rabbit
miraculously
suit. Either way,
guessing
whether the Mimic
that,
program was built
maybe.
by Henry or William, an AI trained
Oh wait, the mimic one was already bad. Yeah, they should have conscious on that.
Training so we can change the course of history. Theorizing about the battle between good and evil in fictional worlds is fun and all, but have you ever thought about those what-if scenarios happening in real-world battles? What if the Romans had never conquered Egypt?
Don't know.
What if Britain
Okay.
hadn't conquered, like, literally everyone?
Thank you.
Well, I suppose not everyone.
What's happening? Why USA?
Regardless, thanks to today's sponsor, Rise of Kingdoms, you can concoct your own all-star matchups of history. Rise of Kingdoms has 14 historical civilizations that you can play as,
which
like the Ottoman
ones?
Empire, the Vikings, as well as the newest and arguably the coolest, ancient Greece. We all know that the Greeks were some of the smartest people in history, paving the way in subjects like math and science.
The
Some people
hair,
liked them so
bro.
much in history class, but they weren't just a bunch of nerds. They also wielded incredible military prowess. So finally,
Depends,
you can live out your
bro. There
dreams
were
of commanding
many
an army
types of
300
Greeks.
unstoppable soldiers.
We had
So,
the
in
Athenian
retrospect, I
Greeks,
suppose
you
that
had
didn't work out too well for the
the...
Spartans. Anyway, the great thing
I
about this game
forgot
is
the
that you have
names,
the power to change
but
all that. Using the real-time
they were
strategy that
divided.
Rise of Kingdoms
You
is
can
known
skip
for, you
ads.
can literally
It's
change
okay,
the
let me
course of
see
history.
this.
And right now, there's even more chance to do exactly that as the game celebrates the addition of the Greeks.
Oh, you know,
In
they
fact, as
didn't
part
do
of the
magic in the
celebration, Rise of
battlefields.
Kingdoms is hosting a multi-civilization event for players to fight for their favorite culture. If you fancy stopping the Greeks from being conquered by the Romans, or the Egyptians being conquered by the Romans as well, now you
Romans
can as a
wanted to
part of this
conquer-
big
no, they
celebration
got-
event. And
wait,
changing
wait.
history isn't the only thing at stake here either.
Bro, but the Romans did conquer Greece and Egypt. You know, they did actually do that.
Because there are also some special prizes.
Is it a
to be
good
won. For
game?
your chance to win, head on down to the description and click the link, or to scan the QR code that you see on screen right now to download the game for yourself to join the 60 million people that have been enjoying the game for years now. And if you use the code GREASE4ROK, you'll get 20 silver keys to help get
I don't
your
know
army
what are
started.
silver
That's
keys.
GREECE,
But thank you.
number 4 ROK. The game has over 100 million
Ooh,
downloads and is
buildings.
available on iOS, Android, and PC. It also supports crossplay, so no matter what device you and your friends have, you can still play together, conquering your enemies for a chance to win those awesome prizes. Speaking of prizes, as part of that Civilization Clash event, Rise of Kingdoms
It's an
has now
okay game. I
added
don't
Apple
play it as
Vision
much
Pro and
anymore. Okay,
PlayStation
thank
5 to
you.
the prize roster. All you need to do to win is sign up and
I'd like
vote
to
for your
know if the games
civilization
are
of choice
good.
by clicking the second link in the description. Thanks again to Rise of Kingdoms for sponsoring this portion of today's episode, which means it's now time to talk about the elephant in the room, or I suppose the elephant down in the basement, Crispy Boy Burn.
That's
Showing
so
up during one of the endings of
pretty.
Security Breach was one of the weirdest and most
Jesus.
frustrating things to ever happen in this franchise. We all collectively rolled our eyes and uttered his catchphrase, "I always come back," thinking, yeah, but did you really have to? It just
I
raised more
always
questions
come
than
back.
answered, like,
I
how are you
guess.
still alive? Was Henry wrong about
Miracle,
women
the
being
guy
destroyed at high
is not a
temperatures? Did
human. The
Afton
guy
manage
is,
to escape
I don't
the
know, an
fight? It was
alien.
nearly impossible to say. We had a few
It's
ideas that
alright.
involved Vanessa repurposing glam rock.
Bro, the guy is alive how, bro? He's an alien or... I don't know, bro. He's not a human. Maybe it was never a human after all. Bro, no, imagine William Afton was never a human after all. Imagine that theory. What was William Afton? I don't know, but it was not a human. Look, look, look. New theory arrived. Manzanita theory. Because if he can survive everything, and purgatory, supposedly purgatory and stuff, you know, kinda crazy, I guess. When the ads are over, please tell me. Thank you.
Bonnie's endoskeleton, but now I think we actually know the truth. And again, that truth is rooted
Thank you.
in this AI concept. Probably the best and
AI
scariest part
concept.
of Security Breach was the utility tunnel.
Imagine they put brain rots in FNAF universe, I'm sure.
Throughout this area, there's also a lot of posters on the wall.
Ooh.
Weird posters, all meant to teach the Glamrock endoskeletons how to behave, how to correctly hold a child's hand, how to play
Aw,
nicely
so
with other
cute.
kids, how to not scare a girl in a bed that has a bedspread and lamp of the FNAF 4 house. Oops, hold on. That's not just any bed either.
What?
It's a hospital bed. Oh, that feels like it has huge implications for the lore of FNAF 4. Anyway, that is not my focus right now.
What is
The point
happening?
Is, the endoskeletons
Why
down there in
they're
the basement,
referencing
they're
old
being
games
trained
yet?
up.
They're just
being
messing
taught.
up all
They're
the
being
lore.
educated one by one. Data is being ingested by their systems. My suspicion is that whoever's doing the training down there, they're trying to find the right mix of data, the right combination
Okay.
of inputs to get the desired output. But what would that desired output be? Afton. You see, these robots have clearly been tampered with. If you keep looking, you see one poster where the robot is being taught not to knock over the cake. But then the X has been crossed off and replaced with a purple check mark.
Why?
Yes, we do want that bad behavior. When you see a hurt child, don't help them. But as one last reveal for this section of the game,
That's
in the big
bad.
final room, we see an endoskeleton wearing purple bunny ears and another purple rabbit behind him. That right there is Vanny, messing around with the new mimic line of Glamrock endoskeletons.
Isn't that
It literally reveals her plan to turn
Witch
one of
trap?
them into the new
Okay,
Afton.
I guess.
She's finding the inputs that are required to create an army of evil
Oh my god,
Afton
that's
bots.
so-
She's looking for the data
An
that
army of
produces
what?
the bad result. And that, ultimately, is what Burn Trap is. The body of Afton with the
No way,
mind
bro. I
and
can
the
only
mimic.
have
The
stream
epilogues
playing
of
in
the Notebook series
background.
take place in the FNAF 6 location under the Pizzaplex.
Oh, it's
As
okay,
it's
don't
being
you
built, a new
worry
shipment of
on my
animatronics
phone.
arrive. But one of these
Don't
is,
you
unlike the
worry.
others, looking burnt
It's
and mangled.
okay.
Since they can't put this burned one up on stage with all the other new animatronics, one of the workers decides to program it to tear the
There's
heads
no
and
problem.
arms off
Don't
of the
worry,
jumping
Shiny
endoskeletons
Pikachu.
that
If
are
you
just
wanna
lying
go,
around.
you
This
can go.
obviously
There's
goes
no
horrifically
problem.
wrong, though, when the little robo decides to take his
Okay, this
programming a
series is
bit too
crazy. How
seriously. He
is
starts
there an
to rip
army?
the
It's
heads
new
and
update,
arms
I
off
guess.
of anything that looks humanoid,
Okay.
including construction workers and later a group
Thank
of
you.
teens who sneak their way in the facility. We learn
For
alongside
warning
the
me.
teens that this thing is
But
also running a version
how is
of the
there an
Mimic
army
program,
of
and
William
that it likes to wear
Aftons? This is
costumes. It's also
crazy.
physically able to contort itself into any
This is
animatronic
weird.
costume or shell that it needs to, expanding and contracting to fit any space or shape that it needs, even if that space is a human body. Quote, in a
jeez.
nanosecond, one of the Mimic's spidery legs reached out and peeled open the back of the blue dog costume. The instant the
Blue
costume was
dog?
breached, the Mimic wormed its way past the edges of the matted blue
Poor
fur.
blue dog,
Shockingly,
Jesus.
the Mimic shoved itself inside the costume with Kelly. Lucia heard a sickening crunch. So hold on a minute. A
Bro,
Mimic
nah.
in the ruins of the FNAF 6 pizzeria that likes wearing old costumes, even if there's already a human body inside. That right
That's
there,
Bonnie
that
body,
is
that's
Burn
not a
Trap. That's why we see
bulldog.
what are essentially new Glamrock animatronic parts entwined with the old fleshy parts of Afton.
Oh,
It's
bro,
not
that's
that
so
Vanessa rebuilt the body and just
weird.
decided
Oh my
that they'd
god,
make
I
for good
don't like
decoration.
that.
The Mimic is literally contorting itself to fit in with what remains of Afton inside of his existing suit. So feed an AI program a bunch of data about a serial killer and boom, you get yourself a serial killer. But feed an AI too much data, or data that conflicts, things start to get messy in a hurry. Enter Tiger Rock. In the books, AI is represented by
it
two
is
main
confusing.
creatures.
Oh
One
my
is
god.
obviously the Mimic that's roaming around in the basement like we just talked about, but the other is another version of the Mimic program, Tiger Rock, an AI that's in charge of the Pizzaplex. A tiger that, very specifically, has mismatched blue and green eyes. A
That's
very literal
cool.
way of showcasing the two clashing forces that are operating inside of it. But what exactly are those conflicting forces? The book never makes it clear. In our last theory, I spoke a lot about how Edwin and his son David are stand-ins for characters from the game timeline. One of the creators
Okay.
of Fazbear Entertainment, Henry,
Wait,
and his young
wasn't
daughter,
it
Charlie.
another
In the book, the
timeline?
Mimic was built to copy David, and so presumably
So how
in the game,
is
if the Mimic's there,
it
it
still
would also be
extremely
designed to
confusing?
potentially
Yes,
copy
it's
Charlie,
more
who was
confusing.
sadly killed
How
by William and
is
goes
there
on
an
to possess the
army
puppet.
of
And
William
wouldn't you know it,
Aftons
just like
created
the
by
David
an
AI tried to
AI?
control the Pizzaplex in the book? That's
How?
why we're seeing puppet imagery weirdly spaced throughout the game in puppet-colored
But
wires.
one of them
weirdly
has
placed
flesh.
plushies,
One
painted
of the
staff
guys in the
bots. It's
army.
an AI that's taken over
And then the
operation of
puppet is in
Pizzaplex,
this.
infusing itself
It's
into
an
the
AI
very
that is
wires
controlling
of
the
building.
Pizzaplex,
That's why
and then
both the
it's
books and
William
the game
Afton,
have
and then
conversations
oh my
with
god,
weird,
it's
mysterious shape-based lettering. It shows us that the Mimic program, Edwin's son, the entity controlling the Pizzaplex, the puppet, Charlie,
It's all going to
Henry
get more
are all
confusing.
connected.
No!
But while I am absolutely
God.
convinced that Charlie exists in the wires of the Pizzaplex, one thing that I haven't been able to answer yet
Jesus
is why
Christ.
all
Oh
the
my god,
imagery
that's
is
creepy.
evil. We're not seeing plushies of the marionette, we're seeing plushies of the nightmare puppet all over the Pizzaplex. The scary, evil version of the character.
Wasn't it
Why,
not
though? This character is not
canon?
evil. If anything, this character is pure good. Is it because suddenly the
so
puppet's
cute.
vindictive? It's mad about being killed? Maybe it's angry that it's been summoned again to have to protect another generation of kids. No, I don't think so. In my last theory, I suspected that it had to do with Afton being mixed in with the puppet program. So you have these two competing
They're
abilities,
fighting
these two
with-
competing forces
with
having to
that.
share one space, one body. for lack of a better word. And I think that I was really close on that one, but still not quite right. Think about it. Tiger Rock is very clearly meant to have a green eye and a blue eye. Green and blue. Charlie and Elizabeth, the puppet and baby. The protection of the puppet mixed with the violence.
Elizabeth from where? She doesn't have anything blue, bro.
About him. He's good and loving and fun, but then suddenly he turns sinister and threatening. There's this moment in one of his stories where he literally helps a kid like, quote, a puppet on a string. Doesn't get much more explicit than that. And yet later that same story, he just rolls up and rips the kid's arms clean off. No joke, that is how the story ends. It is very bizarre and dark. Do I have a lot of evidence to suggest that Elizabeth might be mixed in there? I'd say I have like a medium amount. Outside of Baby's iconic blue eyes, we also have ourselves years of book canon establishing that
the blue eyes
and
of
Charlie
the...
are often revealed to share the same body, most explicitly with the Fourth Closet novel. We also have this weird moment in the main Tiger Rock story
Baby used to have blue eyes, remember? Okay, now I remember, thank you.
Out of nowhere and is unlike anything else in the story, but where have we seen that sort of thing before? Sister location.
Hello, Kitty Patootie.
Let's just call it a theorist hunch. I suspect that is why both the puppet and Baby are deactivated.
Look, that's so sad, bro.
Their actual AI code, their spirits, whatever you want to call them, they're off elsewhere. They're in a separate AI entity.
What did I miss? Oh, thank you for this. The sequence. How do I say this in English?
Is down in the basement.
The transmission. I don't know. Follow up. I don't know. Thank you so much. You missed it. Crazy theories that don't make sense. That's what I said, Kitty Patootie.
When you open the entirety of the internet to ChatGPT, a confusing mess of wires and information and a lot of angry people. As Glamrock Freddy says,
my friends are here.
Lol, Kitty Patootie, you're adorable.
From one of the book's epilogues, quote, creeping out the back of the overalls-clad mushroom was an abomination of twisted and contorted metal. A mass of metal joints with wires, with one of its eyes on one leg and the other on one of the legs extended from where its mouth should have been.
One eye in a leg? No, its eyes on one leg. And in the back. How many theory videos left?
There is only one creature that's still around in the series
25.
The Blob. That's right, I'm telling you that I think the Blob, this confusing, weirdly designed mess that we found in the basement of the security breach, is actually one final version of the Mimic. Just listen to the sounds that it makes.
Okay, what does that mean?
Its appearance and the sounds that it make match how it's described in the book almost word for word. A twisted body that's able to grow and shrink, slither into suits, expand and contract, a mass of twisted and contorted metal parts, wet yet dry-sounding movement. It is absolutely him. There's even some in-game evidence to suggest
I just realized that Valentine's Day is in 2 days. Okay! You know, I'm dressed like Valentine's because this is special streams Valentine's edition this week. So that's why I have these outfits.
From anything around it. That also means the ending then, where the Blob scoops up.
I hope everyone has a happy Valentine's.
The Afton data. It's all the data coming together, getting mixed up, getting more complicated inside that Freddy spaghetti. It's a mimic sweep. And as I discussed in a previous theory, it's also why I suspect that Gregory is not who he says he is in the Ruin trailer. It's the mimic still.
Okay.
An AI now trained by watching Gregory's behavior throughout Security Breach, hearing Gregory's voice talking to Freddy. Bit by bit, this AI is absorbing everything around it, learning from it, assimilating it, and we'll see how that ultimately plays out in Ruin. Or, you know, maybe I'm completely wrong. So with that,
I think my share is getting.
The game is out today, literally today, as this.
My share is getting ripped off. I will see this after the stream. Oh my god, what the hell?
I'm actually doing the exact same thing.
You know, it's an old share. It's already almost 10 years this share. I'll be spending my Valentine's Day still singer. Bro, you know, for me, Valentine's is a day of love, friendship, love yourself. Okay, thank you. You know, don't worry about being single.
And as always, my friends,
just celebrate it yourself, you know? Love yourself, buy something for you. I usually did that, you know? Oh, wait. Sorry.
The day's finally here. 5 Nights at Freddy's Security Breach.
Okay, it's liked. Sorry. New share, gotcha. No! I'm too broke. Then play some game you like. Do something you like at home. You know? Watch some videos you like. Press F. Okay. Oh, sorry, it's an alarm. That's creepy. What is this?
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory, the show that is definitely the real deal and not a sentient robot designed to copy my voice. Today we begin our journey to solve the most anticipated DLC of the year, Security Breach Ruin. Gotta admit, this DLC has been fantastic. Playing it,
Ooh,
really
look
felt
at
like
that.
Steel
That's
Wool
cute.
learned from their mistakes.
Be your own one doesn't do what you want.
Big,
Treat yourself. True. I did that. I got plushies. I got chocolates for me. You know, it's important to love yourself.
Oh, hey.
Oh, yeah, so cute. Thank you for the cute emotes.
There we were.
This definitely feels like we've skipped something. I think we broke the game.
I think I broke the game.
Most likely playing video games. Slay. Play the games you like.
Just so happened to be on my first playthrough, I managed to skip an entire chapter.
For example, I love playing Sims 3 and 4. You know, I would play that. Because if I was me, I would play that. Now, if you like other games, you play the games you most love, you know? It's not Valentine's yet. Don't you worry. Wanna see my new favorite emotes? Yes, please, thank you. Oh my god, Slay, thank you for the cute emotes.
Under the sinkhole in Roxy Raceway.
Is that from an anime?
Later, and we're handed a quote-unquote security mask, one that's meant to help us bypass certain puzzles while shutting down all the security nodes that are keeping Gregory locked down in the basement. But this, my friends,
I don't know
is
not much about anime, bro.
This is
I will learn more.
Vanessa wore throughout the entirety of
I don't know, most likely Slay. Oh my god, thank you for the... Oh my god, I love that sticker, thank you. I love that sticker.
Making us invisible to certain enemies. We can suddenly walk
but I don't know which though. Don't you worry, it's a cool emote. Don't worry about that.
Earlier, also accidentally teleport sometimes. Mask in
it's
hand,
two
we
girls kissing. Slay.
And encountering
the lesbians.
Animatronics from the original game, including the bestest boy glam rock Freddy, though
that's cute.
A little different about him this time. Quite put my finger on it. It's probably the fact that he's missing his head. All of this.
What is this? Glam Rock Freddy's dead? Yuri. What is Yuri?
Eventually, we deactivate all the security nodes.
Thank you so much.
Favorite glam rock.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You're adorable.
This allows us to head on down to the basement
Yuri?
where, surprise,
is that
surprise,
a character?
It wasn't Gregory at all. Instead, it was an animatronic. See, told you guys Gregory.
Oh my god, that's so bad. Thank you so much. You're having so much fun.
See, we've just released it from its concrete prison. We run to the elevator to try to escape, only for the
okay, then Gregory was all the time a robot. Okay, Yuri's also known as Girl Love. Okay, that's cute. That's adorable.
We're gonna talk about later, and we fall into the game's ending with Cassie's fate being questionable at best.
Yeah, always boy love. Okay, these neutral stickers are quite fun. Thank you, Kitty Patootie.
Over all the little details.
Are those
Did Gregory actually betray us?
Japanese words for the type of love?
And what ending of Security Breach actually led us to this point in the timeline? Well, good news there, loyal theorists. I believe I have at least
it's Japanese. Thank you.
Answered.
No, I learned Japanese.
If I'm right, this game is drawn from one of the most controversial parts of the lore, while simultaneously setting us up for some massive reveals later this year. So grab your AR bunny masks, friends. We're about to
so basically, Gregory's a robot now.
Within the ruin. Before I do that, you know what compliments a high-tech bunny mask?
Thank you.
That's right. After
thank you for the butterfly.
We're back with a bunch of brand new designs in our biggest drop
yet. More stuff.
Jacked into the AI network with our short circuit collection, where we've got t-shirts, fleeces.
I thought they were gonna really sell motherboards.
This intricate circuit board design that's perfect for hacking into any and all digital worlds. Let me just draw your attention to a couple of the highlights here. You guys know that I love me some jackets, and that we tend to do better jackets with.
You know, I like jackets too, but I have too many jackets.
Case in point, the adjustable Velcro sleeves here on this watertight jacket. It is a great way to keep yourself secure and dry. If you
I did again. What, Shield Gamer? S-Rank. Let's go, Shield Gamer! You're a pro player!
It's actually an athletic shirt.
That's amazing.
Breathable, meaning it's
later we'll play Make Way, right? Yes, Kitty Patootie, don't worry.
Because it's a simple black, it can literally go with
too many.
In your wardrobe.
Too many what?
I
have too many jackets, bro.
Continues
like,
eventual completion.
what game?
We now have
Cupheads. shrunken
color that'll get you
Cupheads.
to always come back. And last, but certainly not least,
Reminds me of
this
Ultra Kill,
collection
but I
I'm
guess
really
Cuphead is
excited about
harder
here
because
is
I'm
something that we've
forced
wanted
to,
do for a
play
while.
regular
We're finally
to
able
progress in the
execute
game when I
the
want to play
first
everything
ever
on
Game
easy.
Theory legging.
Cuphead
The
probably,
short
yeah, it's
circuit design and Game
Cuphead's.
Theory
Shelf
jeans
Salt
just
Baker,
easily line you
slay.
up. They're comfortable, they fit great, and of course, they're not see-through. Now that might seem like a minor detail,
Not
but you don't know how
see-through.
many times I was told by our female staff how important that detail was. And of course, these
Yeah,
amazing
kinda
leggings
is,
are
bro.
built with that ever-important phone pocket. And when that phone is in there, it is locked in. Your phone ain't moving an inch, whether
Bro, I
you're
ain't
working out,
like-
lounging around the house, or, you know, running from deadly animatronics. But
Bro,
maybe you're
why
looking
would
to
I use the
no-clip into
phone there?
something
But
a
thank
little
you,
bit
I
different.
guess.
Well, if that's the case, then get
Is
ready
that
to get
Backrooms?
lost in our other collection, the radioactive line. Let's just call
You know,
this
I
one
like the
hazmat
Backrooms.
sheet full
It's-
of radioactive warnings,
so
thermal
interesting
vision
to me.
patterns, even color-changing
Yay,
heat-activated
pockets.
mugs. It's colorful, it's
You know, I
unique,
don't
and it's
like
nerdy
to
in a way
get
that
stuff
gives you
in
a cool story
pockets
about your
because
clothing
one
without
time I
being
had,
so in
I
your
still have
face.
this
You know,
jacket,
except
I
for the
still
giant
use
yellow
it.
puffer jacket that
It's a
has
pink
patches.
fur jacket, and
Admittedly, that was a bit extreme,
the
but it's
pockets
extreme in
are
all the
like
best ways
rotten.
possible.
Rotten,
And it
I don't
goes
know
great
how
with
to
the
say
yellow hazmat
hotu
backpack. I mean,
in
incredibly, how
English,
could
bro.
something so
They
cool
have
cause a literal
holes.
meltdown?
And
In
I
short,
put
we
the
have been
stuff
working
there
hard
and
to
the
create a
stuff
fierce
fall, and then I was like, no
high-quality
way, I'm
things
gonna
that
do
you
this
really want.
again.
They're gonna make you feel great
I
and
use
look
always,
so if you want to find out more, the merch shelf is right below
like
this
a
video with
bag?
few key items.
Or
YouTube
there's
shopping
a
is now
jacket
up,
I
so
really
think you might be able
trust
to
with
purchase
my
anything
phone,
just off
okay?
screen by clicking it right on the
Or I
screen
just
itself.
say my
Or,
mom
you know,
to
there's
go
always
with
the tried
that,
and true classic. The
so
link
it's
is in the top
broken.
line of the description. Just head on over
Maybe
to
yes, I think it's a broken
Cool,
jacket.
very fun interactive
Someone
website
tracked
now,
the
and
origins
as
of the
Dial
backroom
Theory always
posters.
says,
It's quite
keep
silly how
looking
some
sharp.
places are
Now
so
then, back to the
silly.
digitized
I heard
walls of
someone
the
say
Ruin.
that
Let's
it
start
was
with something
based
simple,
on like
something
a
that really
kart
sets the foundation for
race
the rest of Ruin. Which of the
place
security breach
or
endings is
something.
canon? Security Breach has had a weird relationship with its endings. Sure, some previous FNAF games
I'm
have
kinda
multiple
happy the
endings,
backrooms
some
are
have
not
even had
real.
upwards of 7, but
You know,
none
sometimes
has
it looks
ever been
relaxing,
so
but
vague
it's
about what the
creepy.
intended
In a way,
ending
it's
was.
creepy and
Of
relaxing
Security
at the same
Breach's 6
time.
potential endings, there were 2 that felt like real contenders for being the canon choice. The so-called true ending.
It took me half an hour. Jesus, rest sometime now. Got something to eat. Relax before proceeding, so you don't get too angry. Only it's like a car truck carrying between pets. True, that's what I was saying. First time it took me days. Jeez.
100% certainty
Please
that it
sleep
was
at
Princess
least.
Quest.
Oh my
See,
god.
Steel Wool did
And
something
eat
that I would never
and
expected.
drink.
They made the comic
And
book style
rest.
drawings of
Please,
all the
thank
security
you.
breach endings into the linchpin of the whole debate.
Are we collecting the endings from Security Breach as comics?
Yep, throughout Ruin, one of our main collectibles
Ooh.
are comic strips. Comic strips depicting images from the
comic
base
spread?
game's various
Spread,
endings.
spread,
Comics that were
spread,
created by none other
spread.
than...
One of Gregory's
Spread?
comics.
I don't know
comic
how to
comes
say
with a
this.
little descriptor like that. These look like Gregory drew them. Gregory should be an artist when he grows up. Gregory was always so creative. That last line about Gregory being creative, that tells me that these endings are all made up. They're just stories
Oh,
that Gregory imagined
no
for
way.
his own little comic
Strips,
series,
thank you.
inspired by the scary, true-to-life events of the franchise. But if they're made up, then how do we know that the Princess Quest ending is real? Well, once you collect all of Gregory's comics, the answer is pretty obvious. Take a look.
Thank
These two are from
you.
the Gregory Escapes ending. These 2 are from the VIP ending. These are from the Loading Dock ending. This one is from the Disassemble Vanny ending. And then, last but not least, is the Burn Trap ending panel. Seems like a pretty extensive list, right? Except there's one ending that's noticeably absent here.
Okay.
Princess Quest. There isn't a single
Nom nom nom. Thank you. You're adorable.
ending,
Sushi.
implying that one, unlike all the
Sushi's
others,
kinda
was real.
spicy.
And
I
if you
tried
look around at the rest of Ruin
sometimes
with this in mind,
sushi.
you start to realize
There are many
why.
types
In
of
the Princess
sushi,
Quest
of course.
ending, you have to
No,
beat the
one of
Princess
them
Quest
was
3
quite
arcade
spicy.
machine
It
that's in
was
Vanny's
good.
hideout. But when you
It was
visit
like
that
2
same
years
hideout
ago or
in Ruin,
3.
you find the machine on its side with the princess's lantern sitting on top of it. She has
Ooh.
conquered the virus, lighting the way to freedom. And if
Finally,
the lantern wasn't
slay.
obvious enough
It's a
symbolism for
spicy
you,
because
put
of
on the Vanny
wasabi
mask and
power.
enter the
Yes!
AR world, you'll see the sword from
I
Princess
can
Quest 2 and 3
make you go
plunged into the
try
machine. The
sushi,
beast has been slain.
kiripatuti.
Actually, the fact that
Just have to go to a Japanese restaurant.
so lined up
Thank you.
getting left
Thank you. Sushi, sushi.
channel right here, showing us that the mask getting left behind is still
Oh my god, so many sushi. sushi party. Sorry if you like it. Bro, you know, it's not my favorite food, but it's not bad. You know, it's quite interesting.
Canonical ending established, let's just stop right there to talk a little bit more
I'm
about
curious.
Freddy, shall we? In Ruin, we
It's
come
like,
across this headless
it's
Freddy.
tiny, don't worry too much.
Are Freddy from Security Breach or not? You see, this Freddy has the word prototype written across his foot, something that is definitely not present in the base game.
Look,
He also has a green present hiding in his stomach, something that's awfully suspicious once you consider Security Breach started with Gregory taking an orange present out of Freddy's stomach. This
look
can't
at
possibly
that.
be the same robot then, right? This
I
is
don't
one
want
of
to
the
make
big
paths
debates
to
that's captured the
affiliate.
attention of the Faz base. If the Princess Quest ending is correct, then it kind of has to be the same Freddy. It'd be very highly coincidental if not.
You know,
So,
I can have your stream in the background without seeing it, if you don't mind.
Updates between games, it is nothing new.
Tend to help you.
Probably the best known example of this is the evolution of
And we'll send random emojis so you can keep like the viewer counting. What do you think about it?
Nothing alike, despite it being the same dead body in the same rotten suit.
Well, that's one. Okay. What is that?
Any of the other animatronics. Their
Look, that's so
endos are
creepy.
real different to the ones at the end of Security Breach, and yet each and every
Thank
one
you
of
for
them
the
has suffered the
TPs.
exact same damage that they did in the previous game. But one detail that can't be replicated is something that I think a lot of the community has started to overlook. Something that can't be
Chica.
denied.
It's
And it
Roxy.
all
Chica.
relates
Okay.
back to the Vanny mask. We're told that this mask is known as the Virtual Augmented Neural Network Integration Unit, or VANI. As the name implies, it allows us to use augmented
gender
reality
swapped
to
Foxy.
physically see and access the neural
Slay, I
network.
guess? I don't know.
Fancy name for AI controlling the Pizzaplex. Throughout the game, we use this ability to make fences disappear, access security nodes, and teleport from location to location. That much is obvious.
mini-games.
What's less obvious, though, are how the various endoskeletons behave while we're wearing the mask. As we pass most normal endoskeletons in the game, we see them wrapped in swirling pink code. This shows that they're connected to the network. They're being powered by the AI system in charge of the Pizzaplex. Now, when Cassie has the Vanny mask off, they'll start chasing us. That's because we're suddenly visible to them. We're just a kid.
What?
We're a target. But notice what happens as soon as we put the mask on. They stop chasing us. Instead, they go back to what they were doing before. We've disappeared from them.
Until the newest game shows there were separate characters original to make it even more confusing.
It's actually pretty brilliant.
I'm so confused by that sentence. I don't know. This is just so confusing. I can't understand this anymore.
Not only does he stop chasing us, he outright disappears. We can't see him anymore. And likewise, he can no longer see us. Why? What makes him so different? What is this trying to tell us? Well, if the Vanny mask jacks us into the Pizzaplex's AI system, his disappearance tells us that he's not a part of that system. He is not swirling in code because he's removed from the Pizzaplex's network. How'd that happen? Well, we saw it at the top of Security Breach. Freddy glitches out and has to be rebooted in safe mode. That's why he's friendly to Gregory in a way that none of the other animatronics are. He's no longer under the control of the AI network controlling the
Roxy and Foxy.
He's thinking for himself. And we see this continue throughout the entirety
both
of
characters. They're
Security Breach.
cute.
Whenever Gregory sees Vanny running around, Freddy states that he didn't
Bro,
see
why
anything.
Foxy censored? What do you mean Foxy censored?
There is no rabbit at the Mega Pizzaplex. Not anymore.
Vanny is very clearly real, but she's wearing
Where is
her
it
mask, thereby
censored?
making her
I don't
invisible to the
understand.
one robot that isn't a part of the wider AI system. That only changes when Freddy is equipped with Roxy's eyes. Roxy's eyes in that game were a part of the AI system, which is
The
why
Foxy
that upgrade
one was
suddenly allows
censored.
Freddy to
Why?
see things that were formerly invisible to him. He's seeing everything that's a part of the AI
Yeah, you're
network,
asking
and
the
that
same
includes
questions, so you probably
Vanny.
don't know the answer. Me either.
I have new eyes.
This one
New
detail is why I
eyes.
feel that Ruined Freddy here has to be the same as our best boy from Security Breach. This is a Freddy that has been removed from the system.
Stop taking meeting
it's-
notes and let ClickUp AI Note Taker do it for you. It allows you to focus on your meetings.
One that was rebooted in safe mode, taking him offline. Something that almost
Wait, I'm getting my
guarantees
heater.
that it has to be connected to the Freddy
It's
from
so
the
cold.
original game. Weird Freddy
I know.
curveballs aside, though, this game makes it abundantly clear that I was right on the money with my last few theories about how AI is now the major focus of the series. And specifically, AI programs that have been
kill it.
corrupted by
For my
glitch
birthday, I will
have
get
been
2 years of
old
YouTube
evil
Premium.
data. Hence
What?
why everything
That's
is wrapped in this
amazing!
purple or pink code.
Oh my
Everything
God.
except for Roxy. Instead of being made out of purple code like the rest of the animatronics,
You
she
can have
instead
2
has
years
sections
of
her body made
YouTube
up of green
Premium.
code, specifically around her face, her arm, and foot.
Oh
to
my
make her look a
god,
lot like she did at the
Slay.
beginning of Security Breach. It's strange, right? But it actually ties into our previous theory.
I'm trying
This
to
neural network
turn this
control
on.
of
Wait.
Pizzaplex isn't just influenced
Let's
by
go.
accident.
Yes,
According
it's
to
a
books,
lot of
the AI
years.
program was originally built to play with Charlie,
Oh.
a girl that wore a green wristband in order
It's
for the
turned it
security
off.
puppet to protect her. That's why we see Tiger Rock, the book's manifestation
Are you
of the
joking
same
that he
AI,
is turned
with
it
2
off?
colored eyes. It has evil and good data inside of it,
Wait.
and different animatronics are tapped into different amounts of that same code. That's why Roxy is surrounded by green code that makes her look like she was originally supposed to. Green is the color
Actually,
of
no
protection,
ads.
of safety. Her influence is now putting
Now
green
you'll
markers
only
over
get
parts of the
minimal
system
ads.
that are green.
Yeah,
This
no, I
duality
think
is
YouTube
actually
Premium
best
doesn't have
exemplified by,
ads.
believe it or not, the daycare attendant, Sun and Moon, or
Okay.
Bliss, as they're known when fused together. At the beginning of Security Breach, this thing's presence in
It's
the game
really
always
cold,
felt very
sorry.
random.
I mean,
like,
it's
why
warm.
is he here? Just to be another scary thing to chase us around? Maybe, but that doesn't tend to be how these games work. And why would they choose such a random design of being both light and darkness, sun and moon?
Oh, it's
Well,
cute,
now we know.
exciting.
And one of Ruin's many
I like
lore
the
heavy Easter eggs,
colors.
if you go up to him with the
Ooh,
mask on
eggs.
while there's only one generator left to activate, you'll hear a new line that states,
It's not safe yet! Turn on the other generator!
clearly, Eclipse is
Aw.
conflicted. One half wants to protect you, but it's getting shut away by the darker, more sinister half. He is good and evil combined. He represents both codes competing within the
You
same
know, the
bond.
nighting,
Other
you know,
animatronics are more of a sliding
I was
spectrum.
saying
Some
in
are
real
more
life,
struck
nighting's
but
bad,
Eclipse
bro.
represents
It's
the
good,
balance
too.
that naturally exists within
But
this neural
animatronic
network
itself,
system,
I think
which
it's
leads
bad,
us
I
then
guess.
to the ending of the game. Whether Gregory is actually the one trying to kill Cassie in the final moments is a theory for another day. Instead, I'd rather focus on this, the Mimic Tunnels. At the end of the game, we're chased by an
Mimic
endoskeleton
looks
known as
like
Mimic,
the
a robot that's able
Fallout
to learn
3
from and
mines.
copy other creatures. But
I am
even
Chef
before we get
Saltback. I've been an
Gregory
Arctic
tells us
crew.
his friend,
The
presumably
recipe was in
Vanessa,
my
has
book. The
these
recipe
plans for
was
the underground
overcooked. Oh my
tunnel.
god, that actually rhymes. I shouldn't have let all of that part go
What are
on
the
to my
tunnels?
head. Now
Why
I'll
are they
bake for
here?
good.
Who
Now
put
I'll
them
bake
here?
my
These
bread.
tunnels aren't just
Slay.
random. Someone has been down here before. They've installed lighting and an elevator and everything. We also know it wasn't Gregory and Vanessa because they're on the opposite side of the room that the Mimic was locked in, the Pizzaplex
Okay.
side, complete with the mixes system. We also know that these tunnels weren't just part of the FNAF 6 location because the game makes it a point to show that we're a number
I
of
learned my
floors
lesson.
far
I learned
below
my
that
lesson.
building.
Well, it's
It
better
tells
to
us that this
bake in
location has
heaven
to be
than learn
older
to
than
cook
the
in
FNAF
hell.
6 pizzeria.
Slay.
So again, I ask,
Is it
what are
at
these
the
tunnels
ending
for
text?
and
I don't
why
know.
are
I
they
never
here?
played
Well,
it.
the clues to finding
But
that
it's a
answer are
cool
hidden in the Mimic's
poetry.
room. Normally, you wouldn't be able to see any of this stuff. You break down the wall, you enter a cutscene, and the Mimic starts to chase you. However, at this
Oh my
point,
God.
Steel Wool understands that the internet gonna do
I'm
what
still
the
the
internet
best
gonna
art
do. We're
maker,
gonna rip
best
into
art
the files,
making
we're gonna
land by
free cam our
making
way
me
all
screen
across
shit
these
to my
maps, and
friends
we're gonna
whom I
crank
oh
up the
dear.
brightness hunting for
Cute.
clues. And sure enough, there is a lot that's hidden just out of sight. Inside the Mimic's room are 2 costumes, a grandma bird and an elephant clown.
Oh,
it also
I
seems
like
like there's supposed to
birds.
be a third costume, a lion wearing a varsity jacket, but that one I was only able to find in the game files. That said, in one of the game's secret endings, the Mimic wears a costume that's kind of a mix of all 3 of these things, so that's the evidence that we need
Kinda
there.
creepy,
Overall,
but
it's a
okay.
pretty interesting find. We know from the books that the Mimic is a fan of wearing costumes. In the Mimic story,
Okay.
as well as the Pizzaplex epilogues, we know that the Mimic mainly cycles between
Ah,
2
it's getting
costumes,
warm, so
Mushroom
good.
and a Jester.
Secret
In the
of the
story, Edwin,
fuggling
our parallel
Mimic.
for the game's Henry, was responsible for turning those
You know, this is
costumes
getting so
into
confused. I
animatronics
understand the
for Fazbear.
frustration.
And that right there, that's an important detail. You see, the books make it clear that those costumes came from a time before Edwin made Chica into the first animatronic. In other words, these off-branded characters like a Jester and a Mushroom
A
are
mushroom,
practical
look at that.
everything else that we see in the games. They come from a time before the core lineup of characters was officially decided. When Edwin disappears after the death of his son, Fazbear Entertainment
Wait.
goes to his abandoned home and reclaims all of their property. The Mimic, the costumes, everything. Think this is only specific to the books? It's
Wait.
not. I suspect that we've been hearing about these costumes ever
Okay,
since night
better.
4 of FNAF 3.
Yeah, I'm the secret of the Mimic. Let's go, Shield Gamer is the secret of the Mimic. You have all the answers for the
But that's not
FNAF
all.
lore
On the way down
then.
to the FNAF 6 location, we find ourselves in a massive cave system full of bioluminescent mushrooms and waterfalls. This immediately felt weird to me. I mean, it is the first time that we've ever been in a place like this, a place that is outside of a building location in this franchise. So
Okay.
why this particular setting?
Maybe it's
Why
a
such a
cave.
beautiful thing
It's
with
a
such
vault.
specific details? It's odd.
It's a
'cause we've never
FNAF
seen anything
vault.
like this in the entire series.
Because
Well,
vaults in
almost
Fallout were
never.
made on
In the
like these
second
big
novel,
caves. caves.
The Twisted Ones. As a friendly reminder, that's the one where the main
Oh my
character
god,
gets
it
bullied
reminds
by
me
an
of that.
animatronic
Oh my
in the
god,
end.
that's
Good
creepy.
memories had by all. When Charlie awakens from being trapped inside one of the twisted animatronics, she finds herself inside of an old Freddy Fazbear pizzeria. As she explores, she too discovers a cave system with, wait for it, glowing mushrooms and a waterfall. What does it mean? Well, the more I looked into it, the more I realized the strong parallels between Ruin and the original novel trilogy. In both cases, we follow a young girl who's looking for a boy the same age as her that goes missing. She finds an old pizzeria buried below a mall, and when she goes down there to where she believes the boy's calling from, it's revealed to be a trap. Am I saying Cassie is Charlie? No, I might one day, but for now I'm still mulling that one over. But I do think that there are clear connections between this game and those books that are directly being called to our attention. And what's the primary location for the final book in the series? The location where this story finally comes to its ultimate conclusion: Circus Baby's Pizza World. Look again at the
Circus Baby Pizza World.
An elephant, clown, and a lion.
Looks
Both
such a
animals that are
random
commonly
name.
associated with circuses. The grandma bird actually looks a lot like a crow to me, with its wide yellow beak and its dark blue coloring, which again
It
reminds
can
me
be
of the
that
Disney film Dumbo, another
bird
circus-based film
that
stars
looks like
crows
a
and an
dinosaur
elephant
too.
attraction. The elephant is even wearing
Casey
a clown
Cage.
outfit, for crying out loud.
Okay.
It is practically screaming at us that these costumes were designed to be mascots for circus babies. It's why when they were brought into Fazbear's as backup costumes, like Phone Guy said, their relevance was questioned because Fazbear never had a circus
How do I
theme or
stop? Ah, here. Sorry. Kinda random. You know, these theories. Oh yeah, I'm getting warm. So good. I'm so cold. You know, I took some time to wake up because I was so cold and the bed was so comfy. You know, now I'm getting warmer again. Oh my god, so cute!
You, and a whole suite of plush baby AR collectibles that specifically call out how weird it is that these things are here. This is Fazbear.
I still got a minute of X. Okay, let's wait. Remember Casey Cage? No. With Casey Cage. Let me see something here in my desk. Wait. I've just seen something, don't worry. From Mortal Kombat. Oh my god, I forgot totally. I'm sorry. Oh my god, no, this is dangerous. Wait. Wait, I'm fixing something here. Wait. Let me just fix that thing there. I guess it's a problem. Wait. Okay, I guess it's good now. Sorry. You good? Yes, I'm just fixing
to call
the...
out all of these parallels unless it is specifically to call our attention to
Fixing
circus
the-
babies. These locations are connected somehow. But the final nail in the coffin for me comes thanks to one of the secret endings in the game. After the mimic chases you in costume, you end up in a locked room where you hit a big old red button
the eater.
and a claw-like machine comes down
Now
from
it's
the
some...
ceiling, grabs the
Yay!
mimic,
Time
and
to eat
defeats
some
it. At least for now.
sarmal. Let's
What's that ending
go.
called in the game files? The scooper ending. This thing right here
Scooper
is
ending.
a scoop. And where's the only other place that we've ever seen a scoop used? Circus babies. An underground bunker that you can only access
No, it
via
was
an
sister
elevator.
location.
Oh, wait, that describes exactly where we are. Now,
Dude,
remind me again
what?
what game is coming out later this year?
What
One that has
happened?
a trailer starting in the sister location elevator. One where we see a very familiar security
Oh,
panel from
PlayStation
Ruin down in
VR
the
2?
bottom
There's
right
a
corner.
VR
Health
2
Wanted
now?
2, the second VR game.
Oh, wait.
The Mimic has been around much longer than any of us suspected, and we're gonna find out more about him in the next VR installment come
Sorry.
this winter. This has
Sarmale
all
in
sorts
English is
of
called
implications.
cabbage.
For one, the parallels
Let's
between the Mimic
go,
and Ennard are
cabbage.
undeniable. An animatronic that's an amalgamation of a bunch
I
of
think
other
cabbage are
animatronics.
good.
What makes this one even more interesting is that the books just confirmed all games up through FNAF 6 as being games in universe of the Pizzaplex. So was
Ooh.
Ennard just
You know,
a fictional
that
version of
drawing
the
is
Mimic
so
the whole
cute.
time? Again, that's a theory for another day. But more importantly, this actually has some massive timeline implications as well. Part of the reason it always felt tough for me to place Circus Babies into a timeline is because it closes after the death of Elizabeth. That always felt like a good starting point for Afton to then begin seeking eternal life and to put people back together.
Yeah, Afton
But what
is
didn't make
crazy,
sense is why Baby
because
would
the
have a
feeling
claw
is covered in
mechanism in her chest to
cabbage.
capture kids. Afton wouldn't need to capture
Oh,
kids
makes
until
sense,
after
I
he lost
guess.
his child. But if Circus Babies
Cabbage
was actually
is such
much
a funny
earlier in the
word to me.
timeline, like these
Cabbage.
old costumes seem to
Cabbage.
suggest, things start to fall into place. Henry was the
And then
initial
you have
robotics
soup.
genius. Afton just had the
Dummy.
ideas and then gave them to Henry to turn into animatronics,
I don't know, it's
like
so
what we see
cute.
with Edwin in the Mimic stories. I always brush this little detail off as confusing, but before the release of Sister Location, we got this ending from FNAF World, where Henry sits at a desk talking talking about the evil that he created before he unalives himself, just like what we see him do in the novel trilogy. At that point, we see a pair of glowing eyes, and Baby's voice calls out,
Everyone, please stay in your seats.
This all implied that Henry was the creator of Baby, not William, despite Afton's name being the one on the
It rhymes. Cabbage in garbage. True, that rhymes. But why cabbage in garbage? Why cabbage in the garbage?
The Mimic program, deciding to use its programming and technology for his own creations. The Funtime animatronics.
But it rhymes true. It's true, it rhymes.
Mimic voices. We see Baby doing the exact same thing in Sister Location when she mimics the voice of Elizabeth to try and lure Michael.
Okay, mimic. Something that mimics voices, okay. It's just an example. You said it's funny, the words.
Given everything that we just talked about today,
cabbage. Cabbage is a funny word, yes.
How it's gonna play out, though, we'll have to see in FNAF VR 2 later this year. Obviously, there's gonna be more to cover here in the coming weeks, specifically about Gregory, Cassie, and Cassie's dad, but more
no, I have the word cabbage in my ads. I don't know why.
A line of merch just dropped today. Ooh. Need to carry your books or laptop to school? Well, the messenger bag just might be right for you.
I have FNAF Help Wanted 2. Is it a good game? Is it hard?
Need a bit more space for your stuff? Then try out the radioactive
so tiny. It's big.
It's got loads more pockets and compartments for everything you need. Plus, it's got a USB charging port built in. And if that's
I ask every time,
for you,
is that a scary
Game Theory duffel bag? This thing is huge. It is perfect for weekend trips away.
It's very easy.
Sneak out the animatronic head of your best friend who's been freed from evil neural network influences. All of these and way more like t-shirts, jackets, sweaters, socks, shorts, and more are available right now at theoryware.com, or you can just click the link down in the description below. And wear your Theorist merch with pride, my friends.
Wait, the game brings you
jump scares of my own. And by jump scare, I mean I come up to you, I shake your hand, I say thank you for supporting Team Theorist, I run away, and it's kind of a funny surprise for all of us. So anyway, in the meantime, remember, my friends, it's all just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching.
Slay. I have such a mess of cables here, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. You make foods. In the game? Oh my god, that's amazing. Ah no, that's a really good game then.
A portion of today's episode is sponsored by Delta Force.
Who is Delta Force?
Sun and Moon, daycare attendant. Whatever you call him, I have one question for you. Why? Why is he here? He was randomly introduced in Security Breach, and sure, he managed to deliver one of the hardest, scariest parts of that game, but really ask yourself, what or who is this thing? In a series that doesn't do coincidences, one already full of a core band of animatronics with old and new faces, as well as deep-cut returns like the Music Man.
Oh my god, that Rex scared me. You make Mexican food, pizza and pizzaronis. Ooh, pizzaronis is good. I hate Moon. Yeah, Moon looks bad, I guess. It's a bad animatronic, so I understand that. Sun is good.
More collectibles than literally any other character. 4 masks, 2 pinatas, 2 plushies, and 2 golden plushies.
I love
which is especially strange when main
conflictuations
characters like Roxy and Chica only have like 1 or 2 items tops. What is the deal with this thing? Well,
okay, I guess.
And now, watch the clip of the Mimic from the end of the game. You see anything interesting? It's the teeth. The teeth are the same. Each one individually.
I died to him many times on Switch. Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
In some way.
Okay, now I'm afraid to play this game because Moon is gonna kill me.
Step aside there, Chica. Eclipse was the first.
You think Moon is sex?
Everything.
Oh my god. Okay, I guess. I don't know.
Internet. Welcome to Game Theory, a show that has valid theories, no eggs required.
My theory is the valid theory. Matt Pat can suck an egg!
My god!
Last time, we started digging deep into the ruins of Security Breach's DLC, where we started to chip away at this game's mountain of mysteries. In the process, we were able to come to a few solid conclusions. First, that Princess Quest was the canon ending, meaning Vanessa was ultimately freed from the control of Glitch Trap, and everyone celebrated the victory by eating
did a really good movie. I heard that this movie is gonna be on Portugal, my country. I don't know if my Kitty Patuti wants to see with me. me.
of all was that underneath the rubble,
You know,
underneath the
Iron
Pizza
Lung
Plex
is gonna
in
be on
Fast 6
Portugal.
was the
I'm so
one and
happy.
only Circus Baby's Pizza World.
I'm-
This revelation
Oh my
was
God, Kitty
huge.
Patootie,
Not only did it
what?
suggest
Do you
that
wanna
Circus
go see
Babies
the
has been around
movie?
since some of the earliest days of the franchise, but I
Oh my
think
God,
it
no
also
way.
reveals what
You
the
wanna
true
go
purpose
see
of
it?
Ruin is. This
Mark
game
is the
isn't
king
about
of
looking
Five
at the
Nights at
future of the
Freddy's, bro. He
franchise.
plays a
Instead,
lot,
it's
I
all
know.
about the past.
I didn't
believe
watch
that
it
Ruin is
yet.
trying to
Oh
tie
my
up
God,
the loose ends
should
for
I
parts
watch
of the
it?
franchise
Sure,
we
when is
left
it on?
forgotten.
I'll check.
That
Okay,
way, we
thank you. Oh
can
my
move
God.
forward with later games.
I'm
And
so
today
happy,
we're gonna
thank
be
you.
diving into that past because that history is
I'm
gonna be the key
freaking
to
out. I'm sorry, I'm getting too
understanding Sun and
excited.
Moon, the truth behind Glamrock Bonnie.
Do you think
and
it's a
our
good movie to
protagonist,
watch? Does
Cassie.
it,
So
is
hold
it,
on to your
you know,
ears,
people are
handrail
saying it's a
theorists.
good
This
movie.
elevator
It's
is
not
taking a one-way trip straight to the first
in my
floor.
country.
Or should I say we're taking a trip
It's
straight
not
to the
in my
first
country.
floor.
Maybe it will
I
be
could
in
say
your
that, but
country. I
probably
don't
shouldn't.
know.
That's a really terrible joke.
I know
Anyway,
they're
let's
gonna
start off
bring
by
it
talking
to
about our new
Portugal and
protagonist,
other.
Cassie. Even though we spend a whole game with her, we
And
really
other-
don't learn all that much about her. Basically, we learn two
other,
things. She's a fan of Roxy, and she's got some real bad luck with vents.
Europe countries. What country? Romania. It's already released. Yeah, but maybe they're doing the translations.
Look, no more vents.
No more
Every single time I get in
vents.
one, it breaks or something jumps out at me.
We also know that
Yeah,
no one showed up for
Morush
her birthday
events.
party.
Sorry.
Booked your party. I'm sure your friends will show up this time.
Well, no one except for Gregory, which is why she's so determined to save him. It's kind of cute. But aside from that,
Oh,
there's
so
not
cute.
a whole lot else about her. In fact, in an odd twist, we actually
You know,
learn more
I
about
think
her
it's a
dad
good.
than we do
Oh
about
damn! It really is coming. It's in the cinema. Said. Oh, sorry for freaking out. Do you want to really see it? The creator Kitty Patootie see. It's a movie you wanna see. It's a movie you think it's good to go to see. It's here Saturday onwards. Oh my God!
Notice how every line describing him is written.
Don't you tell me you're gonna make me see it on Valentine's Day? Like we are gonna celebrate one day later because my love has to go to his band and play. It's not here.
And more importantly, why? Well, for Cassie to say that her Faz wrench is just like her dad's makes it pretty
Okay,
obvious
then
that he
don't
not only worked
forget
for
it. Then
Fazbear
I will not
Entertainment,
watch
he was
it.
also a technician.
It's not in
Throughout
my
the years, we've
region.
encountered a
I not to
handful
go
of
to
technicians,
Lisbon or
mostly
Porto just to see a movie, bro.
adjusting rides,
Forget
fixing
it.
animatronics, nothing too exciting. However, there is
It's only
one
after
set of
dinner
technicians
time, I'm
that
not
has
in our
gone long
district.
forgotten in the game series.
Yeah, forget it
Way
then.
back in Sister
You
Location,
forget it,
we
Kitty
got to
Patootie. I
see
love you.
actual humans
You don't
in
need to
this
see it
series,
then.
only for them
It's
to
cute.
quickly get Sayori'd out of the picture. Heck, we even got to hear these guys.
Maybe next week till be in there. I don't know, bro. Don't worry too
I'm not saying that
much.
Cassie's
I have an
dad
idea.
is one of the
Sexual
two men that
gamer.
we hear talking or see hanging, but the ending's connections to Sister Location, plus the trailer for Help Wanted 2 featuring the Sister Location
We'll have a
elevator
good time
and an
anyway,
electric
don't you
panel like the
worry.
ones that we see throughout Ruin, it all leads me
We don't
to
need
believe
to see the
that her
movie.
father was one of these sorts of
When
technicians.
a movie is
One
out of
the
our
technicians that worked as a part of
district, I
Circus
get
Baby's
like,
entertainment and
I don't
rental.
want to see
In
it.
fact, I suspect that
It's
he's
a
the
secret.
one we'll be
Okay.
playing as in that new game, Help Wanted 2, coming out later this year. As the trailer says,
welcome back for another week of career fulfillment and minimal
Career
social
fulfillment.
clearly this is someone who's been down here before.
It's
The
a secret.
facility
Okay, I
within
will
is
keep it
working.
secret
It's
then.
operational.
Don't
Notice
worry.
the lack of yellow danger tape found at the bottom of
It's
the
not
elevator
dangerous
shaft. We're
anymore.
gonna be joining him for a
Yay!
few days on the job, which in turn should give us the backstory for the events that we're seeing play out during the ending of Ruin. Maybe even witnessing the moment that they had to seal up the Mimic. In fact, I'll take it one step further. Now, this one is a long shot, but I suspect that he and Cassie might wind up united down there in the bunker at the end of all of this. You see, even though Cassie speaking about her father in the past tense implies
Bro,
that he's
Cassie
dead,
has
I don't
some
think that that's
style. Look
actually
at
the
that
case.
makeup,
I think
bro.
he just went missing.
It's
These two
cool.
item
It's purple.
descriptions.
Wait,
The first
it's
is for the
purple.
AR Bonnie mask, which reads
William
I
Afton
interpret that to be what
is
happened
the
to
girl
you, Glamrock
William
Bonnie.
Afton
That's not true.
because
First, this is an
she
AR
has
mask of
purple
the
makeup.
original Bonnie. It's a mask first seen in Help Wanted 1.
Maybe
as part
I'm
of the
getting too
Trick or
crazy,
Treat
but
movie.
everything
It
is
actually far
purple.
predates the
Everything
Pizza
that is
Flex. But
purple on
secondly,
this
and more
series is
importantly,
William
Cassie
Afton.
actually
Yeah,
knows the truth
she's
about what
William
happened to
Afton. I'm
Glamrock
joking.
Bonnie. She
She's
knows
not
that it was
William
Monty Gator
Afton.
who
And then she
eliminated
is,
him
and
from the
I'm like,
picture.
oh my
In a
god,
later
no
item
way.
description, this time for the AR Glam Monty plush, the description reads, it's hard to look at. Why?
I
Why
can't
would
do
the only
makeup
Monty
on
item that
myself,
Cassie
bro.
can collect in the entire game be so
I will
hard to
get
look
it
at?
a mess.
Well,
One time I
because she knows
tried
what
to
he
put
did. She knows
lipstick
that
on.
Monty's guilty, violent,
No,
responsible
false, you
for
were
trashing
Afton?
Glamrock Bonnie. And as a
No,
result,
no,
Cassie has a
false.
hard time looking
You
at
can't
him
be
the same
Afton.
way
Don't
again.
worry about
So,
that.
if the line "What happened to you"
Or
isn't
y-
about
or
Glamrock
are you?
Bonnie, then who is
I'm
about.
now so confused. Everything that is purple is Afton. But no, false, you're not in the FNAF universe. So you're not Afton, don't you worry.
Another question, why is she reminded of
I
him
feel
with
Afton.
that particular
No,
item?
false,
The Bonnie
don't
mask,
let the
just because
murder-
Bonnie was his favorite? No, I
murder
suspect
feelings
it's because
got
her
you,
father
no!
wore that Bonnie mask. And not only did he wear it, he wore it during the single most infamous scene in the entire
You're
franchise.
not in the
Bite of
FNAF
83.
franchise, no, false. It's okay.
No, Mark, no, it wasn't. My theories are the only valid theories. You go lick a stick.
Because in this franchise, everything is purple, it's William
Now, that at first
Afton,
might seem
bro.
like a stretch, but again, remember what prompts the memory of her father. An old mask of the original Bonnie. Just like Bonnie Bro wore on
Bonnie
that fateful
Bro.
day all those years ago. What's more, notice what's missing from all these collectibles. You have a Bonnie mask and a Foxy mask, but no Freddy, no Chica mask. It's suspicious, right? Like, why? Why would Steel Wool include such a random and, more importantly, incomplete collection of memorabilia? It's clearly them trying to tell us something, that this mask is connected to the Foxy mask, the one that Michael wore during the Bite of 83. What's more, Cassie's dad is clearly established to be a massive fan
so
of the Freddy's
cute.
franchise.
So
One of the
adorable.
collectibles in Ruin are these cute little Freddy and Friends lunchboxes that we're told he used to collect. Now, Freddy and Friends was a cartoon series created by Steel Wool to help promote the release of Security Breach a couple years ago. It was animated in the style of old Hanna-Barbera cartoons, similar to things like Scooby-Doo, Yogi Bear, the Flintstones, old shows that actually started in the late 60s but remained popular throughout the 70s and the 80s. Dates that very nicely line up with Fred Bear's Family Diner being open. And that's not all the proof we have here. Notice how these lunchboxes have a classic metal design with a metal handle on top? They're very similar to designs that we saw popular for kids' lunchboxes that existed between the 50s and the 80s.
I don't know, I
So
wasn't
here's the thing,
alive
we
yet.
don't even need to go as far as masks and lunchboxes and cartoons.
Maybe my mom
Pull up
knows,
Cassie,
I will
pull up
ask
Bonnie,
her.
bro. Can you guess where I'm going with this? Can
Probably
you?
she had one of those.
If only there were a way that I could just, I don't know, just visualize the design similarities between these two characters. Oh, I know. Hey, editors, do you reckon you could whip up something for me? Maybe something that connects the red shirt, blue shorts,
Bro, the
brown
editor
hair,
has
maybe
purple
the darker
hair.
skin tone of these two characters. Beautiful.
William
Work
Afton.
of art. Pièce de résistance.
What
I mean,
is this?
Really, what more proof do you need of this one? But that then brings us back to the
Okay, I
question of
guess.
why pick Bonnie Bro, of all people? Just for the Easter egg? A random reference to a past character? I don't think that's it. For 9 years now, FNAF has been the story of one family, the Aftons. This was their tale. Their lives, their mistakes, their deaths, their resurrections, all of it culminating in
Now
that
it's,
FNAF 6 fire. But with
about all the
introduction of characters
families
like
in.
Bonnie Bro as Cassie's father, we're being told that we need to widen our scope, not just focus on the Aftons, but rather to those around them. I still believe FNAF 1 through 6
Okay,
is
now
the
it's
Afton
then
story, but
around
this
those
new
and then
era of
around
FNAF,
those
it's
of
about how
those
the
and then
actions of
around
the
of those and
Aftons
those
during
and
their
those,
story
and then
affected
it's the
people
old
around
world.
them. The ripple
My God,
effect,
it's
the
just so many
collateral damage.
people.
Bonnie Bro was just a kid who grew up loving Bonnie, loved watching the show made by his best friend's dad. But when that friend, Michael Afton, roped him into a prank that went horribly wrong, he never lived it down. He went on to study robotics and become a technician so that it would never happen again.
okay.
And Ruin just keeps on digging up the past, because now I want to talk about arguably the most confusing character across the entire franchise, Eclipse. But first,
You know,
I need to
wasn't
tell you
it
about
only
something else
Sun
that has a
and
long
Moon
history.
World?
Today's sponsor, Delta Force.
Delta
This
Force,
game goes
okay.
way back, and I do mean way back. It originally released back in 1998.
Hey, Jesus, it's
Ash
old.
was very quick to remind me was before they were born, at which point I never
so
felt
cute,
old.
tiny
But this
face.
series was revolutionary for the time. Based on the
Okay.
real-life Delta Special
Ooh.
Forces, this game was the first
What are
outdoor
the Delta
tactical
Special
shooter in the world.
Forces?
Delta Force walked so that we could floss. And now, 14 years
Floss?
after its last installment in 2009, Delta Force is back with a brand new cross-platform operator-based tactical shooter, Delta Force Hawk Ops, which takes everything
Does
they
it have
learned
a
over the
story
years and
at
takes
least?
the FPS genre to an entirely new level. You may have even seen it debut at Gamescom 2023 earlier this week, and I gotta tell you, it
I don't
looks
know.
great. It's nice to take a break from indie horror walking simulators for a change, and just jump into something that's a bit more action-packed. And Delta Force has got that in spades, provided that's the way you want to play. If you enjoy gaming with the boys, then Extraction Mode puts an emphasis on teamwork and strategy to complete the mission. Or maybe you're not here to
Okay.
make friends and would rather rain fiery
it's
vengeance
a
on anyone
multiplayer
that crosses
game.
you. In which case, might I recommend Great Battlefield Mode, which puts you in an all-out war against other players to find out who is truly the best of the best. Or maybe you're like me and you don't have anyone that's currently willing to play video games with you. I'm not competitive, I'm just passionate. Well, Delta Force has got you covered there too with Black Hawk Down Mode, where you'll be able to immerse
Black
yourself
Hawk?
in the infamous Mogadishu battle from the Black Hawk Down movie. There is truly
I don't
something
understand
for everyone in this
anything.
game. And who knows, there may even be some hidden lore inside there for you to find. So if you'd like to help
Okay,
me with
there's
the lore
lore
hunt,
there.
head on down to the description and click the link to pre-register for the game yourself. It'll be available on PC and mobile, but there's a console version on the way, which means that it doesn't matter what you and your friends are playing on, you can experience a game that has truly persevered across the decades. Once again, make sure you click the link down in the description below to pre-register
If you're on
for the game.
PlayStation,
Thanks
maybe you
again,
need
Delta Force,
PS
for
Plus,
sponsoring
bro.
this part of the video.
But one
And
thing
now
that
it's
is
time
kind
to
of
talk about the perseverance
crazy
of
is
someone else, a
that
character
I play
from FNAF this
Fortnite
time,
on
the daycare
PlayStation,
attendant. In general, Sun and Moon
and I don't
just
need
don't
PS
work. They're
Plus to
court
play online. It's
jesters,
kind
which
of
makes sense
crazy.
inside of a
Oh, okay.
castle-themed daycare, but not in the
Cool
whole
hats, though.
80s-tastic, futuristic pizzaplex. So where did this thing come from? Well,
Don't know.
underneath this terrifying mask is a set of robotic teeth. And those aren't just any teeth, they're made to move independently. Now, that might not seem like that important of a design feature, but believe me, it is. There's only one other character with teeth like that, and it's the Mimic. Now take another look at Eclipse's design. It's a scrawny design with arms and torso that are basically just long metal rods with springs wrapped around them. And when you take a look at the back of the head, you'll see a circuit board just there, out in the open. The design feels simple, rudimentary, very bare bones, just like the Mimic, who's made up of old parts from industrial machines. Two animatronics made from the same basic shapes and parts. Now, am I saying that Eclipse is a Mimic? No. But what I am saying is that these animatronics seem to come from the same time period. A time period that predates practically everything that we've seen in this franchise. How early are we talking about here? Well, for the answer,
10
again,
years.
I turn your attention
I'm
to
joking, I
the
don't know.
collectibles. Well, playing through the game, I just couldn't shake how random the collection was. I've talked about this before. A Foxy and Bonnie mask partnered with a Sun and Moon mask. Where's Freddy and Chica? A similar thing happens with the golden plushies.
Okay,
You got
that's
Sun,
confusing,
Moon,
I guess.
Foxy, Bonnie, Baby, and Glamrock Freddy. It's a weird assortment, but again, there's no Chica. Or you got the pinatas. There's just
Why
three
is
of
it so
them. Sun,
important,
Moon,
the
and Bonnie.
collectibles?
Not
Oh
like
my
no Glamrock
God.
Bonnie, just Bonnie. It's almost like the game is trying to tell us something with all these random groupings and which animatronics are present where. And I suspect that what we're actually seeing here are the eras of the franchise and the key players that existed in each one. And the one who came first, Sun and Moon. You'll notice that of all the collectibles, there are two that are visibly unique relative to all the
no
others.
way.
A collection of two masks that stand out from the rest. The comedy mask and the tragedy mask. They have no eye or mouth holes. They're not even colored. And the fact
What
that they're
is
labeled
this?
comedy and tragedy,
They're telling me that
not
these
Sun and
guys were in
Moon,
the
tells us that
franchise
these weren't
way
just
back
any
there.
masks, they were old
Come on,
theater
it's
masks.
confusing.
Are you familiar with these
No.
things? The laughing and crying
I
masks?
ca-
Well,
I
you see,
can't
the
think- I
tradition of
can't
theater
even
masks
talk.
actually originates
Jesus.
in ancient Greek theater. The first plays evolved from rituals that involved masks, so it was natural for actors to wear masks that represented these heightened emotions that their characters were feeling. And while I don't think that Sun and Moon date back nearly that far, I do suspect that these masks were actually Afton's first creations. For years, we've been left to speculate about a time that came before Fredbear's
cute
Family
painting.
Diner. And I did my best in the ultimate timeline to piece together a plausible narrative for what would bring Afton to create Fazbear based on the evidence that we had available. But I think that these AR collectibles are Steel Wool's way of telling us that journey. Look at the evolution that's present here. Comedy and tragedy masks. They're the first. They're part of some theater or vaudeville style sideshow.
Okay.
Then you go to Sun, Moon, and Bonnie pinatas. A third new character gets added into the mix. Afton's character, the Bunny. Then there are four masks. Still Sun and Moon, then Bonnie, and then Foxy. There's no Freddy or Chica because they're not here yet. They didn't join the band, as it were, until William and Henry started working together. It's then and only then when Henry brings his barnyard animals to the table. Chica, Pig Patch,
Barnyard
Happy
animals.
Frog, that we see the Lunchbox crew develop. The core four that we've known and loved since FNAF 1. And then the AR plushies are just everyone
so
who's currently
cute.
relevant inside of the
Oh,
pizza
no, they're
place,
broken.
i.e. every
That's
character that's been
depressing.
created. As for the golden plushies, I'm not quite sure what they're meant to be. That one remains to be seen. Regardless, that progression of character development would explain why Afton's solo adventure after the closure of Freddy's was circus themed. He's had himself a jester and jester adjacent characters for years. Though I would like to point out very strongly that a jester and circuses are not one and the same thing. A clown is not a jester, and a jester is not a clown who works at a circus. A jester is someone who entertains royalty, a king or queen. He does not work under a big top coming out of a small car. And don't even get me started on the fact that everyone's teasing this new game carnival theme, which again, carnivals are not circuses and circuses are not jesters. You're all just trying to retroactively fit them into these themes where they don't technically go, which honestly probably tells you more about the lore than you would expect. It's actually kind of smart world building. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. Anyway, we know thanks to the Tales from the Pizzaplex that a jester costume was present all the way back when the original Mimic was made. Quote, Dominic's flashlight glow picked out a brown Freddy Fazbear costume, a yellow Chica costume, a Foxy costume, a Bonnie costume, and a couple bright pink and yellow-green court
Why
jester
specific
costumes.
yellow
And it's
Chica
clear that the
costume?
jester
Wasn't
idea
Chica
persisted throughout all of Afton's plans, because in the epilogues of the Tales from the Pizzaplex book, we also read this. Quote again, as soon as Lucia's hand slipped into the jester costume sleeve, she recoiled and snatched her hand back. What is it? Kelly asked. It's okay. I just almost got into a spring-lock suit is all.
Oh my God.
The costume developed from just a normal costume into a spring-lock suit. Suits, which were definitely used in Circus Baby's Pizza World.
Try not to wiggle, though. You're inside something that came from my old pizzeria.
Okay.
I don't think it was ever used. I'd recommend that you keep the spring locks wound up.
The spring lock suit in the epilogue also has a mask that matches up almost perfectly with our daycare attendant.
Oh, so
One final
cute.
quote. Lucia stepped up to the costume.
Okay, but
suppressing
why
a
is
shiver at
Moon
the jester's
mean?
leering, toothy grin and its wide eyes.
Why
and the best
does
part
Moon
is, thanks
exist?
to the Mimic, I think I
If
can
the sun
pinpoint
is
exactly when
good and
Circus
the
Baby
moon is
started, but
bad,
eventually fell
then
through.
the moon
I
shouldn't
decided
be
to look a
there.
little deeper into the room just before the Mimic chase. It's an old
Oh my
room
God,
filled
a
with
cute
shattered
bag,
security
so
nodes,
cute.
propane tanks, and the Mixus hub, all connected to a computer which we can use to free the Mimic.
Looks like
Now,
the
majority
computers of
people have been
Fallout.
assuming that
Fallout.
Mixus is Gregory's doing.
I would say
The
Fallout
backpack
4,
is
but
down
they're
there
also in
after all,
Fallout
and the
3
Mimic
and
has
other
his
games.
walkie-talkie. But something just didn't add up to me. The computer controlling the Mixus server is way older than any of the other technology that we see throughout the Pizzaplex. We've got camera galleries, modern office spaces, even portable security camera viewing stations. But this super important system for keeping the killer robot under lock and key is using only an old CRT monitor? Yeah, no, that doesn't feel right to me. And this computer isn't just any computer, its design matches those from the 1980s. Specifically, it reminds me of the IBM PCJR, computers that were released in, get this, 1984. Mixes has been around for a long time, trying to keep the Mimic locked away, but why? Well, I think I have an answer to that. An answer that also gives us an explanation for why Mixes shows itself as a blue rabbit. See, I don't think Afton only copied physical characteristics from the Mimic to make animatronics like Eclipse. I think he also took its software to speed up his creation process. I think that this was one of the ways he was able to populate Circus Baby's Pizza World with the Funtime animatronics. As John from the channel FNAF has been quick to point out time and time again, almost all of the Funtimes have themselves a very specific function. They have the ability to mimic voices. Just like John, I too believe that Afton got that functionality from the Mimic program itself. After the tragic death of his son during the bite of 1983, Afton needed a backup plan, something that he could build fast, just in case the Fazbear name was permanently tarnished. So he went back to the Mimic program and made a copy of its software, transferring it into his newest creations, hoping that they would be able to learn routines much faster. He could then give them stomach hatches and other features to help him capture kids, all to forward his experiments
I was like,
and bring his son back to life. Everything looked like it was going
I can't
according to
spell
plan.
anymore. Oh
But
my
sadly,
God.
we know what happened. His daughter got too close to one of his traps and was killed. Afton was obviously devastated by this and shut the whole thing down. The Mimic program had failed spectacularly. He sealed up the old location with concrete, and as a safety measure, he created a new program that would keep the Mimic locked away permanently. A system wrapped in his signature purple, guarded by the one creature that he could trust, the rabbit Bonnie. And so Mixes was born. That then gives us two separate Mimics, one inside Baby and the Funtimes, ready to be collected by Fazbear Entertainment and used to create VR experiences, and the other still trapped down in the basement. This would actually go a long way to explain a weird moment from the middle of Ruin, where Helpy and the Mimic argue with one another.
What happened to it?
Okay.
They're both Mimic AI, so what exactly is going on here? Well, it's two
One is
versions
good
of the
and one
same
is bad.
program finally in the same place after so long. Helpy is the Mimic program in the
Helpy,
network,
so
while the
cute.
Mimic talking to Cassie is the physical Mimic down in the basement. It's possible, it's confusing, and I suspect it might just be right. Guess all in a day's work for FNAF lore, am I right? But hey, that's just a
Me and my boys went up to school on Monday. Yeah, I don't like school.
Watching.
You know, I didn't like school because I suffered a lot. And, you know, the classes and stuff, that's not bad, you know. It was other stuff. I will hydrate now if I'll calm down. Wait, let me put another video. Okay, let's hydrate now. Oh, wait, thank you. Let's drink.
Welcome to Game Theory, where today we're going to be doing what we do on a lot of these days, talk about snap.
Thank
but
you.
A little mix-up today. We're doing it on the couch. And let me tell you, have I got a theory for you. It is a theory that you are absolutely guaranteed to hate. Get your pitchforks ready, my friends. I am prepared to get dragged all across Twitter and Reddit for this one. But then again, honestly,
look at you pushing the wall. So cute.
Because that's largely been the response to a lot of our FNAF theories lately. Any theory that I release at this point starts with this massive wave of comments like, Matt's theorizing has gone downhill.
I like Brian. Who is Brian?
Lazy, proper research is not being done.
Thank you for the stickers. Thank you. Oh no, the true
wondering if he's even
stickers.
About this franchise anymore. There is a difference between telling theories and straight up telling misinformation.
Maybe I knew who they were, or maybe I forgot or never knew. I don't know.
That we do at this point,
Thank you.
This franchise always comes packaged with some sort of predetermined disclaimer right at the top. Cue the clip.
Fair warning.
Oh look, Matt Pat is using purple jackets.
I feel good about him. Like,
William Afton. Oh my God. Thank you.
Let's just say that you're either gonna love that episode or
you know I like the trolls because they have cute faces. Oh my God, cute face. Money.
It's not just me getting these sorts of responses.
Thank you, thank you. Oh my God, thank you so much. Oh my God, thank you, thank you. Whee! Somebody stop, thank you.
Baby theory sucks. I don't want to be rude, huh?
Thank you, Neufels, cute tiny face.
Me and John either. Rye Toast, another FNAF theory.
You don't like the video now? Okay. Lol, you're adorable.
I mean, honestly,
now you're giving money to the video ads. Oh, sorry. Wait. Let's wait a bit. Hi, I love you guys. Got to go. Bye. Hello, Salon. Bye. Have a good day. Thank you. I love you too. Oh my God. So many people. Yay! Kitties. Meow, meow. It's so cute. So many cats, lol. My God. Jeez. You're adorable. Meow meow. Oh my God, kitty! Ah, you're so cute. Kitty Patootie Creator, you're adorable. I love you. You're so cute. You're so tiny in the chat.
It's endless, but the TLDR of all of this is that I went down the line of FNAF theorists and I just kept seeing the same thing over and over again. It's not just my theories that are getting all this hate, it's all.
Why?
And that's weird.
Why all of them getting hate, though?
Probably do a theory about that. Because I think I know why this is happening. And honestly, just like the FNAF lore, it's pretty darn complicated.
You know, I don't hate them. They look fun, but confusing. Have anyone ever told you good luck, have fun, don't die?
This community and the whole FNAF franchise as a whole.
I think
it's important that we set some context here.
I think I say kind of that to people.
Or jumping the animatronic Felix the Shark, such as Cassie Dad is Bonnie.
Oh my God, thank you for the Twitch clip, Rifles. We'll watch it after the stream. So cute, I love that.
I'd say that one was dumber, but sure, go for it.
I'm back. Hello, Shield Gamer. I usually like to say my love. Oh no, I'll say to my mom when she just goes to.
We'll get to that.
Oh, no, get any face, Rifles. Thank you. And I found something. What, Shield Gamer? You know, I go with my mom to shopping. No, not shopping, like grocery shopping. And I say in the car. And she's gonna just walk to the supermarket, and I say like, be careful and stuff like that. Like I just say that kind of stuff. I don't say don't die. I say like be careful, please. Even though she literally is just going to buy bread. Meet me in the voice chat after stream. Okay.
4 games of story and beloved characters with the whole. Oh, it was all just a dream.
There's gonna be voice chat in a bit, but okay. I'll go after the stream so it's more private then. And Creator YouTube. Oh my God, Slay! It's very common to tell your friends. Yeah, I tell mostly to have like be careful mainly.
At least it was right until then. This new Tales of
Kitty
the Pizza
Patootie
book
creator
coming
is so
out,
confused.
apparently
Look at that, so
rewrites
cute.
forward to some
It's a confused
hallucinogenic
kitten.
gas creation. Thanks for that one, Scott. Couldn't even let me know
Purple,
that victory
William
trivia.
Afton.
What are you
Oh my god,
laughing
now
at me, Scott?
I
I'm
have
selling the
that.
book
Purple
for ya.
is why I can't talk anymore. Me confused. Oh my god, so cute!
I started using the book
Are you
7
able
years
to
ago.
watch Iron Lung or
7, I've been
not?
reading these things for 7 years. This is my literary
I think not,
contribution.
because it's not in our
7 years
district.
of this book. I could be reading like War and Peace or Uncle Tom's Cabin or something.
Wanna know
No, I
something?
get to read
Yes,
Tales from
please,
Pizza
thank
Plex
you.
One Lally's game. Great. This is how I enrich myself. To my knowledge, I was one of the first, if not the
Great.
first person to seriously use the book.
Yay,
for
I will not
theorizing.
see the
I'll tell
book.
you, people hated
You know,
it
I will
at
not
the
see it
time.
because it's not out of my district. And if you want to get out of the district, it's quite impossible because everything is flooded and the roads broke down. Literally, there's holes and pits because the water destroyed everything. Oh, it's quite impossible now to get out of the
7
district.
years later, I've got a couple of gray hairs, and the pendulum has swung completely in the other direction. Now, the community holds me and
Bro,
all
Matt
the other
Patty is
characters
saying that he has
hostage if we're
gray
not
hair.
looking
Where,
at the
bro?
books, or if we're looking
When
at them
gods
properly
greet their
and
close
not
friends, we
treating them
tend to
as
call each
100%
other
canon to the events of
names.
the game. Long story
When
short,
guys greet their
time
close
is a
friends, how
powerful
much?
thing. And in this franchise, especially, it is super powerful,
wait.
considering that Scott repeatedly has said that he uses both the game and the
22
book in the
videos.
future to clarify the events.
You
of
know,
the past.
I
Or,
actually
that's
just
a
say
shorthand way of
cute
saying that he
names.
uses those future things to just ultimately pick the direction
But that's
that
to
he
my
wants to go the
to my
entire
kitty
time.
patootie.
The
To
long
my
and short of it is that
friends when
sometimes the
I
crazy
I
theories in the
just
moment become the correct theories
yeah, I think
a
it's
year
cute
or
stuff
2
I
years or
use.
even 5
I know
years down the
people
line
in my
as more
high
details
school that they
solidify
were
around the
just
story. For a
swearing
great
at them
example
like
of this,
friends.
let's just take a look at everyone's
I'll
favorite
watch until
Gregory
you're
the
going to
Robot theory,
play.
where I propose that Gregory is indeed the robotic reincarnation of the crying child. When I look
3
online,
hours
this is
and
often the one that
18
people point to
minutes.
as the point where Matt Pat fell off. Where
Or
he
less.
literally lost the thread of the games, and to this day, it has entered the
Wanna put my
hallowed
PC in a
pantheon
new
of
place
theories
to try
that
to
get
see if
memed
it's
to
good.
death. Right
Where,
alongside
bro?
Luigi's eggplant height,
But guy friends call it dumbass and stuff. Lol, I guess that's funny. Come on, that much to wait.
The king that rules them all,
Why?
right?
I have to
And
do
also
the
that robot
stuff.
theory gets boiled down to this singular graphic right here. So much so that we actually started to meme on it ourselves.
Downstairs
And you know,
room.
when it gets to us,
Look,
memeing
bro, that's
something
not a
is
private
definitely
place.
bad.
Your
We are
family's
so
gonna
crazy
enter and
we
read the
can't.
stream again.
But here's the thing. Gregory is a
Oh my
robot
god, I
theory
have
that
something
has
better
spawned
to show.
over 4 other
Bro, but I
theories
have to
and
finish
constitutes over
this.
15,000
It's the
words.
guest
So
room.
dismiss it
Ah,
as purely
you have a
one kid in
guest room?
striped shirt go brrrr. Isn't that you just falling into the same trap that you, the internet accusers, have leveled at me? You say that I ignore evidence, that I don't do my research.
I
that
don't think I
ignore
have a guest
details
room
just to
in my
forward
house.
My intended narrative. But
You know, I think it's weird to have a guest room. Why would you have people staying at your house?
For the sake of clarity,
Also, another
and
thing
for the
about
sake
how
of
guys make
screenshots,
friends is
I'll try
that
to
they
keep it
never
all in a
ask each
singular
other's
case,
surname.
since I know that you all love to boil my theories down to one.
Bro,
So,
yeah, when I
my
made
friend,
friends, I never asked for the name. Then I asked
that
the
he's colored
name.
in purple, which connects him to the Afton
My
family,
mom will
that
go
he's
out in a
taken
bit, so
bite
it'll
out of
be
a
all
golden
alone. Be right back.
green
We'll
cone,
use it
just like
for
the
our
crying
grandpa.
child
Ah,
got
your
it.
grandpa
And
makes
his being called
sense.
Broken, which parallels the final line said to the crying child. His vision getting all staticky when Vanny skips past him in the Pizzaplex, and him looking differently when Freddy gets Roxy's eyes. I don't know about you, but that right there, that seems to me like a lot of important evidence. So who's really ignoring evidence to forward their intended narrative here? Me, the person trying to concoct
What's
a theory
happening in
to
the Discord?
explain
I'll
all
watch
those
it after
details,
the
or
stream.
anyone online
I
who
think
continues
something
to
is
insist that
happening. I don't know
Gregory,
what.
You know, he's just a normal kid. And just
No,
like
Rex
with
isn't.
string theory
I don't
book
know what's
theories, more
happening.
evidence
We
for
tend to wait
this
till
has just
someone
started
else
to
say the
stack up.
name.
Since the release of Security
Say the
Breach and
name.
Tales from the Pizzaplex books, which many are now considered
I think
to
that
be
makes
100%
sense.
canon to the game.
You know, I
These
sometimes
books
have
have
problems
repeatedly
with
included over and
names.
over
I
again
forget
story after
them
story of kids
a
either
lot.
becoming robots, always being robots,
And I am
or
like,
being taken over by
and the
robots.
birthday
You don't
dates,
even
and I'm
have
like
to
in my
read
mind,
the
like
stories in the
remember.
books to know this. I
And
mean, just look at the theme of these
then
covers, right?
if I hang
Robot
out
humanoid kid,
really
robot
much,
humanoid. This one
I
doesn't
will
count.
be.
Robot humanoid.
I will
Like,
remember a lot of the
last
name.
book in the series that's coming out like right now as this episode releases, it is literally about a kid who turned himself into a robot. Yeah, look at it. He's got
that's
fingers and
creepy.
everything. Another one of those stories, this time GGY, It focuses on a boy named Gregory, sounds familiar, who sets high scores in the Pizzaplex. Again, should sound familiar. He disappears multiple.
Is this a whole video of him saying that he's right?
This story right here
Bro, what? Okay, I guess.
Is the fact that Gregory is patient 46, confirming that regardless
is
of
it
how
the
you feel
full
about
volume?
Gregory as a
Yes.
protagonist, he's a bad dude. He is killing people off, or at the very least, he's making them disappear to protect whatever secret he has. Something that, again, we predicted as part of that Robot Gregory series, and something that people at the time really didn't like. Plus, you can't ignore the fact that he's calling himself Dr. Rabbit, which again is yet another connection over to the Afton family. And while it doesn't ever explicitly say that Gregory is a robot, it does write him with some very oddly robotic characteristics. Quote from here, Greg returned the waves. He smiled. Then he cocked his head and studied Tony for several seconds. It's weird, right?
Why is that model so...
very specific way.
You know, the model on the video looks like, I don't know, not rendered.
It feels to me like he's written like an AI, stopping to learn, study human behavior, to grow and operate. And that sort of AI connection actually returns when we go
Oh my
back
god,
to
so
the
scary.
page. Here, I'd like to direct your attention to the wall code from the secret sister location room found near the end of that game. Very quickly, the FNAF community figured out that this chunk of wall code right there read as follows. Dodge, duck,
well, see, there's a sun in the room.
Run,
reference to the sun animatronic image. Okay, I don't know anymore. I think everything is connected, I guess.
Faz cams. He's shooting Faz lasers. He is literally crushing the band. So this room,
crushing the band,
room, mind you, is in some ways trying to speak to Gregory. But why would it be written in such a weird language? Well, honestly, we had no way of knowing it at the time. It wasn't until a year later, when this book finally came out again. This is the same one with GGY. But this
bro, I don't know if I would read those books. They look so creepy.
Is a tale all about a genius
like, not the look of the cover, bro. The cover is really good. I like the art style. But the content of it, it's so creepy. You know, the text, like, jeez.
Triangles within triangles. The code is the language of the Mimic. The Mimic being an AI program designed to copy those it watched. All signs point
bro,
to
how is there an AI so like
part of this AI system? So
that the AI was Jesus, I can't talk anymore. It's FNAF, I guess, bro.
Showing that Afton was working
because the AI,
should actually be on there too.
You know, the AI is so old.
Pretty crowded in this,
probably they did some, you know, arrangements or something. I doubt that it was that perfect, bro.
Here's the thing.
It's not perfect because it's killing people, by the way.
Try and convince you. The internet critics.
Oh my god, I love that plushie there. Look at that, so cute.
Dead horses that I just want to leave alone, believe it or not. And honestly, I don't care if you believe this theory or not. I do not.
Have you heard of Ghost Stories dubbed? No.
Though apparently I have a lot of.
That sounds scary.
Weird. I am here.
Sorry. It's so funny messing with Noifalls. Poor Noifalls! Just look the message. I will see after the stream.
I would love you internet critics to join us. That would be awesome. We are an open-minded community. We
hope they're not confused.
Embrace you with open arms and the most fan.
Noifalls, are you okay? Are you confused? I don't know what happened.
Who accused me and all the other
I was seeing something about cats or something.
Just because we don't care.
It's extremely funny.
Ask yourself honestly. Who's
the ghost stories. Okay.
We're the ones pointing out this information.
Are you the cat?
Trying to solve what all this means.
Noifalls, I kinda hate you for that. Noifalls, oh my god, are you okay?
Well, we're being honest.
Oh my god, I don't want people to fight in my community. Oh my god, please make peace. Oh my god. Don't fight. Oh my god.
My last theory.
I don't want a war.
I drew parallels between the daycare attendant and the Mimic because both of them have very unique teeth.
Also, I like cats. Cats are cute. It's so random seeing me seeing that. Bro, do the animatronics need to brush the teeth? Because those teeth look like human teeth. It's just for a question.
But do you remember what franchise we're talking about here, friends? We started
Cats,
with
meow.
melting animatronic toes and
Sorry.
buttons. But the reason
Noifalls, he's rage baiting me. Cute tiny face, oh my god, cute tiny face. Noifalls, ignore then, ignore.
Oh my gosh,
he asked, I wonder who did it.
Or the Glamrock's hand.
They asked, Noifalls' pronoun are they. Sorry, Shield Gamer.
right? I mean, if you're allowed to compare
I wonder who did it. What?
Hands, then I can compare independently moving teeth, right? In the end, well,
No, I
things have
follow such
certainly
cute
gotten
tiny
more
face freaking
sophisticated
out
in the
so
theorizing
cute.
space, and we have higher standards for our evidence, and we should always be looking for more evidence to support any of our conclusions. Simple
It's just so funny
observations
to play
like
them.
fingers or teeth. They're easy ones to build off of. They're easy
Sometimes
ones to
it's
start
good,
exploring.
but don't
Where they
rage
lead
bait
can be
people.
some
Oh my
really
god.
awesome
Rage
cool
bait is so
directions. We as
common
humans
nowadays.
are pre-programmed.
I don't know if I'm immune or I freak out sometimes. I think I freak out sometimes.
Brings a sense of
Yeah.
satisfaction, of closure, right? There's
But I don't think
actually an entire brand
he's
of
playing
psychology
dumb
that
and rage
uses
bait to
very
save
fast.
stuff.
So naturally, when we're faced with
I don't know anymore.
give us any sort of
Oh my god, butterfly, thank you.
for us to want to find the simplest solution or cling on to certain details like they're indisputable facts because it's better to be wrong than to be uncertain. And FNAF makes that hard because it's a story that's
FNAF doesn't make any sense now, bro. There's no lore.
Animatronics to liquid soul metal to digital consciousness transfer and then to goo that literally tries to steal your identity. And well, that's frustrating.
Goo.
It's also so fun.
Okay, I guess. Thank you. Lol. You don't like the video? Okay, lol.
I think is where we're rubbing people the wrong way.
I
A few weeks
understand.
ago, I asked a bunch of you online to take the Myers-Briggs personality test. Now, this
Who
is
is
a really
that?
fun assessment that breaks you down into one of 16 different personality types based on
Bro,
letters. Are you
question.
an
What
extrovert
personality you think I am?
who likes just being out with people?
I
Or
never
are you an
did the
introvert
tests.
who likes your quiet alone time? Are you a
Imagine
structured,
doing it on
organized J for
live.
judging, or are you a go with the flow for perceiving P? Do you prefer logic and thinking T, or do you like to go with your gut and your feelings F? But for this particular debate, I actually wanted to focus on two letters, S and N. Now, these two letters focus on how you process information. The
Okay.
S stands for sensing. This means
Putato.
that you take the information
I like
from the world around
putato.
you and you take it at face value. You use your five senses to determine what is real and
Potato.
factual. It often means that you look at the
Potatoes
world
are
in a very
amazing.
literal way. N, on the other hand, stands for intuition. It's not the cleanest of lettering systems.
It
but
should
they'd already use
be
the
I.
Anyway, if you're an N, it means that you interpret information in more abstract.
It's not intuition,
rather than just relying on
intuition.
exactly what's in front of you.
Because the
physically.
I doesn't
You take that
exist
information,
anymore.
and then you
I'm
go a
sorry.
couple steps further.
Why did they
Make
put an N
connections
and on a
between
in
things
the
in
and
interesting ways to go
why did they
beyond
put
just
an
your
N
five
and
senses.
not and
So,
why did they put an N and not an I? We are not the N words. We are not the N.
But building more abstract connections to find solutions. In fact,
Like,
almost
you're
everyone who
intuitive?
works at Team Theorist here is an
You're
N,
not intuitive?
purely by coincidence. It's not like you can actively screen for something like that. It just works out this way.
I is for
because the way
introverts.
we do things here requires a certain
yeah,
mindset.
and then
A mindset
they
that
should
only about
like
25%
make
of the population
two
is remotely
eyes
comfortable with. Is Mario a
or
villain? No.
IN.
There are so many examples.
IN
of
would
him
be
being a hero,
better.
But you also can't ignore little details.
But the introvert
Like the time
also
he
is
chained up Donkey Kong, or
IN.
the time that he stomped on his little brother's toe, and that right there yields some
Into.
pretty interesting conclusions.
They put
if you
into.
connect all those dots,
Into.
leading to,
That would be
hey,
better.
Mario is a villain. That's not to say that you can't also
Mario is a
theorize
villain?
that. You absolutely can. In fact, our creative director Tom and FNAF theorist John were both
Look
in
at
town
those
a couple
cute
months ago
plushies
showcased
and
this exact
figurines.
difference in mindset. They probably best showed it with how to interpret Michael's ending monologue from Sister Location. Tom's an N, John is an S. John used the literal words being said to inform his interpretation, while Tom was more focused on how the words were said to imply meaning.
Fun fact, by the way, after we shot this video, we got into contact with John, and we asked him to take this test again. And since he first visited, his Myers-Briggs has actually shifted to more of an
Do you
N
know
type.
what
Remember,
reminds you to be
Myers-Briggs
special?
isn't
That's
just black and white, it's
a
spectrum.
Fallout
John was originally
stuff.
59%
Strength,
S, but now that's
perception,
shrunk down to
endurance,
32%. So that doesn't mean
charisma,
that he now has no more
intelligence.
S tendencies,
I think
it's
it's
just that his exposure
ability
to the wonderful world
and
of FNAF theorizing has led him to look at things
the
differently,
Alice
to link the
Watts.
obscure, to
Oh
make
my God.
connections from small details, and to imply meaning through more abstract means rather than the more literal ways that he might have done.
Agility and luck.
And that right there,
Agility
that is
and
the
luck,
fundamental
yes. Oh
difference
my god,
between
sorry, I
and
love Fallout.
I think
Two
a lot of the
eyes
newer
confusing,
fans of the
true.
franchise are S's.
And when you look at our survey
I'm
results,
sorry, I
you can
love
actually
Fallout.
see this playing out, with almost 25% of S's joining during either the FNAF VR, AR, or Security Breach era. Compare that to N's, where only 18% joined during that era.
And so when evidence needs to be interpreted with an
and mentality
why is this now
making them
about
uncomfortable or
personality
even outright
people?
mad. Take, for instance, this clip from our most recent episode. But secondly, and more importantly, Cassie actually knows the truth about what happened to Glamrock Bonnie. She knows that it was Monty Gator who eliminated him from the picture. A lot of people were quick to point out that on the description of
My
the
first
Glamrock
Fallout game
Bonnie
was
plush,
Fallout
it
Shelter.
says, quote, "Dad
My
wouldn't
first
tell me
one
why
was
they
Fallout
replaced Bonnie."
3.
In fact, this was one of those moments
You're
where people
probably
outright
saying, but
accused me of lying
Manzanita,
about
you're
the
probably
evidence,
like
saying that I
3 or
was
4
ignoring
years old, and
that
I was.
literally showing on the
I
screen.
didn't play it.
That would be
I
really
watched
dumb
my
if that's what I was
dad
doing,
play
but
it.
let's actually take a
Every
closer
single
look at
day
that
my dad
supply.
would play, and
Dad
I would
wouldn't tell
watch
me
him play.
why they replaced
I watched
Bonnie.
Fallout
Typically
3,
speaking,
Fallout New
someone that
Vegas,
gets asked
Fallout
would look
3
at that line and take it
DLCs,
literally.
and
Her
Fallout
dad
4.
wouldn't tell her
And
what
only
happened.
when I got
Therefore,
like
she doesn't know what happened.
14,
However, as an
16
end,
year old,
I'm
I
not
started
just
to
taking
play
those words
Fallout
at face
4.
value, nor was I willfully ignoring them.
On
I was
Prime
just
Video.
interpreting them differently.
You know,
Her
the
dad
Fallout
wouldn't tell her what
series,
happened.
for what
That
I
doesn't
heard
necessarily
about,
mean she
is
doesn't know
gonna
what happened. Your parents
change a
might not
lot
tell you
of
how
the
to cook a
lore
meal, but that
that's
doesn't
on the
mean that you don't
games.
have ways of
You
finding
know,
out how to cook.
the lore
Same
of the
thing
series is
applies
gonna
to
be
this
different
other
of the
line from the
games.
same portion of
It's
our video.
kind of,
This one about the
I think they
Monty
say
AR plushie.
it's
So again,
gonna
it's
be
hard to
erasing
look
some
at.
stuff.
While S's would read that
Bro,
and
the
interpret it
game
that
lore is
maybe
way
it's bright,
darker.
it's shiny. It is
There are
physically
naked
hard to
people.
look at because it's an AR object. So
That's
maybe
weird
that's
because
why.
in the
But
games there are
Aaron's
not
would read that line
there
and
are
probably
not
read it
naked
different.
people.
Nothing else Cassie
In one
says
of
about
the
other AR
episodes.
objects in the game imply that they're difficult to look
You know,
at.
in
At least
the
from a
games
physical
there are not
perspective.
naked
So
people,
what
even
makes
though
the
it's an
Monty
18 plus
AR
game.
thing so different? Well, maybe because it's not physically difficult to look at, but emotionally.
Unless you have
difficult to look at.
mods,
It's
I
hard to
don't know
look
why
at
they
because
put
she
that.
knows the truth about what Monty
It's
did
18
to
plus
Glamrock
because of the
Bonnie. But
violence,
here's the
and
big one, and this
basically
is the one that honestly
that.
has divided the fan base for the better
They
part
don't
of the
have
last
naked
year.
people
It is
in
this
games. I
line
guess
you
it's something
marked
they
the
put in the
Tales from the
series.
Pizzaplex books. Quote, a collection of new Five Nights at Freddy's short stories set
And the maximum you could see someone naked in that game, it's a ghoul. And the ghoul that is radioactive and the brain is all rotten. And you can't even see anything because it's all burned. There was a vault where they were making some sort of ritual and they are getting naked.
You can be set in a world
Okay, actually there are vaults that have rituals, that's true.
Super Mario Brothers movie that just came out. That's set in the Mario Brothers universe.
Okay,
100%.
in the games they don't show people naked, but probably there's some text on some log that says that. I don't talk about that. And there was a vault that would make a ritual to sacrifice a person to a robot. And it had to read the overseer.
Interpretation than one that many of you on Reddit are
I think it was on Fallout 3, I'm not sure.
That Scott has made in the past about the books. Though, can we all be honest?
There are crazy vaults, by the way. There was a vault, I think it's in Fallout 3, that is a vault that the experiment was making clones.
That is published across all the books. Scott Cawthon
One was to make plant people or something. It's crazy.
And again, that right there, that is even more vague and non-specific, because look, we're talking about areas that are uncharted, never explored before, which honestly, even if you're choosing to read that line with a literal interpretation,
but rituals in Fallout is kinda rare.
100% canon with the games.
Maybe they exist. Because it's the trap rituals from in Fallout 4 features a group of cultists who strip completely naked to worship a figure. The scene includes wide shots of a group in the background through individuals are largely obscured by movement and lighting.
And all of that is without,
you know, that's kind of weird. You know, the only cultists I know in Fallout are the children of Adam, and I think there's something else. There are other cults. I think in Fallout 3 there are other cults. I don't know. There's a cult in Nuka-Cola Quantum that is like a cult that believes in aliens. That's also one.
And again, I have to call
I don't know which cult is that. If it's in a vault, it's some cult I don't know in the game franchise.
You see the irony in that. Those of you who are convinced that the books are canon are doing
I know another cult. What? Which one? There are so many.
You have an answer that you're
Cult of the Lamb is amazing. Yeah, I like that.
And if it's okay for
Cult of the Lamb is so cute.
It has to be okay for us too.
In the end, here's the
Colts.
important thing
It's
to
okay.
remember. We're all on the same team. We're all working towards the same goal. We are trying to solve this franchise together as completely as possible using the most satisfying evidence-based answers we can.
Cult
Because
of
we
the
all
Manzanita,
love
yeah.
this franchise.
Let's make a
We all love a good
cult.
mystery, and we all want the answers.
Actually,
and the way that we get to those
in
answers
Cult
is by
of the
being
Lamb
open
it's
to
called
all ideas.
Manzanitism.
All ideas, no matter where or what personality type they're coming from. And even
But I
when you
guess
do
Cult of the
get them
Manzanita
right,
is cool.
It's okay, and it's also important to occasionally revisit those answers. Because guess what? This franchise
Manzanita the Man's a lamb.
evolves.
Yes,
It
I
adds
will
more and
draw
more
Manzanita as a
twists
lamb
than least
soon.
expect. So when someone makes
Like
that
the
big old
lamb of
swing, don't
Cult
be
of the
quick to write
Lamb.
them off. I mean, I suspected that Chica was a mediocre melody, just out of the blue, and that Mr. Hippo was at one point one of the core animatronic lineup. Both things that at the time seemed like...
Let's just make cookie time now. And we'll proceed, okay? Okay, let's proceed.
like pretty big swings back in the day, but both things that at this point actually have a lot of evidence to back them up. So sometimes those
I think right now to have all the
pretty big rewards in the
Freddy Fazbear books.
ideas and find the hole.
Wait, I'm
But it's
trying
actually a
to
lot
get this
harder
on
to
again.
offer up your own solution. It takes guts to put yourself
Okay.
out there and concoct a theory, so be nice to other people's ideas.
I think
Because
to get all the books is like 1,000 bucks now, right? There's so many books.
And making mistakes. If every theory were perfect the first time out, well, let's be honest, there wouldn't be any mystery to this, right? The games wouldn't be as fun. It would be kind of boring. And honestly, it wouldn't have spawned this incredible franchise that we have today. It also wouldn't have
That's
spawned
so big,
this
bro.
amazing
Bro,
product.
I went to FNAC.
Like this spring
FNAC is like store that sells a little bit of everything, but it's expensive, I guess. I don't buy much there. I just go there to see the stuff they have.
Incredible. Five Nights at Freddy's
They have
merch available
FNAF
next to the
Funko Pops.
merch shelf down below this video. It launched today, and we worked on it,
Oh,
and
that's
I'm very
cool.
proud of it.
I like the
Gets some
colors.
really cool objects from different parts of the franchise. That was a pink varsity jacket from Chica's high school years. It's a win. It launched today, and we had a FNAF video going up, so it felt like I probably should mention it, even though this is serious. Let's bury the hatchet, shall we? There's a movie coming, there's a new game, the book series is wrapping up, and hey, there's that cool new line of apparel. Let us move forward together.
Ooh,
as a
FNAF
united
ever
family of
ends.
FNAF theorists. N's, S's, and every letter in between. All of us united in our love of mystery and our collective hatred of Fazgoo. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching.
You're welcome. Oh my god, don't ruin the books. Books are expensive and made of trees. Oh my god.
Might change into this one later today. Like the shirt. It's like hidden Mickeys.
Hidden Mickey's lol.
Mickeys. Oh, this confetti shirt. This is merch too. I forgot. No! And my jacket isn't FNAF merch, but it's purple.
Yes, it's purple. That's true. It's Michael Afton.
See you on the flip side.
So, I will catch you on the flip side. Hopefully.
I called it. I totally
Wait.
called it. 8 years ago, I told you that the purple guy.
Wait, let me see if I put a like on that. Yes, actually, I have a lot of merch planned. I have keychains planned, plushies, figurines.
Hopefully.
I called it. I totally
sticker
called
sheets.
it. 8 years ago, I told you that the purple guy was the phone guy, and now
notebooks.
here we are. William Afton, our killer, is on a phone saying, "See you on the flip side." Just like
Comfy-
phone guy
comfy
did
stuff.
all those years ago. Finally, I've been vindicated.
And much more.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to
But I still need to plan all of that before doing it.
You see, well, I should be super happy that I just had one of my oldest FNAF theories confirmed.
Sorry. Let's pause a little because of ads. Now it's getting warm. So good. It's getting warm again because I turned off the heater for a time. Now I'm eating it on again. It's so good. I'm so happy. That's why I love winter. Getting warm. It feels so good. You know, in the summer I want to get fresh, but I can't. It's almost impossible to get completely fresh, bro. In winter you can easily get heated. It's just clothing and heaters and stuff. and hot chocolates and fireplaces, you know? It's cool.
Feeling haunted by the unsolved mysteries of the past. Let me explain. At this point in the series, I feel like we have a really solid understanding of the story. We know the broad strokes, we know the general
it's
timeline.
confusing.
A few big lingering questions that we've struggled with are starting to come into focus. Where's the placement of sister location? Well, the most recent games
Awesome, thank you.
its connection to the Fredbear era. What's the origins of Fazbear? Well, the book
Bruno, I'm getting hungry for pizza.
At the early days of William and
But
Henry's
I'll control that.
What was the deal with FNAF 4? Literally, the final tale of the Pizzaplex all but spells it out for us.
Bro, that's so weird. But that, you know, that cover actually is weird.
Focus on something else. The clues that we've all completely missed.
Ooh,
The
a puzzle
times when this
piece.
franchise has
And it's
explicitly tried to tell
purple.
us something, and we've utterly
William
failed to
Afton,
present what it's been
for
laying
sure.
down. And let me be clear,
Everything
I'm not
is
talking about
purple,
me
it's
overanalyzing
William
some minor
Afton.
detail of the game world. I'm talking about very clear puzzles that were very obviously set up by the game
Ah,
makers
so good.
to
It's getting
solve that we've been
warm.
unable
So
to do
cool.
anything with. And the reason I'm calling it out now
the
is
heater
because
is
they're starting
working.
to add up. In my estimation, there have been no less than 4 of these sorts of major puzzle moments. At
4
least 3 of
puzzles,
them are
okay.
connected, and it's been going on for the better part of 6 years. So now that we're all done fangirling over Doug's apps,
I finally got my appetizer. Thanks, Matt Pat.
before help
That's
wanted
so
2
cute.
drops and
I guess, I don't
layer
know.
of mysteries to solve, I wanted to take a minute to stop and see if now, finally, we were able to solve these mysteries once and for all. The pieces are in place.
What
for
are
us. The question is,
appetizers?
are we able to put them together?
What
The
is that?
first
That's
one of
kind
these is
of
also the
weird,
most recent,
okay.
so it should come as no surprise to see me bringing it up here. The tally marks codes that we found hidden throughout FNAF
Tally
Ruin.
marks.
For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, in the newest game, right before you reach Bonnie Bowl, there's a corridor with a number of real doors, as well as several
Real
blocked-off AR
doors.
doors. If you walk through one of the real-life doors, you'll find a room full of
Real
baby
life
This is already a
doors.
bit weird because the game makes it a point to call out the fact that Baby should not be here. Specifically with the AR plush baby toy where the description reads, quote, "What's she doing here?" The answer,
Hello.
we suspect, is that
But
the
you actually
Pizzaplex,
don't
sister
own any
location, the
merch.
FNAF 6 location,
Oh, it's actually
and the FNAF
okay.
4 house are all practically built on top of each other. Or
I
at the
don't
very
think I
least,
have
exist as
either.
one connected series
Or
of
have I?
buildings. We go into the
I have
basement of the
Minecraft
Pizzaplex where we
merch.
find
I have
the FNAF
Hello
6
Kitty
location.
merch,
In a secret
Pushing
ending of Ruin, we
merch.
see a version of Sister Location
I
super
have
deactivating the mimic.
Pokemon
And in one of the
merch.
final Tales of the Pizzaplex stories,
You know,
we read about how the
cards, I
FNAF
guess they
4
count
house
as
is connected to
merch.
Circus Baby's entertainment and rentals. So really, to answer Cassie's question,
You know, I
Baby
think
plushies
merch is
are here
everything
because
related to
they all
something
share a connected
specific,
history,
right?
A history that is gradually being excavated layer by layer underneath the Pizzaplex. Anyway, in this room, the dolls laugh at you, and then when you turn around, they disappear. Well, that's
sorry.
surprising. But what is surprising is
I have How to Train Your Dragon merch, Sonic merch,
You'll find a chair turned to face the corner and a sequence of tally
some
marks
Star
carved
Wars
into the wall.
merch.
And these aren't just random
No, I'm
marks.
remembering
They're
everything.
specifically in groups of 2s, 4s, and 5s. And they're grouped in such a way to suggest words, or at the very least, separate letters. Now, that
Okay.
alone would be weird, but an even bigger
I'm trying to
display of
remember
tally
also
marks
more.
appears again about an hour
Hot
later into
Wheels
the game. After
merch.
completing Bonnie
I don't
Bowl,
know.
you
I
enter
got
Bonnie's
Pokemon
green
cards.
room
I
behind
got
bowling
to.
alley. Not only does
I
this
stopped
area show
collecting
us the
them when they
special
stopped selling them in my
relationship that exists
country,
between Freddy
and then
Bonnie.
some
You
years
put a
later
fan
they
mask on
started
the
to
wall
sell
over top
again,
of the pin
and they
loading staff
put
box
the
is
price
another
way
code,
higher
much
than normal.
larger
But I
and
got
much
no
more organized
VTuber,
than the one that we
YouTuber
just
merch.
saw
I mean,
before. And once again, all the tally marks
that
here
I
are
don't have
specifically
either.
grouped into 2s, 4s,
I'm gonna
and
try and
5s.
make the prices the most accessible as possible. Okay, I'm gonna do the stuff at my house. They're gonna be mainly made by hand by me, and I'll put a price that is low because I want everyone to be able to buy it. Like in the way like I want this, and they don't see like a big number if they want something, and something that is useful too. I don't want people to. I don't want to be just useful stuff. Wait, what I'm talking? No, I want it to be useful stuff. For example, I'm planning to have like $1 keychains. Of course, I have to be careful with the prices of the shipping. Of course, I have to see that because the shipping can be really expensive. I have to see that because just that just can affect the whole price. And basically, that's simple stuff, you know, pins, magnets, and stuff like that.
But instead of the numbers converting into standard letters like A1, B2,
and maybe even even card collections and stuff, but that also will take a long of time. Maybe a tarot card deck.
And so on. Normally,
You know?
in the Caesar cipher, the alphabet then loops back around. So if A was 7, Z
Because
would
I
then
can
equal
make
6,
it
but in
through
the Shift cipher,
Sourceful.
that doesn't happen. The numbers just carry
Like
on
sheep,
as is. So in this case, if A
but good
equals 7,
quality
then
if
Z
I
would
make
equal
it
32.
myself, you
In
know?
this particular instance, T-Girl Lunara put A equaling 4, which meant that 27 was now
But
X,
of course
and
I have to
gave us
get a
the
lot
entire
of space
code
for many
of
stuff.
Vodka
But I'll try my
Pandemic
best.
XP. Not a lot of
Also,
lore
because of that,
significance
I'm
with
gonna
one.
try
But I did
and
wanna continue
learn
down
how
that
to do
path. So we
3D
tried
modeling.
hundreds of different Shift and Caesar ciphers.
Okay,
They
to
all
get
came
to
out
see
as
to make
absolute
figures and
gibberish.
stuff.
We also tried just unscrambling the words. Maybe there was another arrangement in there that would give us a more cohesive answer, but yet again, more gibberish.
Yeah, it's a
Another
lot of
solution
stuff I
was
want to
presented by
plan.
user Smart
But
Fella
mainly
Fart
comfy
Fella,
stuff,
right
you know?
there. We also tried
And the
adding up
useful
the numbers,
stuff.
but this time they didn't do it by adding up the
And
numbers in each
durable,
group, but
durable,
instead
that they
the numbers in
last a
each
long
column.
time.
Again,
That's
notice the odd
important.
spacing of all these tally marks. It can't be a coincidence, right? The first column contains a 4 and a 5, so that would be 9. The second is just the 2, next up is 5, so on and so forth down the line. Ending up with this code. 9, 2, 5, 9, 13, 7, 10, 8, 21, 16, 20, 14, 17, 8, 2, 5, 4, 4. This felt promising.
What is that? That's a
because
big
unlike
number.
last time, we only had numbers that fell within the alphabet. So converting all of these numbers into
That's
letters,
so
we got
warm.
ourselves the
I'm
following.
so warm right now. It's so cute. The heater is so
We once
beautiful.
again went
It's
through with all the
waking me
classic
up.
Caesar ciphers and
I'm
word
so happy. I'm
scramblers and all
sorry.
that stuff, but once again wound up with nothing. Back to the
Nothing.
drawing
Aw.
board for the third time. An anonymous poster uploaded this onto Imager, and the same point was later brought to my attention by Reddit user NoRate. Basically, what they pointed out was that the tally marks in the corner of Baby's room.
I
make
gave
a
up.
5
What
by 5
happened,
grid.
Shield
A grid
Gamer?
that, when rotated or flipped, can map perfectly onto the tally code that we see on the wall of Bonnie Bowl. NoRate actually took
Bonnie
this information
Bowl.
and pointed out the fact that the main grid arrangement seems to line up with something known as a polybius cipher, which uses a 5 by 5 grid of letters to scramble or
What
unscramble
happened?
code.
I'm worried.
Basically, a number code like 53 would mean that you go along the top to 5, and then
Why
down
I and
through,
J
boom,
are
that
in
right
the
there is the letter
same
for your phrase.
square?
Although
That's
it certainly
weird.
seems promising at first, sadly the method also came up short. With only 2s, 4s, and 5s as the tally marks, the grid wasn't really giving us any information that we could use to decode anything. We needed an entire alphabet in here, not
I
just a
can't
few
fan
random
art
tally
on
marks. The
laptop.
same held true for another
Oh,
famous
it's okay,
5 by
don't
5
you
grid cipher,
worry.
the Playfair cipher, which requires a code word
If
to
you,
use. What could that
well,
code
if you
word
want to
be?
do it,
Who
you can
knows?
make
Did it
like a
feel like we were actually
collage of
starting to make some level of
pictures.
progress here? Yes,
You
absolutely. But did
can,
any
I
of it
don't
yield us
know,
any results? No. But here's
do
where
it on
things
the
get really interesting.
phone.
This isn't the first time FNAF has stumped us.
Or
with
if you
tally
don't want to do
marks.
it, don't do
Wind
it.
backwards 6
But
years,
I know
my
you
friends,
want
the
to
release
do
of the
it.
Freddy Fazbear Security Logbook, home to my 2 oldest and greatest nemeses, the Foxy Grid and the Dabbing Chica. For those of you who haven't been a part of the
I'm
community
trying to see
for that long, let me quickly
solutions.
tell you that this seemingly innocent children's workbook was pivotal for decoding FNAF 4, for giving us the name of Cassidy, for frustrating us to no end.
Or you can
with
draw on
seemingly
paper too. Of
unsolvable
course, I
number
forgot we
puzzles.
can
The
draw on
most notorious
paper
of them all
actually.
was the Foxy Grid.
So
a
many
numeric
times I don't
grid
draw
with
on
a hidden
paper.
alphabet written into its squares. A grid that we still haven't figured out the use of to this very day. You ever read Moby Dick? At least are you familiar with the story about how Captain Ahab's obsessed with killing this giant white whale? This right here, this Foxy Grid, that is my white whale. This thing haunts my nightmares. This grid keeps me up
Oh, it's
at
so
night, which
cute.
honestly
It's so
are two
big. It's
very
a whale.
contradictory effects of this one grid on
I
my
love
sleep habits,
whales.
but that is how infuriating this thing is. I am convinced that this grid will eventually give us the name of the crying child. I just don't know how yet. Anyway, one of the
Bro,
other
wasn't
clues that
the
never
Cry
really got a
Child
proper
name
use
already
out of this thing
revealed
were a
some
series of tally marks that were found throughout the book.
videos
The fact that
before
they're in red pen tells us
Moby
they were
Dick?
written by Mark.
Yeah,
Other than
I
that,
think
we
Moby Dick
don't
was
really know anything about what
was
they're trying to
a
say to us.
sperm
So
whale,
linger
or
around
how they
the
say
back
in
of
my
brain
country, a
for
cachalot.
half a decade. Why am I bringing them up now? Well, I
But I
wonder
think
if
it was
there's
an
a possible
albino,
connection between
right?
these two sets of
It was a
tally marks.
white
You know,
whale.
besides them just being
And
tally marks.
cachalot
Guess what I
or
found?
sperm
Groups of
whales.
fours
Sperm
and
whale is just a
fives
weird name, I'm
only.
sorry.
Yet again, we find
Are
ourselves
usually
with a collection
grey,
of tally
so
marks carrying
maybe
over
it
the
was
same
albino. I'm not
specific
sure.
sets of
Mutate is
numbers.
just,
Are they
or
connected,
or
is
it
this
was just
a
that color
coincidence?
because yes,
Not
I
really
don't
sure,
know.
but the fact that tally marks keep getting
Never
brought up and also
read
keep stumping
Moby
us,
Dick,
that's
by the
just a
way. I should read it
infuriating. And yet
sometime.
the games still aren't done with this puzzle. You see,
I'm
tally
so
marks are
warm.
connected
Maybe
to
too
yet
warm now.
another part of the franchise, Security Breach. Back during my
I
playthrough
hope
of the
I don't
original Security
burn.
Breach, this room in the daycare section really caught my attention.
I'm noticing that 2, 4, and 5 are different, which is weird. As someone who has dealt with a lot of codes and ARGs and things, that feels suspicious. I agree.
2, 4, and 5. 2 years before it ruined, some element, some essence of this tally code was still kicking around. But now the numbers were being matched with colors. And so Reddit user Comfortable Map 7594 took those tally marks and used
oh my god, maybe I guess.
Graphic, which I absolutely
It's kind of weird, like, why would they know that?
I hate the fact that it didn't seem to produce anything. Let me know down in the comments. Do you see anything here? Because to me, all I'm seeing here is me getting depressed. So maybe we just
don't get depressed, bro. It's just a theory.
Instead, take a minute to look at the
you have a life to live.
Tallies to get a sense of who might be speaking here. As I mentioned, in the security logbook, we know it's Mike based on the red pen.
But it's such a weird stuff to talk about. But all the whales don't. Doesn't all the whales do that?
Well, what's especially important to note here is that they're not all baby. See, half the plushies are normal baby, and the other half are scrap baby. What's the big difference? Well, besides the obvious scrap metal plates on their bodies, there's one thing that alternates depending on the version. Something that's been important to baby since the very beginning. Her eye color. The regular baby plushies have blue eyes, while scrap baby has green eyes, showing the two sides of baby before and after Elizabeth's death and possession. But Reddit user Dylan Hippiejink took it one step further. They noticed that the eyes of the baby and scrap baby plushies
Jesus
were
Christ.
out,
But I'm okay.
The right eye from baby and the green left eye for scrap baby.
It will
that
go.
Right there,
It's already good. It was just a tiny touch. Don't worry.
Evil entity that we've been battling against throughout the entire game, the Mimic. You see, in the story Tiger Rock, the Mimic AI program takes the form of the digital entity Tiger Rock, a tiger animatronic with a green left eye and a blue right eye. Is this confirming for us that the Mimic AI and baby are somehow one and the same? Or maybe that the Mimic has two souls?
Oh my god, the picture is so weird. What?
Just like how baby in the books is two children in one, Elizabeth and Charlie. Not really sure, but that right there, that is a massive revelation that feels super important to solving the mystery. Or at least it did, until I dug a bit more and found out that the scrap baby plushies also sometimes have their left eye missing. It is still a very cool, compelling connection that I'm not willing to fully discount yet. It's just not as consistent as I would have liked as far as evidence goes. The chair, meanwhile, looks like a disciplinary measure. A bad child that was put into timeout, forced to face into a corner and scratching away at the wall to count the hours or days out of boredom.
Bro, the child couldn't be like days there, it would die.
It stands to reason that the punished
maybe it's
child
hours.
Here Elizabeth. Obviously
or minutes, maybe minutes.
Room of the Pizzaplex, but with this scene recreating a recurring moment from her past in some ghostly, spectral way. We know Afton wasn't really the greatest dad to her. Maybe this right here is a glimpse of his parenting style. As for the tally marks in Bonnie's green room, the font is the same, so they were likely carved by the same person. But honestly, that's where the similarities end. These marks appear in AR land, as opposed to babies, which are in the real world. This implies that whoever made Bonnie's marks either had the Vanny mask at some point, or is connected to the digital network that's running the Pizzaplex. Bonnie's marks are also higher up on the wall, as opposed to babies, which are at floor level.
I'm still confused, but okay.
Child. So then, why these two rooms specifically? Well, a few things come to mind. If baby is in fact connected in some way to the Mimic, and or the neural network that runs the Pizzaplex, we can guess that Bonnie is too. When we deactivate the wet floor bots around the Pizzaplex, we also end up deactivating Bonnie. So that connection into the wider Pizzaplex interface may be important here. We also know that both Baby and Bonnie are quote-unquote missing from the Pizzaplex. Baby isn't supposed to be here, according to that AR description, and Bonnie was decommissioned from the complex. Again, they're obviously loose threads, but in a puzzle with no clear answer that somehow connects two very random, historically unrelated characters like Bonnie and Baby, every small detail here is absolutely worth considering. But that's more than enough talk about tally marks. Let me...
Legend has it.
Oh my god, Star Stable? Wait, there's gonna be horses. Wait, I will want to skip when I see a horse.
Sorry.
I want to see a horse. Oh my god, forget horses! Sorry, I love horses. They're so adorable.
Just blatantly given to us by the devs that us as a community have been largely unable to solve. Remember those Mylar balloons that I was just freaking out about in Superstar Daycare? Well, they have themselves yet another appearance right here on the
balloon 69.
Golf arcade cab.
Why is there a 69 balloon?
We get this
3192. That's suspicious.
A handful
That's
of
suspicious.
In reality, the number sequence is actually a lot
longer.
Sus. 63695531 2192. The fact that these are in Monty Gator Golf immediately made me wonder whether this code was the score they had to get in the game, except there are 10 numbers and only 9 holes. But when has simple math ever stopped the internet? User 00core00 tried a number of different combinations to see whether they could activate anything. Sadly, nothing. Then Ruin released with a new Monty Gator Golf arcade cabinet, and so people like Yusuf0808 tried again using this exact same code and still wound up with nothing. Here's the thing though, both of these games have been data mined to heck and back. If this code was meant to unlock something inside of Monty Gator Golf, we'd have heard about it already, which leads me to believe that it's something actually outside of the game. Much like
in a book, don't you tell me.
Activating some hidden ending, it's about giving us a code, a cipher, a phrase that'll tell us something about the wider world. We just haven't figured out how to use it yet. I've tried converting the letters, ciphers, you name it, I just keep coming up empty-handed. One of our writers even suggested trying hex codes to see if there might be something there. At first it was positive,
color
the
codes,
last 6 numbers actually produce a purple that matches the aftons that we know and love so much, but it's not an exact match, nor does the first half of the numbers amount to anything meaningful. Maybe the fact that these are Mylar balloons connected to the multicolored Mylar balloons in the daycare, which then also connects them back to the tally mark puzzle, or maybe I'm just desperately looking for answers where there are no answers to be had. Now, for these lingering puzzles, I was able to find at least a couple of people discussing them online, in Discords, forums, Reddit posts, what have you. But for this last one, nothing. Or at least practically nothing. I could find only 2 posts total, which is exactly why I wanted to raise some awareness about it here, because to me, this seems like a massive clue that largely got overlooked during the wave of reveals that happened throughout Ruin. Early on in the game, we have a chance to revisit the daycare attendant's room. This room is nothing new to a
Why would they leave children in there? It's kind of... What is that? It's that mermaid chica? Oh my god!
World arcade cabinet,
so random, what?
Incomplete path inside the game. So when the room showed up again in Ruin, I wanted to pay extra attention. On the surface, the room seems largely the same, just a bit messier than before. Boxes of stuff, clothing hanging from the wall, some post-it notes scattered around, but then by putting on the Vanny mask, everything resets to normal. The room basically goes back to the way that it was, cleaner, more organized, nothing all that noteworthy, until of course you start talking about the notes. Those are worthy. All of a sudden on a blank wall, we get ourselves a 3x3 grid of post-it notes. What is it with Steel Wool games and post-it note lore? I mean, if I had a nickel
post-it note lore, I guess that's some new stuff.
2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. The 9 post-its that we're dealing with are as follows. One that says groceries, with butter written 3 times. There's a collection of dots, a scribble.
That's a lot of butter.
Pizza, lightning bolt, sun and hill, stars and a microphone, and a selection of candy.
That's Glamrock Freddy, right?
Immediately you see how some of these post-its can relate to numbers. We have 2 feet, 4 stars, 7 dots, 3 butters, 3 lightning bolts. Felt like a really solid
Bro, isn't it related to Glamrock Freddy? It sings, he's a bear, he has stars.
4 hearts. Or both. What about
that? Yes, lightning, like in the paint show.
Is this meant to be FNAF 6's Graveyard Hill, so maybe we're counting gravestones? Or is this more likely counting the number of rays coming off the sun? Overall, converting the post-its to numbers wasn't really given the cleanest solutions, but it did feel like a step in the right direction. From there, when you look up how to solve 3x3 ciphers, the number 1 solution that pops up is the Hill cipher.
Hill cipher? What is Hill cipher?
It's pretty darn complex, but overall, the key to deciphering one is a matrix, a table of numbers, and if you're using the English alphabet with its 26 letters, you're gonna need yourself a 3x3 matrix. Or let's just say a 3x3 grid of post-it notes. The numbers in the matrix represent the shifts that you're gonna have to apply to each letter of the alphabet. To encode a message using a Hill cipher, you first convert the message in numbers. You can do this by assigning each letter of the alphabet a number from 0 to 25. For instance, A would be 0, B would be 1, and so on. Next, you multiply each letter of the message by the corresponding matrix. For example, if the first letter of your message is A, you would multiply it by the first row of the matrix. If the second letter of the message is B, you would multiply it by the second row of the matrix. The result is a new number which you can then convert back into a letter, giving you the encoded message. To decode, it's the same in reverse. For instance, if I had this message, hello, how are you? With this matrix, 321110201, my encoded message would look a little something like this.
Let's go!
Like I said, it's a pretty complex way of encoding something, but let's be honest with ourselves, when has FNAF ever not been complex? And after the wall code
I think it's confusing.
Today, Steel Wool was probably looking for something that's a bit harder, some with a bit more lasting power. So really, a Hill cipher seems to fit this new wall code nicely.
Hill cipher,
what exactly are we decoding? Sure, we have ourselves a rough matrix, but where's the number or letter sequence that we're trying to put through it? The balloons? The tally marks? I ran them both through a few variations of my own matrix, 3 for butter, butters, 7 for dots, 2 for footprints, 4 hearts, etc., etc. But ultimately, I wound up with nothing to show for the whole thing. Again, it felt like we were getting close to a methodology, but I was just missing some crucial step in the process. So I tried a completely different approach. Rather than ciphers, did this collection of images mean something to me? The candy to me looked very similar to the drawings that we saw in the original Post-it room from Security Breach. Same goes with the pizzas. The lightning bolts are designed similarly to the charging stations found throughout the Pizzaplex, as well as the bolt of lightning on Glamrock Freddy's chest. Notice the flat tops on the lightning bolts, which makes them distinctly different from other lightning bolts that we've seen across the series, like the controlled shock button from Sister Location.
Control shock button?
And stars reminds me of Freddy in the game. This group of 7 dots is certainly vague, but the number 7 has shown up before in both FNAF VR and the Post-it room of Security Breach. Usually it represents the 7 victims. 5 missing children, Charlie, and the crying child. 7 dots, 7 graves. You've got the Hill of the Sun, which is reminiscent of the hill during the Afton and Princess Quest endings, and the butters were obvious references to Sister Location's exotic butters.
So cute.
All the Post-its seem to relate in at least a small tangential way to Michael Afton. Man, he really is becoming like his dad, always coming back to our theories. Reddit user PickMeKingX posted about these 9 drawings and drew
He's
all
becoming his dad?
very important games, Sister Location and Pizzeria Simulator. 2 games where we for sure play as Michael Afton. First, you got Candy that we spoke about. Well, in Pizzeria Simulator, candy's all over the place. In advertisements from Lally's Lollies, gumball machines we can buy for the franchise, but the most important one of all, of course, is Candy Cadet, who actually
Are you confused yet? I'm already confused, you know that.
Also relate back to FNAF 6 as they're identical to the power-up that you collect in the Fruity Maze minigame. Or, like I said, they can relate to the lightning bolt on Glamrock Freddy's chest, an animatronic who many have theorized, myself included, has the soul of Michael Afton inside it. The stars and microphone call back to the 4 main Rockstar animatronics. Freddy, who holds the microphone.
Why does she have blue cheeks? And you, Kitty Patutiarco, are you confused?
Put to rest on the hill. Along with that, he'd be familiar with the 7th victim, his younger brother, the crying child, so if that's what these 7 dots represent, he'd understand that symbolism. Mike also has a strong love of pizza, as in the security logbook, he literally says it's the only reason to apply.
Employees get free pizza? Oh my god, that's so good. What's that happening? Sometimes I hear a bit. It's my eater. I'm turning it on and off so I don't get burned. Because it's under the desk to hit my legs because they're cold.
3-toed footprints outside of a broken window, where Michael's either the escapee who broke out of that window or the one sitting on the couch watching TV. The only thing unaccounted for here are the squiggly lines, but to me, that could just represent Ender or the Tangle.
It was an alarm. I don't have an alarm at my house. Don't you worry about that.
That he's living inside the Pizzaplex trying to finish the job that he started. Maybe that's the entire
Bro, didn't he die? Oh my god, everything is back to life now.
Maybe it's him talking to the
Jesus.
recreation of his younger brother. Maybe he learned the language of the mimic that his father used to communicate with the monster that killed his sister, like we predicted in a previous theory. All signs here point to Michael, or not. Let me be perfectly clear. This is broad speculation based on a piece of evidence that has clearly not been solved yet. And honestly, that's why I need your help. You've seen all the theory threads that I've been pulling, all the ciphers and interpretations that I've tried here, and we're still none the wiser. There are solutions out there for all of these puzzles. I am almost sure of that. But I need the collective hive mind of the FNAF community behind me to pitch out some solutions. The theorists of Reddit I called out today have done an amazing job getting the ball rolling, and I do truly believe that with a bit more time and a bit more focus, together we can solve.
Well, it could be a clock alarm, you're kinda right.
5 years ago. But 40
my god,
hours
Puzzle,
later,
please,
you all
slay.
had collectively discovered the name Cassidy hidden inside the security logbook. And now it is one of the most solid, concrete,
every time you go,
information that we've ever had for the lore of this franchise.
Where?
Let's
When?
try to do that again here. One or all of these puzzles are going to lead to some sort of massive revelation.
Yeah, I'm kinda like that. Also, cute tiny face, thank you.
Where I'd encourage you to write up your theories. I'm also dropping in some links to decoding websites that'll help make the grind a bit
I'm
easier,
like with that face.
I'm gonna be keeping a close eye
I'm
on
like
all of this
so-
for the next couple of weeks.
so confused.
We can manage to solve one of these things before the year's end. Who knows? Maybe Help Wanted 2 will drop and solve everything for us, leaving the lore crystal clear with no further questions and no ciphers required. Yeah, okay, sure. I'm sure that's absolutely gonna happen with this franchise. Until that day comes, friends, remember, it's all just a theory. A game theory. Thanks.
Cutie Patuti, are you listening to me? Oh, Help Wanted 2, let's go.
Yes, your candy here. Candy. Now I will tell you a story. A story
Hey, creator Cutie Patuti. People people are asking for merch. If I will have merch. Do you want to talk about that? What's up, cutie patootie? You're cute. That's what's up. You're adorable.
Years passed until one day, this boy would come to the edge of a dark forest. There he saw a rabbit. He followed the rabbit as it scampered through the woods. They went over logs and around trees.
Okay, this is a story.
Eventually led to a beautiful flower.
Yes, you're adorable.
Boy, now a grown man, plucked the flower to give to his daughter, but upon touching it, she died, for the flower was poisonous.
Aww.
And the man returns to the forest to play.
Hello,
what
Internet.
Is this?
Welcome to
This
Game
how well
Theory,
I will
the show
do it
that
and how
encourages
to
you
meet
to
people.
Mask off. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to conclude the year of FNAF. With Tales from the Pizzaplex books releasing every 2 months, the Ruined DLC release.
You know,
back
I
in
want to
July,
do
and
everything
the
at
FNAF movie
home
happening in
because I'll
October.
have
2023
control of the
really
costs
did feel like the classic days
and
of
the
FNAF all over
quality.
again. But there was a new release happening every
Of
few
course,
months.
that will
And to
take a
end the
lot
year
of
of
stuff
FNAF on
and
an
time to
insanely
do.
high note, Steelwall decided to pull
That's
one
why
final
it's not
trick
gonna
out of
be
the
mass
stack off the
produced.
playbook. They released a second
It's gonna be
game within
careful
6 months of
done,
Ruin.
so it's
Completely
durable and
unexpected, but
good,
very
and it's not
exciting
gonna be
sequel to
expensive
FNAF
because
VR
since I have
wanted. And let me tell
the
you, they
control of
couldn't have
every
released a more perfect game at a more
resources,
perfect time.
I know
Because
how
at
to
a moment of
control
peak frustration with
those.
the fan
This
base,
is the
with
game.
Fox's
Yes,
fans
Help
and
Wanted
Bounty Bros
2.
had all collectively thrown up their hands in desperation. This game swooped
Wanna
in
do
to
those
deliver the
keychains
answers
or
that they
crochet
so
plushies?
desperately needed. If the narrative of FNAF is kind of like a cracked piece of pavement
Keyables.
constantly on the verge of
But
crumbling
crochet
dust,
plushie, I
this
still
game
don't
was
know
the
how to do them
cement
because
filled
I
crevices,
got
catching up all
really
the holes
angry
in
at
the
doing
narrative
magic
just
rings.
enough to give the whole
Look,
thing a
food,
solid
food,
foundation again,
slay.
at least for another couple of months. And I really
I
do
love
mean
food.
that. Not
Food is
since
so
FNAF
good.
6 has there been a Freddy's game so determined to tie up loose
I
ends
think
and
I'm
deliver
gonna eat
answers
after
to
the
lingering
stream.
questions that have been
I'm
piling
gonna
up
eat
in the
some
background.
yogurt,
Basically, Help Wanted to
cereal,
single-handedly put a close on one major
fruit.
story arc, while also
You're
opening the door to
adorable.
another, a next generation. It's an ending and a beginning, all in one,
Okay.
depicting a cycle of violence that shows that you're never truly out of the woods when you're in the world of
Yes,
FNAF.
go
In
eat.
short,
Bon
FNAF is the
appetit.
single most
Not
important
now.
game
I
release
will
of the
not
last
go
6
now.
years for this
It's
franchise.
after the
So today,
stream.
we're
Calm
gonna solve
down.
this game together to
Also,
see
thank you for
what
the
you can tell us
cutie-mos.
where it's
That's
pointing the
adorable.
series moving forward. So grab your Faz wrenches and get ready to step into madness, theorists. Today, finally, we're gonna see what lies behind the mask. As the game
Jesus.
opens, we're welcomed in as a new employee of the pizzeria.
Fazbear Entertainment is offering a new
Well, that's perfect. Thank you.
for a future pizza professional.
Thank you for the troubles.
Training minigames. All will help each
You can
share the
eat while
score
I'll
from the
show
little
you something.
projector in the corner.
Okay.
But very quickly, one
Yes, eat.
question
Not
starts to
now.
rear its
Calm
ugly
down. I
head.
said after
Who
the
are we?
stream.
Who are we playing
I
as?
could be
Throughout the various
special
mini missions
invited.
that we're
Let's
presented with,
go.
one line that we hear repeated over and over again is, "What makes you so special?" 3 separate characters all bring it up: Moon, Baby,
That's a
and Mystic
carousel.
Coco.
Lol. Both of you. Okay. Mystical hyper lol. Thank you.
Everyone keeps asking us, we should put ourselves in
You want me to eat the hot dogs, bro?
that are sprinkled throughout the game. First and foremost, we know that we're a Faz technician. Midway through the game, you unlock a Faz wrench that allows you to access a
So much
secret
hot dogs. I
back
like
area
hot dogs. I don't
in
eat
that
it
back room, there's a
much
glowing tower
often,
that
but
should look
they're
familiar
good.
to anyone who played through the Ruin DLC earlier this year. An inhibitor. Back in that game, these devices stopped you from being able to remove your AR-enabled Vanny mask. But that's silly. Why would that matter here? It's not like we're wearing a mask. Or are we? Sure enough, deactivating the tower allows you to reach up and remove the AR mask that's been stuck to your
Got scared.
Thank
you for the sushi.
You see that this entire time you've been
Troubles. Thank you,
inside
that's
of a
so cute.
derelict pizzeria.
I made almost every single trouble available because all of them have
It's
cute
the
tiny
FNAF
faces on them.
complete with the recharge station and a Freddy spaghetti hole front and center. Not only is this just a fantastic mid-game twist that completely recontextualizes
Yeah, you're
everything that
adorable.
you thought you knew about this
You're
game
kitty
world, but it
patootie.
also helps confirm who we are and why we're down here. You see, us having a Vanny mask, it's weird, right? Like, who are we? Why would we have something like this in our possession?
don't know.
Well, it has to do with our job. In Ruin, Helpy tells us that these AR masks were worn to help technicians navigate through the destroyed Pizzaplex. Now, when I first
Okay,
saw
why
this
is the
game, I was convinced
Pizzaplex
that it was a trick just to get us to wear the
destroyed?
mask and teach us the mechanics of this new game. But here we are in Help Wanted 2 in a destroyed Pizzaplex wearing a Vanny mask. And right there on the wall is a poster telling staff members to make sure they remove the mask at the end of the day. It proves that what Helpy was saying, at least
Finally,
in
the
this moment,
contribute to cost
was a trick.
is not
Mask is, in
cheaper.
fact, a
Yes, I
real
figure
tool
out
that's
how to
used
make
by
them
Fazbear
cheaper.
technicians for
Ads, sorry.
Butterfly in the sky.
Oh, so cute. Thank you. Let's wait till the ads are over. Okay, thank you. I'll drink water. Thank you. What happened? It's a duck, thank you. Ducks are cute. The duck is on my face now, lol. Thank you. Ah, stretch, okay. Thank you so much. Oh my god, so many ducks. You have become duck. Yes, I'm duck. Quack, quack.
Strange of a concept as that is. So, we're a technician for the restaurant, sure. But that's not the only
You know, ducks are adorable. I will have ducks in my farm. I still need to fix my grandpa's workshop and some stuff because the storm messed some stuff up. Messed some stuff, and I have to fix everything before having animals again.
So
Adson, thank you, Shiny Pikachu.
This tool in the past. Immediately, that should bring to mind one person, Cassie's dad. Earlier
You
this
know,
year,
I think if one day I'll play VR, but my house is kind of full of stuff. Like, not hoarder style, but yeah, it has a ton of mobilia. I will hit everything, bro. I'm telling you, you should play FNAF Help Wanted 2. Okay! I will add to my wish list then, thank you. Don't forget to remind me that if you don't have VR flat mode exists, thank you.
So we're a Faz Tech who also happens to be a parent. Cassie's dad is
I'll add FNAF Help Wanted 2 to my wish list on Steam then.
What's the big deal if we're playing as Cassie's
But
dad?
please send a message on Discord so I don't forget about that, like games to recommend that I have it on my Nintendo Switch. Yes.
Let me just make this perfectly
if
clear.
it's easy, it's okay, I'll play
very
it.
important roles in their kids' lives. That's something that makes
But
it
it's a VR game.
special.
Hey, creator Kiri Patuti, there's a flat mod like VR shot, Kiri Patuti. Oh my, didn't do it. I can't talk anymore.
A couple months ago, I proposed that Cassie's dad wasn't just any technician. Instead, he was none other than the Bonnie Bro from FNAF 4. You know,
Yeah,
the kid that wears
either.
the Bonnie mask who helps Michael torture his crying brothers.
Stop
from
either.
Ruin's item descriptions that Cassie's dad's favorite character was
Stop
Bonnie.
it.
In that game, we were also able to collect both
Kiri
an old
Patuti is
school
not
Foxy
Stop
and
either.
Bonnie
He's
mask, which was
Smarty.
an odd detail when you consider that there were no other OG animatronic masks
Patuti.
present like Freddy or Chica. That seemed to be referencing
My
the
stream was
masks that both
stopping.
Michael, Aston, and Bonnie Bro were
Okay.
wearing
Kiri
on that fateful
Patuti.
day in
It's
1983.
okay.
Those details, coupled with a few other things, led us to the whole Bonnie Bro conclusion. But now that the full game's out,
Bonnie
it
Bro.
certainly seems definitive that our theory was right. You see, towards the end of Help Wanted 2, we're given the chance to light fires next to the gravestones of some very familiar missing children. Light them in a specific order and you unlock a secret chest. A chest that contains none other than that old Bonnie mask. When you collect it, we see the text, "This looks familiar." It also unlocks an achievement called Lost Luggage. This right here, this was our mask. It was one that we thought was lost to time. One worn during that horrific accident of 1983. Speaking of that date, in order to find the game's secret ending, we have to unlock 6 creepy voodoo doll plushies. Each one
Voodoo
hidden
doll
behind very
plushie?
explicit in-game action.
Okay, I
Step
guess.
1, you go to Sister Location's private room and type
Let me
in
tell
a
you some
very
math problem.
specific
Okay,
date.
Shield
Guess what
Gamer.
it is? 1983. And that year just keeps coming up. Multiple minigames take place during Fall Fest, which in the previous
Okay,
VR
this is so
game's
confusing.
DLC
Where
was
is this,
specifically
bro?
called
There's
out
a
as
ton of
being
stuff.
in 1983.
Woman
That
equal
is
money
why we're
plus
considered
time.
special, because we were part of that fateful
but
day.
what
Because by
it's-
killing the
what-
crying child, we sent William on a murderous rampage. It's a memory
Time
that we,
means
as
money.
Bonnie Bro, have tried to repress. And that's not just me speculating. We know that Bonnie Bro has been actively trying to
Bro,
avoid these memories based on
you
Mystic
know,
Hippo asking us this.
I think I
It's
Jesus
also
say his
why we
voice
collect
in
one
my
of the
ears
first secret
in the
voodoo
video.
plushies. We get a
Jesus.
trophy in game
Someone
whose
money
description
equal
reads, "Retrieve a memory."
money plus
Basically, by
money.
way
You
of
know,
saying
some
to
of
get
them,
the secret
yes.
object, we're forcing ourselves to confront
But
memories that
you
we
know,
bury
in
deep in our psyche.
like
We're
I
coming to
like
terms with the trauma of our
time,
past. We're
of
accepting it as
course,
something that happened that cannot
and
be
cuddles.
changed, only atoned for. Which
Because
then brings
money
us to the
isn't
game's
everything.
endings. If you
But time is money, I understand that. So yeah, it's kind of time and money. No, time and cuddles. It's woman equal money times money. Yes, basically. Sometimes yes. Depends. Also means time plus time. Bro, to Kiripatutu, I just want time with him, bro. I just want to give him cuddles, because time is money. Bro, but I don't want your money. I want your time.
He's used Cassie's dad's love of collectibles against him. Much like the tapes in Help Wanted 1, these action figures contained parts of him, his memories.
You know, of course I like when my Kiripatutu buys me stuff, I'm not gonna lie about that. Money times money is money. Well, women like money, I guess. You know, money is good sometimes. It's not, you know, I like money, yeah. But I'm not like about that.
Once again repeats. That's why
but it's the root of all the problems. Sometimes it's the root of them, but also the solution.
Take control, and it's only then that the
so
woman things aren't quite done yet. After our death, we change perspective into the eyes of the staff bot.
So money equal problems.
Specifically, we're looking through the eyes of the one who tells Cassie
no,
to
the square root of problems.
Take a mask. Take a mask.
It would seem like we've been absorbed into the system. Our consciousness is now part of this map bot. We're trapped inside of it, forced to execute
you're
its
trapped.
In the ultimate of ironies, the mask
in a mask?
that we were using
okay,
to try and
weird.
stop trap becomes the mask that we now give our daughter as map bots. This is then what results in her getting that occipital implant. This is how Healthy gets into her mind, and this is eventually how the mimic gets free. To me, the way that you get this ending, it's highly
you know,
symbolic.
I like spending time with my Kiripatutu and love. That's what I like most.
Unlocking all those memory plushies, we've passed our mistakes forward, and in the process, we managed to doom our
because
own
my Kiripatutu is beautiful.
Just ruined the life of one child. He wound up
now to take the problem out the square root, we have to raise money to money.
But hold on,
okay. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I'm not at school anymore. I forgot. So money to equal problem.
How? It's kind of a big leap there, you know? Well, at first, I thought that we would just scan into the system. The mimic AI scanned our brains while we were wearing the Vanny mask, and boom,
what else is money?
Part of the AI program running the whole Pizzaplex. But looking closer at the details, I think there's actually another.
You're gonna say women are problem.
The Vanny mask and ruin.
So women equal problem. Not every woman is a problem. But
you can actually see what appears to be a brain stuff.
Some of them are, some of them aren't. Like everything.
Under that same AR lens, and it's completely different.
But okay.
Well, it would appear as though our brain.
But thing is, woman is also the solution. What do you? Oh my god, it's such big brains.
But again, I ask why.
Big brain stuff.
Until you remember what a computer brain would be learning from studying Afton's behavior. Afton stuffs his victims into animatronic suits. That's what
so women being the problem, and solution means women are everything. Aww, so cute, thank you.
Stuffed him into MapBot here. For a while, there's been a lot
so
of confusion
adorable.
about the
It's a solution to grow population.
Virus? Is it Afton in the mimic AI? Was
bro, I guess you know it's kind of true, but the men also got some stuff on it, right? Oh my god!
Threatening the Pizzaplex. First, there's a physical.
The woman don't make babies alone, you know that. That would be a miracle. My god!
A more general AI program that's eventually able to get installed to run the entirety of the Pizzaplex and is able to control and corrupt all the animatronics that work there. Is this confusing? Yeah. Is it frustrating? Most
oh my god, big brain.
I also now see what they were going for with the storyline.
Big brain time, I guess.
You train it by feeding it situational data, and the data that goes in directly influences how it's going to behave moving forward. There's even an example of this with the Endo Daycare minigame in Help Wanted 2.
You can trust me to twist any match from into a sweet compliment to my love. Oh my god, thank you!
Bad data going in gives you chaotic behavior. In the books, we see the basic
You're so adorable.
trained up with a simple code. Rip off all the arms and legs of things that look humanoid. And it does this over and over again, in epilogue after epilogue to each and every one of our
there is a way to have babies from a single gender.
AI was trained up on was
oh bro, but I'm too lazy to do that, bro. I'm tired.
Exactly what it was told.
Oh my god.
Now compare that to the Pizzaplex AI.
Well, with this said, I don't know if continuing to dance, we could make an artificial womb to raise babies to see already donated sperm. I think you can already do that, actually.
Gestures and behaviors. It learned how to play games and hang up clothes.
You can actually do that already, yeah.
So by having two different versions of the
not yet, but it's doing some progress on the technology. Technology, okay. I say it finally well.
There's a key moment on the catwalks of Monty Gator.
Also, you know, you say women are problem, problem, but you know, not all women are problems. Not all men are problems. Not all trees are problem. You know, not you know. Some of them can be a problem, but some don't. It's like
all of that,
depends, you know.
Cassie runs from at the end of Ruin is a parallel for the
imagine robots making a baby. I think that's kind of possible in the future. You know, maybe I don't know. Depends if they're gonna do that and why they're gonna do that. Then it would be just robo babies. There will be no human.
It's the one that embodies itself as Glitchtrap, and it's also the one that speaks to us in the form of Helpy. And we know this to be true because of what we see throughout Help Wanted 2. In this one game, the AI is drawing from pretty much every past animatronic.
It's making show to the creatures.
Which are odd pulls considering they're characters that were never put on display.
In robots, the animated movie robots are not made. Oh yeah, I still need to see that movie with my cutie patootie. Still needs to bring the movie and we see it at our house.
From Afton's mind. It's also why in the Helpy Hospital minigames we see a kid's
and
drawing
buy
of
the parts.
The restaurant with Helpy running
so
away.
You buy
That's
yourself.
How Afton was able to escape and live on. His
oh my god, that's kind of crazy. You buy yourself.
Was able to survive the FNAF 6 fire. And remind me again, who is the one that encourages
you know
us to
what?
play these
One
minigames
thing I see in FNAF is that everything survives fires.
Toys, which
the baby is still alive. Afton is still alive.
Helpy.
My god.
That spelling detail actually matters. You see, the name of the physical animatronic Helpy, it's spelled H-E-L-P-Y. But in Ruin, that digital neural implant Helpy is spelled H-E-L-P-Y.
They forgot the most important part at the end. The part that makes the baby a man.
Once again spelled with an I. This is Glitchtrap, the mimic program trained up on Afton's data. He's yet again trying to put the pieces back together.
Right.
By completing his tasks and unlocking the Fast Force, you help him to succeed. He's now
back chromosomes help with that, I guess.
Ready for Ruin, ready to create a new servant in Cassie to finish what Vanessa started. But if I've learned anything
about balls. Balls, I guess.
Like I said, these get
oh my god, this is so funny.
In a hurry. But the main thing
Jesus.
you know about them is that by collecting them, you unlock a glitched coin
my
that allows
god.
you to play the fourth and final version
what is this becoming?
Arcade cabinet. At first, it plays just like your normal Princess
It's
Quest
funny, I guess.
Swing your sword, you kill the glitchy bunnies, you collect the keys. Simple, at least until it's not. You open a door and you suddenly find yourself standing next to someone playing an arcade cabinet.
I have my heater working again. We love chaos. I like it too. It's so funny. Chaos is funny. I don't know why. It's kind of funny and I don't know. It entertains me, I guess.
And suddenly you
are swords.
Who's the princess now? Glowing sword in hand, we fight our way through the glitching
swearing map.
Old Red King.
Oh, sorry, I made
he gives us a
blurb. Forgive me. It was kind of actually. I know it was a blurb. I was gonna. Oh my god. Okay, but MatPat swearing. Jeez.
With a giant Vanny staring in at us, we offer up the Glitchtrap plushie, revealing
a plushie.
Oh my god! And fades into darkness. Doing so unlocks the trophy named Consequences. The description
finding out Frank Sinatra was dead was a real curveball. Due to almost my entire family.
Well, actually, it seems pretty explicit. Glitchtrap.
Frank Sinatra is dead.
Crushing him, he's been deleted, and the wider AI system's been repaired. We won. Except, is that possible?
He swore several times.
Showed us the start of Ruin. For that game to exist, which we know it does, Glitchtrap has to survive.
What's happening?
So is this secret ending not then? Just a cool reveal with no substance?
I'm confused.
No, actually, I don't believe so. For the first time ever in this franchise's history, I, MatPat, believe that both endings are canon. Let me explain.
Due to almost my entire family. What does that mean?
But I'm not exactly sure it's a system-wide removal. Instead,
you made everyone a Pokemon D2?
About Vanessa herself. We've known since
he
the original
swore several times. And MatPat swore several times playing. Okay, thank you. What do you call an inexpensive circumcision? I'm talking about okay, thank you, Shiny Pikachu. Okay, what is this becoming? This conversation, a ripoff.
Breach, you beat Princess Quest
Oh my
3,
god,
which
what
shows
is
Glitchtrap being
this?
defeated and Vanessa walking out of the Pizzaplex free and leaving the Vanny mask behind. So the fact that we're now playing Princess Quest again tells me that we're not fighting to remove Glitchtrap from the Pizzaplex system. Instead, we're yet again fighting specifically to free Vanessa. These games have always been about Vanessa and Glitchtrap. I wouldn't expect 4 to deviate from that pattern. Even my old buddy
My mom died when you couldn't remember her blood type. She died, she kept telling us to be positive, but it's hard without her. That's the type of blood, I think.
About a young woman that's been lured in by a friendly voice, only for it to have been a witch that tries to eat her.
Be positive. You know, you didn't give her the blood, be positive, that's why she died, bro. I mean, he swore several times in general. I forget everything, I'm sorry. I guess I forgot about that.
When she's older, she returns and is met by a young boy who offers to help.
When she had grown, she sought revenge on the witch and
I'm sorry, and I apologize, made same thing, I accepted the funeral. What do you mean? Do they actually... Why?
Through the jagged trees and toward a small house. She followed the boy into the house. The oven door closed. The witch would finally have her kneel.
This right here, this
the
is
witch?
Vanessa's story.
There's witches now in FNAF, oh my god.
A friendly voice, tape girl, telling her to gather the tapes to stop Glitchtrap, only for Glitchtrap to then take control. She does escape, but is permanently scarred by this. She has the Glitchtrap virus inside of her. It's not in full control, but it's definitely there, which is what
it's
we
because
hear about
of the
emails from
situation.
FNAF AR and the retro CDs from Security Breach.
I compartmentalized.
Bro, I say I'm sorry all the time, so...
She had compartmentalized him. He wasn't in full control, at least not yet. She then comes back to try
you
to
know,
kill
for me it's
Glitchtrap
kind of
herself,
normal
but
saying
runs into
sorry
a young
on
boy who
everything
thinks
I
he's gonna
do.
help her, only to lure her deeper under Glitchtrap's control. By the time she transfers to the Pizzaplex, Vanessa's tone has changed
Right?
in her therapy tapes.
Or no, I don't understand much.
We see the same thing
The concept of when I should actually say sorry or not. People say I say sorry too much. What do you call a dog with no legs? Poor dog, what happened to him?
Or something. It's hard to tell. What are those things? They almost look like rabbit ears.
Rabbit ears. At the very least, he was at some point in the story. That is clear as day.
Well, hopefully the dog is okay.
Story,
but what do you call a dog with no legs? Is there a scientific...
on our side.
Maybe there's a scientific name. Doesn't matter what you call him, he won't come anyway. Well, he can come actually if you buy him like those adaptative stuff now that exists to dogs. You know, there are wheelchairs now and robotic stuff that helps the animals. So yeah, I guess he can come.
Plushie that started it all back in Help Wanted. We
I
also
think.
get lines like the memories are freed. Use the token.
I had a chicken that couldn't walk, so she would use her beacon like just drift in the room to get to us. She couldn't move her legs, so she moved the rest of her body. Some stone engraving, I told you I was sick.
Truly free. And we know this to be true because after this ending, when you go back to the main hub screen, Helpy's gone.
I told you. Haha, I created this laughing wall.
Delicious for him.
The cheese is so real. What do you mean, bro?
Glitchtrap is gone. At least he's gone from this version of the program. And you see, this is what I meant about endings and beginnings. This to me feels like a very
so cute, tiny mood. You know, sometimes, you know, even if you go to the hospital, you say you're sick and the doctors don't care and you die, bro.
She's no longer a part
that happens, so yeah, you are sick sometimes and you die because people don't hear you. My grief counselor died, he was so good I don't even care.
By a seemingly friendly voice.
Well, I guess he helped you to deal with grief then.
Implant, she now has Helpy as a part of her mind, just like Vanessa did with Glitchtrap.
Well, hopefully rest in peace.
More and more frequently.
Sorry for your loss.
In short, it's been passed
I think I know you're talking about jokes, but I'm trying to be kind of...
Vanessa and Glitchtrap.
I don't know, I get confused with this.
At this point,
you tiny mods, thank you.
What's it truly gonna take to break this cycle?
But you know, that grief counselor was really good then.
Continue digging for deeper lore and winning all these prizes.
What do we got? El Chip? Head chef box. Great, just what I always wanted.
Oh my god, get animal, thank you! Want to know how to make a legit Caesar salad? Yes, please. I don't remember. Oh my god, get animal tweet guns, thank you. Stab Lotus 23 times. Why?
And that couldn't be more useful as we wrap up the holiday season.
You're telling me that Caesar, the Roman guy, got stabbed 23 times?
So important that I'm able to stay on top of it all. But so SoFi
because
doesn't
the
just help by
social
making
Caesar that. Oh
everything
my
easier to
god, poor
track,
guy,
it also
Jesus.
offers
I didn't know
incredible
that
rates on your
fact.
savings. Most banks, they're only going to be
I
offering
think it
savings
was
accounts with
murdered, but
about
I didn't know it was so
0.46%
much.
interest.
Oh my
Literally
god.
pennies. Money would be better off stored in your mattress. Thankfully, SoFi offers up to a massive
Banking
4.6%
lol.
APY with direct deposit. That is up to 10 times the national savings average. And the best part is, you don't even have to do anything. You just drop your money into the account.
Oh
and
yeah,
in just
Kit
5
Animal,
weeks
thank
with
you.
direct deposit, you'll have earned more interest.
I have
than
a
you would
joke
have in an
about
entire year with a
depression,
traditional bank.
but
Plus,
it
if
never
you use
gets
SoFi, they'll
better.
even help kickstart your savings by
I
giving you up
understand.
to
Yeah,
$300
depression
when you
doesn't
sign
get
up for direct
better.
deposit. So you don't even have to
Sometimes
have
it's
savings
so
when you
bad
start. But if you really want to give
that
those
your
initial
brain
savings
gets
a boost, then
bad,
you'll want to get
so
your
bad
hands
you
on that
can't
juicy
even function.
$10,000 that SoFi and
Oh,
I
yeah,
are
Kit
giving away
Animal,
as a part of
thank
this
you.
deal. All you have to do is use the link in the description.
I have depression, bro. It's kind of bad. I try to get better,
Sign up for a SoFi
and
checkings and
sometimes
savings
I just
account.
get down so much, you know. Patient, where exactly are you taking me, doctor? Doctor, to the morgue. Patient, what? But I'm not dead yet, doctor, and we're not there yet. What do you mean the doctor is gonna kill the guy? That is a joke. Aww.
So remember, link is in the description.
Kinda
or you can
sad
always
joke,
scan the QR
right?
code on screen right now for a chance
Or
to
it's
win
funny, I don't
insane
know.
amount of money.
You know,
Thanks
it
again to SoFi for
kind of
sponsoring
makes
this episode,
sense,
and as
but
always,
in
remember,
the
my
end, it's
friends,
kind of a sad meaning,
game
right?
theory. Thanks for watching.
Why are MacPact as banking ads now?
Well, loyal theorists, this is it. This will be my final FNAF theory. And this time, I mean it.
You know the joke. Sorry, I blurped again. You know the joke about yogurt? It's natural. I guess. Oh my god, that's scary. You know, I like natural yogurts. I eat, you know, without sugar. Stop the cap. What is the cap?
Remember everything I told you. Remember.
What happens?
Remember the... Hurry. Time is running out.
Insomnia is awful, but on the plus side, I'm three more sleep till
Internet.
Christmas.
Welcome to Game Theory.
Oh my god,
Show that, by my
true.
count,
That's
we've had no
last
less than
FNAF.
10 final FNAF theories. At this point, it's practically become its own meme. But this time,
What do you
it's no
mean
joke.
last
After
chapter?
66 theories, 3 live talkbacks, and 1 bangin' remix.
Why the
exotic butters. Make that 2 bangin' remixes.
What is happening? Help
Today, I
me!
end my coverage of Five Nights at Freddy's. After this, there's only 1 final game theory, and then the
What
curtain
is
closes on
happening,
my time as
everyone?
host,
What-
and
who is
Tom will have to step into the
lying?
spotlight. Hope you're ready for the challenge there, Tom. Tom?
Toy bunny, Easter bunny, chocolate bunny, melted chocolate bunny.
I'm
Wizard
so
bunny,
confused,
Black bunny,
wait.
Rock star bunny, glam rock bunny, sunken toy
Stop
bunny.
the
Bon
cap.
Bon, just bon, system error bunny, nightmare bunny.
Well done.
Wait, what's happening?
2, no, 3.
Mets. Ah, okay.
Again. The first step of FNAF theorizing. Slowly losing your mind. I think he's gonna do just
Yeah,
fine.
it is
You know,
a
I
lie,
did
bro. We
consider
still
making
have
my
like
final
20
theory
videos
about
to
FNAF, But I
watch.
actually have something really special planned for that one. So special, in fact, that we're gonna be doing a premiere for it on this channel next Saturday, March 9th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m.
I think he's
Pacific. We're
going
gonna
to
have some fun.
retire.
You guys will
Yes,
be
I
able to
think he
chat with me
retired. It's
live
not
as
lying
that
about
video
last
releases.
FNAF video.
There might even
True.
be some secrets
I
to
think
find.
he
Most
did
importantly of all, I
lie
get to see
like
my
in the
final goodbye,
beginning
and
of
thank you
the
to all of you
series,
for the
bro.
last 13 years.
Oh my
So
god,
that's
Kit
next
Animal,
week,
thank
March
you.
9th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Make sure you're subscribed so you're notified when that one goes live. Speaking of March 9th, just a quick reminder that that's also the final day of sales for my U2s. Once I retire as host on the 9th of March, it too will retire and be gone forever. So if you do want this little piece of game theory history, or, you know, your own little psychic friend Fredbear,
Oh, so
head on
cute.
over to u2s.com or click the link in the description to grab your MatPat figurine and FNAF pins before they're nothing but a distant memory. Kind of like Dream Theory. But enough housekeeping, it's time to talk about FNAF. And let
But
me
if
tell you,
it
I've
is
spent a
last
long
FNAF
time thinking
video
about this
because he
one. How do you
retires.
end a
Oh,
series
okay.
like this? Should
Why
I
did
just
he
ignore
retire?
my theory
Why
about
is he
some minute
tired?
details? Doesn't really feel final, you know? Plus, I'd probably end up calling someone a robot, and then a bunch of people would get mad at me again. Should I redo the ultimate FNAF timeline as one
No, I
final
think the
here's
timeline is
lore?
good.
That would certainly be big, but it also doesn't feel like that much was changed post-Ruin and Help Wanted 2 from what we did at the end of last year. So I didn't really want to be redundant either. You can see the struggle that I was facing, right? This episode out. It's a big deal to me. It is literally the end of my legacy with FNAF. And you see, that's
wasn't there a pregnant Barbie doll? You can come in another box. No, there's actually a pregnant Barbie doll. You can search that. There's actually a pregnant Barbie doll that opens the belly and births a baby.
With the butterfly effect, right? The idea
it was taken out of source though, but it's real. You can search about that.
Could potentially lead to a tornado form.
I know that because I like Barbie dolls. I don't collect them. My mom collected them in Venezuela. Those like special editions.
One variable from 0.506127.
And I know some stuff about Barbies because me and my mom like Barbies. Want to hear a joke about cave diving? Of course. Tell.
Hence the whole tornado thing. This realization that small changes in data could yield such tremendously different results ultimately threw off science's entire understanding of nature. Before Lorenz, people thought that the universe could
never mind goes to
Isaac Newton back in 1687.
Oh bro, there's some cave diving memes that it's just like a picture of two shoes saying some random dude diving into devil's ass or something. Like it's a cave, it's so weird. What did Cinderella say to Prince Charming? Want to see if it fits? Like the shoe, right? To be with wife and son.
For example, in 1928,
oh, he has a son already! Jesus Christ, congratulations! And married. Yeah, the shoe.
Which then led to the discovery of penicillin.
Cute tiny face, thank you.
Used to treat meningitis, pneumonia,
that's why he retires. Okay, understandable. Oh my god, cute tiny face. Okay, I guess it's another stuff, not to shoe. Okay.
Lightning strike in New York City. In 1977, a bolt of lightning put the city of New York into a 25-hour blackout.
Thank you.
So what do you do for all that time that you're stuck in the dark? You loot and pillage, baby. New Yorkers started to ransack
did Burger King get a queen pregnant? He forgot to wrap his whooper. Wanna know a joke about my D? His wife is Stephanie, I don't know spell. What is happening in my chat? Oh my god. Okay, Smackpat's wife is Stephanie. Someone wants to say a joke about my day. Never mind, it's too long. Kinda true, by the way. Cute tiny emotes. And how did Burger King get Terry Queen pregnant before I trap his whooper? Okay, thank you so much. Why are you laughing, Kitty Patootie?
That's not an exaggeration for effect. One man's decision to not
how do you know it's
in the face of rejection and adversity literally shifted billions of dollars.
I'm not gonna talk anymore. Bye.
Lives in ways that are incalculable. And that is what I wanted to call attention to in my final FNAF theory. FNAF shows us that by not giving up, one person can have a profound effect on the course of history.
What did I do?
I feel like the origin story of FNAF can talk about death, but just to set the stage here, despite hitting it big with FNAF 2013, its creator Scott Cawthon had been making games at that point for 20 years, since 1994. And yet, even
I shouldn't talk so much.
Scott had a fascination with
thank you for the cute emotes, oh my god.
The sci-fi Ifer Moon and the religious Pilgrim's Progress. Even this incredibly rudimentary RPG Legacy of Flan has a final boss that has what looks to be the first
oh my god.
Evolve into the mango.
Jesus Christ, what's this about? Cute tiny emotes, thank you.
And then came Chipper and Sons Lumber Company, where the reviews,
oh my god, thank you for the emotes. Oh I'm so confused now. I'm so like, why did I talk about this?
Thank God for her.
Thank you for the emotes.
Thing looks like it's gonna kill
oh my god, thank you, I guess.
Kill me.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
Over and over again in the world of Chipper and Sons.
Oh my god, my face hurt because I'm laughing a lot.
It's the only living thing in this world.
True, yeah, true. That's kind of true off stream, yeah.
Down to his lowest. Ready to quit games, he decided to try one.
Did anybody clip that?
Into the thing that had been leveled at him time and time again.
You can clip it, bro. It's okay.
And thus, 5 Nights at
it's okay, bro.
And that right there, that's gonna act as our nexus point. The
clip it. Yeah, you can. I can confirm. It's okay, bro. I didn't talk anything bad, so I just get like, should I say that? Oh, bro, it's okay. Which parts? Are you kidding? But do you know what we are talking about?
There are 12 of these things.
When I confirmed that your joke is true.
The franchise has sold 9.9 million copies on Steam alone, which
you know,
has an estimated
Cutie Patootie knows, a creator knows.
Including the console and mobile ports or the number of microtransactions for FNAF.
When I confirmed that your joke is right. The part when you actually can painful, these parts.
55 million of that was just from
Can't go
Steam
back
sales of
enough.
Security Breach.
Don't
That was
worry,
actually at full
watch
price
the
as opposed to all
VOD
the others, which were
then.
either free or a couple of bucks. And while the first 4 FNAF games were entirely a one-man
You can go
job,
to the
rest
VOD and do it, it's
actors,
okay.
composers,
I'll have to
entirely
clip it
separate
on the
game studios like
VODs.
Steel Wool
Lol.
and Lumix. Even to this
What's the
day,
difference
we're seeing
between a
discontinuous
secret and
studios like
leisurely?
Manzanita,
One is
who
really
up until
hard
now
to
have been
keep, the
focused on
other is
releasing
difficult
games
to
on
take
regular
off.
consoles, very niche market, but that made them perfect.
I kinda can confirm the last one is true.
Releasing later this year. By pairing up
It
with these smaller
depends,
companies
bro.
that aren't insanely well known, Scott's not only been able to make bigger, better games, he's also been able to use his single game's success to put millions of eyeballs and millions of dollars into each of these companies. As a result of their work with FNAF, Illumix started working with Disney on
Not really, I had no issues taking it off. Bro, one stuff is you, one stuff is the people wearing it. I can easily keep secrets. Yeah, I think it's kinda easy. Unless I have someone that I trust a lot and I'll tell them everything. Not putting it on. You know,
stopping there would be overlooking the
taking and putting is kinda hard though.
haven't even been released yet. This
Depends, like for example, there are set of leisure that are way more complex. What's long hard and full of
cutting their teeth on a genre that exploded in the mid-2010s.
Oh bro, what is this? McCarving?
Treasure Island,
Oh my god!
Pop Goes,
Submarines, okay, thank you.
Often built, Glitched Attraction, Bloody Nights Juniors, Day Shift at Freddy's.
Thanks.
Thank you, submarines. Submarines are kind of interesting.
On and on for days. Some of these were just for the memes, others were more serious attempts at making games inspired by FNAF, and many of them were just taking the world that Scott had created and broadening it outward into the game that they wanted to see made. If you go onto Game Jolt, you'll find thousands of fan games, and I do mean thousands.
How do you call a program to move that swims?
You're presented with 36
I
games
thought
per page
that someone said a submarine or like a I don't know, bro. A submarine, yes.
You're right. Good notice.
You spelled the last word wrong.
Scott's own games that were posted on that list, though I'm pretty sure that there are some out there who'd like to pretend that FNAF World was a fan game. Each and every one of those 10,000 fan games represents a budding game designer, sometimes several. And while yeah, many of those creators are likely never going to pursue game design full time, there are some who will, either independently or as part of a bigger studio, going on to have their shot at creating their own
those computers for game design, bro? Those are like computers. You should like use some pro game for a game in your computer for that. I don't know. I don't work on the area. I just assume it has to be some big computer. How are push-up rest like bags of chips? When you open them, you realize they're half empty. Sometimes, yes. Sometimes like those push-up. Sometimes those push-up stuff has some pillows to help to get more comfy. So yeah, sometimes it's true, I guess, because it helps with confidence. Technically, a pregnant woman is considered a mech. Yes, but in the water. Is a water mech? What's the difference between a pregnant woman and a light bulb? You can unscrew a light bulb.
Was different. While other horror games use the classic
that one I don't understand.
Like relying on the audience's mind to fill in the blanks of what might be lurking in the shadows, FNAF put the monsters front and center, allowing them to be the star of the show, like we see in movies like Friday the 13th and Halloween.
Bro, but the pregnant woman is not a light bulb. Like, it's not an object. Ships are actually 89% air. Ah, you're talking about that. I didn't know that. Okay. You know, I don't think like push-up. You know, it depends if someone really uses a lot of fullness in that. If you're screwed, you're also fucked. Ah, okay. Thank you. Now I understand.
And that's not even dipping into the hundreds of lesser-known titles like Joyville. It was
because, you know, it has a pillow inside, but Jesus, if it's 89% air, that's not the right size you're wearing.
Neighbor is a thing that continues to exist.
Because it's normally just kind of smaller than normal with push-up,
You want to read a book? Well, I hope you're excited
push-up, oh my god, push-up rest, but it's not that much because you know, it would be uncomfortable. It would not make sense.
Your local Barnes & Noble. Why?
Click, thank you,
Because FNAF did
Kiripatuti.
it first. Oh sure, Scholastic had done some video game book publishing in the past, mostly guidebooks and activity books, but after the success of the FNAF trilogy, they began to publish other video game books like Assassin's Creed,
Putin might
Last
party the
Descendants,
theory
World
about the
of Warcraft,
ships.
Traveler. This
It's
led
like,
them to
I
launch
like
an entirely
ships, like
separate wing of their
potato ships
business,
are
AFK,
good.
the video game specific book department.
I like them with
These guys who are
ketchup
publishing all the books
flavor,
that Tom is now gonna have to read.
campestre flavor, I don't know how to say it on English, normal
Given it was often
flavor,
shown at the top of articles for this new publishing arm at launch and has sold 9
pizza
million books to
flavor,
date with an average book price being about $10. That is $90
sometimes
million infused into the historically
presunto
struggling
flavor.
print publishing business. It's no wonder the first 6 rows of their website are dedicated to FNAF. But without AFK, it's easy to imagine a world where these other mascot horror games didn't get that chance, and all those writers who've now been able to make a living off of these franchises wouldn't be recognized like they are. I mean, take for instance
There
Andrea
are,
Wagner, who wrote the vast
vending
majority of
machine
Fazbear Frights and Tales
bro.
from the Pizzaplex stories. She's now getting DM'd by fans asking for lore clarifications, something I'm sure she never anticipated while working on her past writing projects, like her dog how-to book, Dog Parenting, or Alternate Beauty, the story of a big girl with big dreams. Her words, not mine.
Okay.
The same thing is now happening with another struggling industry.
It's because of a
movies. After spending
shrinkflation
8
make price
years in
smaller
production
to keep
hell,
prices the
losing directors,
same.
struggling with studios and trying to nail down a script, Blumhouse eventually
Yeah,
took the chance on
sometimes like I
making
buy
the movie
a
on $20 million
bag of
budget and earning
chips,
back nearly
and like half of
$300
it
million. If you don't
is
think Hollywood has
empty.
taken strong notice of that when they are
It's so
struggling to get
bad,
butts and seats, you are
and it
wrong.
keeps the
You
same
think it's a coincidence
price.
that 2
What's
months
the
after
mentality
FNAF's
between a
release,
pregnant
Bendy
woman,
announced
frozen
his big
beer, and a
screen
burnt
debut? And while a Poppy
pizza?
Playtime movie was already in the works with Studio 71, I can almost guarantee conversations with studios around it have shifted in the aftermath of FNAF. And who knows what other
Why
mascot
are we
horror
making
games
so many
might end up
jokes
with
about
movies down the line. And not only
pregnant
is it
woman,
getting
bro?
indie
But
game
yeah,
movies
what
greenlit,
it
it's
is.
also reshaping film
You should have
studios
taken
priorities.
it
As they
out
continue to fumble around in the
earlier.
dark, struggling to find ways to compete with online
Oh my
content,
god,
I've literally
bro.
had conversations
What
with people in
is
film
my
studios about
chat
how they're trying
become
to tap into
today?
that FNAF audience.
It's
That
okay,
online
it's no
community.
problem,
The
I
success
guess.
of this one film
But
will be shaping the
it's
types
so
of movies that
random
get made
today,
and
it's so
how they will move
chaotic.
forward. I guarantee it. But
Oh my god,
movie
Kiripatuti
releases
is
mean big
laughing
bucks for
so
big
loud.
studios, the economic ramifications go way beyond just extra cash in the pocket of Jason Blum. The FNAF movie was shot in New Orleans, which, since Hurricane Katrina, has been an economically depressed part of the country.
Well,
Now,
we
I
have
didn't know this
Tempest
at the time,
Christine
but from
here,
speaking to
lol.
local actors and business owners
Almost a
while I was down
tornado
there filming
formed.
last
I think
year,
a tornado
New
formed
Orleans
here,
actually
lol.
has a long history in film production. When the state government of Louisiana first introduced tax
Accurate,
credits
any
for
plans
film
to imagine
production
for the
back in
future?
2000,
Yes, we have a lot of
1,000 projects
plans.
happened down there in the
Hey,
span of
creator,
7
do you
years.
want to
Those
talk about the
productions
plans, or I
declared
talk with
locals
them?
brought millions of dollars back into the city.
About
However,
plans.
pre-COVID, those incentives were rolled back.
Ooh,
and
there's
productions have now started
that's
to move to other places like Georgia. That's
Pelicano.
why so many of the local actors and business owners I spoke with while down there were eager to see the FNAF movie in town. By
Like
shooting
what?
in New
Look,
Orleans, a huge
live
chunk of that $20
together,
million budget was going to
have
accommodation,
our own
drivers,
farm
caterers,
because we already have our
location rentals,
animals,
equipment, and other general
have our
resources to help
gaming
local businesses
together,
thrive, and maybe start a
have
domino
have
effect
at
to
least
get
a
other
kid,
movies
of
back in the region.
course,
Regardless of all of that, the point is that
marriage,
this
even though
one
we
decision
consider
to
ourselves
try one
married,
final game, it's grown beyond itself. It's no longer
giving a
about
lot
just
of
making its own
cuddles because he's so
franchise
cute,
full games. It's spread to
Patuti.
all corners of the media
Be
industry, to
rich,
so many other IPs and creators.
so he doesn't
Spawning
have
a
to
wave
work
of
and
new
can play
franchises
video
and
games
giving life
at
to
all
so many
times.
careers
Help
that
him
otherwise
develop
might not
his
have had a
game.
chance. But speaking of careers,
Buy
there's
him
one
stuff,
final
buy him a
area that's
Nintendo
also needs to
Switch
be addressed, an area that
2,
has been so
buy him
affected by
consoles,
FNAF,
buy
it's
him
crazy to not
games,
talk about. And that, of course, is
do animation
FNAF has
together,
done a lot of numbers for a lot of industries, but its effect on the YouTube
walk
landscape
on
is still
the
visible to
fields,
this
because
day,
we have
and in
fields
a much
here
more
between
obvious way.
Utaller,
When
a
FNAF
creator
first
is
launched,
Taller.
it was just one of many games that YouTubers started playing because spooky games got big.
I'm kinda tiny, by the way, sometimes, depends on what shoes I'm wearing.
Going strong today. Let's players like Corey X Kenshin
And that's kind of that. Having at least a cat, 2 gooses, ducks, sheep, goats, and chickens. My love wants a cat at least. How tall? Kiripatuti, how tall are you? I don't know, I didn't measure him.
Models and characters to tell their own unique
A
stories.
creator,
long before the FNAF
Kiripatuti.
movie ever hit theaters,
I think he's
racking up
like,
millions of views. But what truly set FNAF apart were obviously the hidden details.
1 meter and 80
This, more than anything
centimeters.
else, ignited the internet's passion like never before, giving rise to the theorist
Clip.
community. People like Dawko, Rezbowski, 8-Bit Ryan, Rye Toast, ID's Fantasy, Hyperdroid,
Also, I think we left like a lake with fish and have a pool. Yes, how tall are you, Cutie Patootie? Was that in feet? I don't know. Cutie Patootie, please translate.
Always just part of the channel's DNA. But before FNAF, we were coming up with lore theories for franchises where the story was basically well known. Whether or not Majora's Mask is an allegory for grieving, you get the story of a moon crashing down. Regardless of whether Peach is Rosalina's mom, you get the basic premise of Mario Galaxy. Humans certainly might be Pokemon. That's not really affecting anyone's journey to become a league champ.
I'm 180 centimeters. Yes, but in feet.
Holding the lore and forcing the fan base to solve it.
I think that's 6 feet.
Anything, Scott allowed YouTubers, Redditors, and just general fans to
or 7, 8, I don't know.
Reassess the lore, find new directions.
I'm doing my feet calculation.
That we're still theorizing about it to this very day. Can it be frustrating? Absolutely. Heck, maybe now that I'm retiring from the channel, I can track Scott down and get some answers.
Bro, it's gonna kidnap Scott, no way. 5'9".
On YouTube has carried over into the mainstream. We're now almost.
Oh my god, one little more it was gonna be 6'9", bro.
Well, it's impossible to calculate the full
Sorry.
scope of FNAF on YouTube. I was able to find that there are 106 videos with more than 10 million views.
This stream was so crazy. This stream is getting so crazy. My god, this is a wild stream and chaotic stream today.
YouTube, which is about $4.55.
I got cute tiny face! You're adorable. Time to remove your kneecaps.
$570,000 in average.
Don't do that, please!
Literally gone on record to say that the house that he lives in is
Manzanita. This stream isn't over. Time to make it worse. Okay, more chaos. I'm like 1 meter and 60.
So there's two ways I could look at this, right?
Right. 1 meter and 60.
Dividends. It is paid out for me specifically.
Cutie Patootie, how much I am? It's 160. 167, 68.
Sam Haft is now writing songs for internet sensations like Has Been Hotel. YouTubers like FNAF and Rytos, they've been able to go full time with YouTube, all thanks to FNAF. And heck,
yeah, kind of that.
FNAF, we've thrived. We've been able to grow our team, give jobs to dozens of people, and perhaps best of all, we've carved out our own platform that allows us to turn the spotlight on.
I don't know even my own height, bro. Short, I know.
They're able to pay it forward, to make you aware of projects that you should be.
I'm kind of short. I'm 5'5". Let's go, tall.
Shipwrecked 64. Welcome home.
You know, I'm still. I don't know my tallness because because of the back surgery. I think that fluctuates a little bit now. But yeah, she's cute side's very petable. Don't you tell me. You're so big you don't fit in my bed, bro. It's kind of crazy. It doesn't fit in my bed like he's so big. I kind of get worried. I think I need to get a king size bed, bro.
John FNAF. Not only have these events been able to raise
hey, true, you're adorable. Even though, like, also it's my fault because it's full of plushies too. What do you mean not fitting your bed? Because it's so, you know, my bed is kind of. How can I tell you this? It's kind of. It's not a queen bed. It's not a king bed. It's like those. It's kind of almost a single bed. It's not fully couple bed. Not even single beds. And it's not really long, you know.
Look at the impact that one
I fit when I call. Yes, you have to be bent. Twin bed, quite that. Yeah. Yeah, I have to share bed with a cutie and 500 plushies, true. Or full bed. No, it's not a full bed. It's not a full couple bed, no. And it's kind of small for a creator. It's good for me, but it's small for him. I sleep in that bed since I was a kid, so, and I'm not that big, so I fit.
It spreads and creates a real massive change.
I don't know how to call that bed though.
Is the hardest thing about
and it's really low, the bed. It's good for my back, but for a creator it's weird because he wants he likes like more taller beds. Full bed is double the twin. Okay. It's kind of wide, low the grounded, just my size with no plushies. Yeah, I just feel everything with plushies, I'm so sorry. It's kind of wide, yeah. It's a good bed, by the way. It's broken, but it's good. I need to fix my bed, by the way. It's broken since I was a kid, I don't know what happened. I think it was already broken when I got plushies comfy though. Thank you!
Diner. This is where it all began.
What is this voice? What the f-
The string of
Lag,
dates
sorry,
and
between I'm
William's
expecting
descent into
lag.
madness. Everything
Okay,
stemmed from
sorry.
this one location. Or at least, that's what we all thought. Until today. Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory, where it is
This is so
finally
weird. What
time.
is this
Today,
about?
I graduate from FNAF
My friend
boy
just thought
to
he's the
FNAF
new
man
host.
and take on
What
my
is that
very first
drawing?
FNAF theory. Although, I say that, I have actually been helping Matt write FNAF theories for the past 3 years.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks,
Have
Matt.
a safe flight back.
Bye.
I didn't get to talk to you about Gregory as a robot. It's all right. I mean, to be
What
fair,
is
that
happening?
was
This
both
is
of our
weird.
things, but,
I threw something out. My first FNAF theory. I threw something out.
Yeah. Gregory's a robot, first FNAF
That
theory.
art
Look
is
how
official,
well
but you,
received it's been.
why though? What? Why is that official?
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? But don't worry, theorists. I promise today's theory
Why
is
does
way
this guy
less
sound
crazy,
British?
Hopefully. Because today, I'm going to be tackling one simple, teeny tiny detail that I think is really important
Because of a
to
parody
understand
game.
this franchise. Help Wanted 2 was
What?
full of collectibles, most of which you get from a prize machine after you beat a minigame. Some are set prizes that relate to the level you just completed, like a sun figure for beating the first daycare mission, or a meat pretzel for beating the Fazbear Theater. However, after you beat the game,
Bro,
there are
but
some
those
extra
Matt
prizes
Pat's
to
still
collect that are
on the
given to you at
channel.
random when you replay
April
the
Fool's
stage.
joking.
Usually this is
Ah,
just
okay,
extra
thank you.
plushies, models, or food. But sometimes you get posters, and one of these posters stood out above all the rest. It ends up on the back wall right next to the Faz Wrench entrance for the Princess Quest minigame. It's a poster promoting Fall Fest 1970. Now, to the
I don't
FNAF
know, you're
community,
kids.
Fall Fest is nothing new. We first saw this name pop up almost 5 years ago in the Curse of Dreadbear DLC for the original Help Wanted. A Halloween-inspired event full of attractions, rides, and of course, spooky versions of all our favorite characters to fit in with the Halloween theme. But there is one crucial difference between this Fall Fest and the one we see on the poster from Help Wanted 2, the date. The banners around the Curse of Dreadbear hub world show that this event was taking place in 1983, but this new poster
That
is from
pumpkin
over
is
a
weird.
decade before. This whole Fall Fest thing has clearly been running for a very long time. In fact, it's been running since before the earliest confirmed parts of the FNAF timeline. In the Silver Eyes, when Charlie is looking for news articles on Fredbear's
Why is
family
it
diner, she starts the search in
19F0, bro?
1979, seeming to imply that this was when the diner was founded. But that is 9 whole years after this poster was published. And that's not all. Look at the design of this poster. While it's advertising Fall Fest, it's not inherently spooky like the event we see for the Curse of Dreadbear. Instead, it has autumnal elements, but it's mostly designed to look like an old two-toned circus poster. And put with
Okay.
a giant circus tent right in the middle. And this isn't the first time Steel Will has offered us hints that circuses might be important to this franchise. There's the
Why,
minigames in
though?
Help Wanted 2, like the Carousel and Phasablast. There's the circus costumes that are
Carousels
down in the
belong in
basement of
circles.
Ruins.
I
There's
think
even
I
circus-themed
just see
Funko merch.
them on
Clearly, Steel Will is
fairs
beating us over the
and
head
theme
with this circus
parks.
thing for a reason. But why? Well, back in 2022, in the build-up to Security Breach's Xbox port, Steel Wool did an interview with Game Jolt to talk about how they made Security Breach, give some updates on Ruins development, and drop some little hints towards what might be coming down the pipeline for them and the FNAF franchise. And when asked what kind of game they'd like to make in the future, they said this.
One thing that I've always would love to do is get back to kind of like the origin of like Fazbear Entertainment, kind of see how things were made.
Is that a sticker that someone put in the stream of that guy?
About the origins
Lol.
of Freddy's set in the 70s. Most of us at the time assumed this would just be Fredbear's Family Diner, but with all this circus imagery popping up, it begs the question: what if Fredbear's
This is so
Family
weird. I'm
Diner
not
wasn't
used to
the
this
origin of
voice.
Freddy's? What if instead it was this circus, Fall Fest 1970? And once I realized that, things started to fall
Sorry,
into
I'm
place.
getting
This poster
the
is
heater
key
on
to
again.
clarifying some massive holes in the
I'm
FNAF
cold
timeline.
again.
It confirms a number of things we've been predicting for a while, and it shines a little more light on the franchise's latest villain. Come to think of it, maybe this isn't such a small theory after all. Whoops. So, you better grab your popcorn, theorists, because the show is about to begin, and I'm going to reveal to you the true origins of Freddy's. But just before we get into that, I need to talk to you about something else that's really important. It's something you may have seen
If series
watch
after
our
my
sister
the
location
user of
style
like
thing, but we
crazy.
have
Let
an
me
exciting
see.
theorist event coming up. We are putting on a fashion show. It's called Creators
Oh my
in Fashion,
god!
and it is the first of its kind.
Oh
Not just
my
because a fashion show
god!
has never been done on YouTube before, although that is pretty cool, but because we're getting weird with it. How weird? Well,
Wait.
the first runway of the night is going to be FNAF themed. You heard that right. We've had FNAF games, a FNAF movie, a FNAF cookbook, and now FNAF is completing the theorist gauntlet and
Bro,
getting a
look
FNAF
at these
runway. Although, if
views!
you've
What
ever
the
bought a
high quality FNAF merch, FNAF being
No
high fashion might not be that
way.
surprising. But what might be surprising is what creators we have planned for the event. It's called
Bro,
Creators
they
in Fashion
ruined
after all, so we
it.
wanted to make sure we were spotlighting creators from all corners of the internet and make this one-of-a-kind event
What?
even more special. We've got the likes of ZHC, Seek Discomfort, Cassie Ho, and Critical Role, all getting glammed up to strut their stuff. We've got Simply Nailogical providing nails for the event, and the whole thing is
When
going to
does it
commentated
start?
by Rosanna Pansino and Trisha Hirschberger. Talk about star power.
1 year
But of course, we
ago.
couldn't do a fashion show by Theorist without some weird little Theorist antics going on. Besides the FNAF runway, we've also got dogs walking the runway. And no, I'm not just talking
Okay,
about
it was
Santi. I mean
here.
literal dogs strutting up and down. And I'm not lying to you when I say they look both adorable and fierce. Speaking of fierce, we've also got our amazingly talented
here.
host of
Okay,
style
it started
Amy,
here.
taking center stage to co-host this event alongside the man that I know you've all been missing. That's right, MatPat is coming back to host this very
Bro, this is
special
so
event.
low.
And to
What
celebrate,
is
we're gonna be
this?
drenching the man live on stage. Maybe it's water, maybe it's Nickelodeon slime. Who knows? You'll have to watch the
Don't
screen
you
to
tell
find
me
out.
that's-
So mark your calendars for April
that
25th
is-
at 2:30
that is
p.m. PST.
channel
We're gonna be going
design,
live
bro.
right here on Game Theory. So if you aren't already, make sure you're subscribed because believe me, you do not want to miss this. Amy has a lot more surprises for you guys up those lacy sleeves. So remember, that's April 25th, 2:30 p.m. PST, right here on Game Theory. I'll see you there. But for now, let's get off the runway and head back to the circus. Now, I understand there may be
What's
some
your
hesitancy
opinion
in me
of
changing up the
MatPat
entire
retiring?
beginning of the timeline. I get it.
It's
a pretty
weird,
big
bro. I'm
play.
not
And
used
while
to
there have
this.
been a
He
number
could
of in-school
actually
circuses
just-
throughout the games and books, it doesn't necessarily
Just
mean that's where this
cancel
whole
the
thing
channel?
started. So let's take a look at
You
one of the
know?
more recent
Should I
examples
change
of
my
circus
shoes to my new
into
shoes that I
so
got in
can
December
show you
that I
where
haven't
I'm
worn
coming
yet?
from. In the basement of the
Maybe
Ruined
yes,
DLC,
because
you
if you
find
don't
Mimic. There
use
are
your
two costumes
shoes
hanging up, an old
and
lady
they're new and
blackbird
never
and an
worn,
elephant
they can
dressed
get
as a clown. In the game files, there's also a
broken
lion
or
wearing a
something.
varsity
I'm
jacket.
currently
3
wearing
animals
boots.
all associated with
Okay,
the circus.
are you
Elephants
uh,
often perform
depending
tricks,
on
lions
is
are
how
regularly
if
tamed by
there
lion
is
tamers, and
snow
while
or
crows
not?
blackbirds aren't traditionally circus animals, they do
If there
often
is
appear in
snow or not,
circus-focused
or
media like
rain,
Disney's
depends.
Dumbo.
You have to
Plus,
see if the
elephant
show
literally
is good
dressed as
for
a
the
clown.
environment that
Doesn't
you are
get more
in.
circusy than that. But the most important part isn't actually their circus theme.
Not all the
It's
snow
fact
melted
they
yet.
are
Okay, keep the
animatronic
boots
suits.
then.
In our
It's
initial theory
better.
on Ruin, we talked
If it's
about
a
how
normal
these
shoe, don't
costumes
use
seem
it.
to be
You
related to
probably
circus
can
babies
get it
because,
wet or
you know,
something.
circus. However, when Circus Babies Entertainment
Use it
Rental
when
or
it's
even
better.
Circus Babies Pizza World was due to launch, they were all animatronics, and complex ones at that. Why then would they have physical costumes? They wouldn't, unless these costumes actually came from something circus-themed that was before animatronics were part of this franchise. In The Mimic, not the robot, the Tales from the Pizzaplex story named after him, we learn of a character named Edwin who owns a robotics company, getting big off of making a robot vacuum cleaner. However, with the birth of his son, the death of his wife, and then the crippling pressure of running his own business, he decides to sell the company to none other than Fazbear Entertainment. Why does Fazbear agree to purchase? Because they want Edwin for his robotics knowledge. Specifically, they want him to turn their character costumes into full-blown animatronics. We've seen him do exactly this with Chica in the first few pages of the story. Later on, he goes on to explain that this is the 18th character he'd been asked to create, describing the collection as, quote, a circus-like array of animal and other character costumes. Circus-like, you say? We believed for a long time that Edwin is the book's parallel for Henry, the animatronic genius that helped Afton to grow Fazbear into the animatronic empire we know today. So the circus-themed costumes we see in the basement of Ruin likely came from that same time period, a period where Henry was transforming costumes into animatronics. And these costumes aren't Henry's only connection to the circus either. When Charlie goes back to her childhood home in the Silver Eyes, she looks through Henry's office and finds an assortment of books that, quote, would have seemed eclectic to anyone who didn't know the man. There were books on biology and anatomy, some on human beings, others on animals. There were books about the history of the traveling carnival and of the circus. There were books about child development, about myths and legends, about
unicorn!
techniques. There were volumes that claimed to be about trickster gods, about quilting bees, and about football cheering squads and their mascots. Most of these make a lot of sense. Things like anatomy, mascots, sewing patterns, it all ties into the idea that he was creating characters and turning costumes into animatronics. The books about child development either tie into the fact that he was catering to kids and so was trying to figure out how he could best serve his customers, or it's linked to the human anatomy books and ties into Henry creating robot versions of his daughter Charlie. But there's one selection that's always stood out as odd, one that I've never had an explanation for, and that is the history of the traveling carnival and of the circus. Why would Henry need books on that topic if
Traveling carnival?
is on animatronics
That exists.
and diners?
You know, here carnival happens in 3 or 4 days and then it's over.
And carnivals.
Please,
It was a
thank
hint
you.
as to the first years of this business.
What happened? What are you clipping, bro?
Seems to be where Fazbear Entertainment all began. But now the question is, who else was there? And I don't mean human characters. Let's be honest, we don't have many of them that are actually important, especially not back in 1970. I mean,
so many
which
characters.
Of the Fazbear characters were part of the original roster. As I've mentioned, during How Wanted 2, we get
Carnivals are like fairs, not the holiday itself. Then why we have Carnival holiday here in our country?
The game itself is pretty straightforward. You know, when
it's like 3 or 4 days of Carnival and then it's just for the next year. Fairs are like every week or so, depending on the type of fair, of course. Sometimes are bigger fairs and others are smaller fairs.
Are something we specifically associate with Halloween.
Unless it's in other countries.
Know to take place at Halloween in this franchise is, you guessed it, Fall Fest. We even get a Halloween-themed version of Moon appear
the
during
Carnival
the
holiday origin is
The
contested.
carousel is
Oh,
from
okay.
Fall Fest, which means it's
But
from
it's
the early
confusing.
part of the franchise. But then take a look at the characters that are used on the carousel. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, which
maybe
is what
maybe its origin is, I don't know,
the original
old.
versions from FNAF 1. The one that immediately stands out to me is this white
You know,
and pink version of Foxy.
I don't know if it's an European origin because there are many countries in Europe that
it has a hooked hand.
actually celebrates Carnival,
is clearly lacking in sister location.
like Venice.
And that's in
Venice Carnival.
Before sister location and
But then we have Portuguese Carnival that has like all of that stuff, like walks and dances and.
Instead,
And then we have Brazilian Carnival, of course. That one is huge, bro.
Which group that is. The other characters on this ride, besides Funtime Foxy and the
I'm back. Hello, Shield Gamer. How are you? Sorry, you haven't found the original yet. How, bro? There are no books that were left by the people.
The toy version of
I know what my grandma.
Wrong. Doesn't it? The toys don't become
So I hope your grandma is okay.
With their special recognition software and new, more complex endoskeletons. They
I'm at my grandma's. That's cute.
Withered versions of the original Freddy, Bonnie.
You know, I'm always at my grandma's because I live in my grandma's house. It's the new T-Rex. Yeah, it's so weird. Like, why? There seems to be several different places Carnival came from.
Going back to the
I don't know when then. Maybe it's a coincidence. So that does it. What?
One character mentions a few of them: a brown Freddy Fazbear costume, a yellow Chica costume, a Foxy costume, a Bonnie costume. The original 4 were all in existence as costumes.
Is it my impression or the guys are British, Tom? Well, my parties know it's Scott Calton. Who is Scott Calton? How many left?
A few years ago, there was a, let's just say, controversial, but at the time,
18
FNAF artists dropped an image onto the FNAF subreddit with zero context or explanation. The only thing we knew is that these images contained Scott's official copyright. These images were commissioned by Scott, which makes them as good a piece of evidence as any. And what are these images of?
Made FNAF.
Freddy, Bonnie,
why is it with Scott now? Wasn't Matt Pat with his wife and kids? Oh my god, drama.
In order to have a human fit inside them. These appear to be the original costumes for the characters. And where were these costumes used? I suspect they were worn at the circus. Why? Well, notice the bright red cheeks. Exaggerated features like big red noses or cheeks have been used by clowns and circus performers for centuries.
Scott also retired. Matt Pat playing in the FNAF. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. He's now an actor, right?
And one of this character's iconic features was painted red cheeks. Similarly, Albert Fratellini is known to have helped redefine
bro, we are learning clown story, bro. No way.
With the bright red nose we know today. Why did both these performers feel it necessary to have bright red features for the evolution of the clown? Because when the word clown was first recorded in 1560, it meant rustic, poor, or peasant. This often boiled down to one simple
clown lore,
the town drunk, who you would often see after he'd had a bit too much to drink with a bright red nose and red cheeks. This happened.
Oh my god, don't you tell me that's about it.
Causing a release of histamine.
It's just a representation of drunk people. Oh my god.
And nose. The idea of referencing this was to make clowns or characters immediately look foolish, silly, or disarming. So people would be quicker to laugh at them rather than be scared of them. Which is
but now
ironic
people are scared.
That is why I believe these costumes are circus costumes. So, not because they're trying to make characters.
Sorry, all of them are drunk then.
Look like drunks, that wouldn't be.
That's why they fumble.
was to invoke those same reactions.
Yeah, they're all drunk, bro. They're all drunk.
Fun. And the kicker is you can see this trait
Oh my
carried
God.
over into the most definitively circus costume we've got available. Elephant costume down in the ruined basement. Usually you don't get a chance to see them up close, but freeze the frame just right, or, you know, search the game files, and you'll find that although a little faded, it too has rosy red cheeks.
It also
So
is
red cheeked
drunk.
characters, like the ones we see in these
Don't you
designs,
tell me
would have
that all the
been right
FNAF
up
characters
home
have
with
an
circus,
origin
which also opens
in
up the door to other
drunkenness.
red-cheeked characters from this
They all
franchise to
drunk,
potentially
oh my
be part of
God.
the original roster. Maybe characters that weren't originally animal costumes, but more likely humans wearing the same kind of face paint. Case in point, Balloon Boy.
He also
Balloon Boy
drunk.
has never really fit in anywhere. We turned on FNAF 2 and he was just there, and we've hated him ever since.
Oh, poor guy.
But in Security Breach, he got his own arcade.
Can you believe
cabinet,
I'm a
Balloon
member
Boy.
since
And
9 January in your Discord and we are having so much fun? Yes!
Balloon Boy's only
It's so
standalone adventure
amazing.
places him at the circus. But while
Drunk
he never
child. I think that's illegal
he
now.
did have a striking resemblance
Yes,
to a
I
handful
can
of
believe
characters
because
in
it's
sister
true.
location
And I'm
circus
happy.
venues. Other wooden puppets
Cute
like the
animal,
magician
thank you.
and fortune
You know,
teller,
in
all
my
jobs that would be
country,
found
in the
at a circus.
past,
Selling balloons was an
kids
important part
would
of any circus.
drink
So Balloon Boy
wine
with
and
his little
eat
sign
bread
offering
before
to
going to
children would be
school.
right at home with the rest of
I
them.
think
And to top it all off,
specifically
when Funko decided
into
to release their
wine.
new circus line of FNAF products, it contained
It
not
was
just
kind of
clown
normal,
versions of
bro.
characters, but versions
Kids
of all of them
drinking
wearing
wine here,
Balloon
but then
Boy's
I think
iconic
it become
outfit. We were
illegal
being shown that balloon characters and specifically
because they
that
said that
outfit
wine and
are
bread
inherently
gets
tied to the circus.
tired
Balloon Boy
horse soup.
has to be
Yes,
a part of
horse
this.
soup cute.
Full Fest is where he
It's called
finally makes
sopa de
sense.
cavalo
Another example would be
cansado
Circus
também.
Day. She's been showing
Yeah.
up a lot in recent games, just like the circus
It was
industry. So
soup
it feels like
of
Steel Wool
wine and
purposely
bread.
trying to
It's
connect the
weird,
two.
but
She's
it's
also got the
true.
red cheeks
I
we
think
talked
that's
about, as
illegal
well as
for
that
kids
white
now.
face paint that we
But
see on most traditional
in the
plants. She's
past,
fit
yeah.
right in at a
If we
circus.
come
Plus,
here,
you
just
know,
wine and
she's
wine and
literally got
wine. People
circus in
love
her
wine.
name. Maybe this character, who's
You know,
posted in
some
the timeline is
wine
perplexed
bottles
us
are
for so
amazing,
long,
by the
but
way.
way earlier in the franchise's history
They have
than
some
any of
cool,
us expected.
cool
But above
drawings.
those
My mom
two,
wants
in
to
the
collect
box,
them,
one
but
other costume
you know,
gets called out. The
my
core four,
my
but
grandpa
always
had
one
this
more.
collection of
Jessica
expensive
costume. Now, I'm sure Matt is
bottles
once again
from
freaking out because
Venezuela
jesters
and
aren't
Portugal,
clowns and they
like
aren't
really
part of the circus.
expensive
And dude,
alcohol.
get it? Just trust me on this.
Someone
In that quote
in my
from the Nick story
family,
about the rack of costumes,
it was not
after
my
listing off
grandpa,
the main
went
four
there and
characters
drank
we
all
know
of
and love,
those
they finished off by
and
adding
threw
and bright
the
yellow-green
the
cool
glasses to the
Jessica
trash,
costumes,
and my
similar
mom
colours
went really
we see
mad
sun
because that happened after my grandpa died because it was a collection
close. And just look at the
that
rest of his
person got a
curly
drinking
pointy toes with
problem.
bells, puppy
Not gonna
trousers
talk
or
about that.
pants, I suppose. And the tutu-like
And every
frills on
time
his waist
she
and ankles.
passes
He is
through that, she
100%
remembers
meant to be
my
a
grandpa's
gorgeous.
collection
He
of
jumps out of a freaking
alcohol.
castle when we first meet him in
Personally,
Security
never been a
Breach.
fan of alcohol. I might drink a beer regularly, but that's it. I don't like the smell of beer. It's so weird. But people drink wine at every meal. You know, yeah, sometimes in a healthy way, sometimes not in a healthy way. You know, my grandpa did that because he had a big depression. It was alcoholic, but he was a good man, you know. But even though he was alcoholic, then he stopped being. He never drank that collection. He always kept the collection, bro. And he also only drinks. He didn't drink like he didn't get drunk in front of me, bro. He had respect. He was so cute. You know, but there are people that you know, responsible drinking. My grandpa didn't have that, but he tried his best to be responsible in front of me, okay? He didn't get bad examples, you know, he would drink out of home, he would eat a lot of bad food out of home. He would not do that in front of me because he was a good grandpa, you know? He still is, he's not here, but, you know, he didn't drink his collections and all of that. Thank you for the cute emotes. Thank you. I still think the only thing we have of his expensive bottle collection are these mini replicas that have alcohol in there, but the rest is lost. My mom wants to see if she buys again the stuff, but yeah. Okay, good feeding dogs, bye, be back, be well.
Trying to keep costs down, buying a full mascot costume or fursuit from a trusted provider.
No, it's kind of weird, but he tried his best.
While costumes for professional jesters
what is
and clowns
this?
are typically just a few $100, keeping costs
What is
nice and
this?
low when you're first starting
Why?
out. It really feels like the circus origin
Why so
is helping characters
expensive?
that are out of place have a place to finally belong. Sun and Moon, Baby, Balloon Boy, all of them will be right right at home here at the circus. However, Fall Fest isn't just the origins of the Fazbear franchise. It's also the origins of William Afton's first major tragedy. Fazzablast in Hub 1 and 2 is a shooting gallery that matches the design of the hub world during the Curse of Dreadbear DLC. Dreadbear even makes an appearance at the attraction. So, this attraction clearly takes place during Fall Fest 1983. However, the penultimate Fazzablast level ends with you shooting a number of rockets and popping all the balloon versions of the animatronics that appear. Doing so seems to cause a chain reaction that leads to the whole thing ending with flames. And when you go back for the final level, the place is burnt to the ground. We see the same thing happen during the carousel.
Okay, there was a huge fire.
Sparks fly and the thing lights up, leading to the nightmare version of the level where the whole place is already ablaze. And if you go out of bounds during that carousel level, you can see the red sky, burnt trees, water tower, and windmill that are all present during that final Fazzablast level off in the distance. Steel Wool is clearly showing us that much like every other establishment in this franchise, this event, Fall Fest 1983, ended in fire. 1983 sucked for this franchise, but especially for Afton. He loses his kid to a malfunctioning Springlock suit and his other son's negligence. Fredbear's family diner gets shut down, and to top it all off, he loses the thing that started this whole business, the circus. Steel Wool is all about
Why would he make a circus?
Try not to set out to make a cool
Look, a sticker in the face of the guy, lol.
They have a reason for it.
I'm back. Hello, Kitty
Patootie. Forces that came out of nowhere to just hurt people and punish people, right? Like, there were results of other wrongdoing.
Adding a fire to an already pretty awful list of tragedy and loss, it would make it a little less surprising that Afton could suddenly snap and go on a murder spree. But this fire tells us more than just how this
why did he
capture
make a circus?
It also tells us that there was one other character.
Wasn't the origin some family diner stuff? Oh my god, he's getting confused.
Yeah, I know, I was surprised
He's so
too,
confusing,
but
my god.
seems to be pointing to this guy being here since the earliest days of the franchise. We get a lot of different descriptions for the Mimic during the epilogues of Tales from the Pizzaplex. Sometimes it's a traditional endoskeleton, other times it's a spider-like mess of slimy black wires. But when we are first introduced to it, we're given one extra detail. A detail that I never fully understood. Quote, it wasn't just a basic metal structure. Its steel frame was contained within a building collection of metal rods and curved plates and an impressive system of ball joints and pistons. All of it was topped with a long, vaguely
Told you Steel Wool somehow made it even more confusing.
The
You know, are you still making it confusing, or are the people making it confusing?
Fire. That's a pretty specific way of
because
especially when it
people want to see details everywhere, you know.
We're being given a clue as to where this mimic came from, because the other detail that's important to bear in mind is that quote comes from the very start of the story, when the endoskeleton first arrives at the Pizzaplex. It was delivered to this location already burnt, which tells us that it had to
doesn't need to be so confusing or interconnected.
I believe that fire was the fire of Fall Fest. But what makes me so sure that the mimic got all burned during that fire specifically? Here's the thing. I know we always joke that everything in this franchise ends in fire, but we can actually count the number of fires on one hand, even if you're an animatronic with only 4 fingers, which means it shouldn't be too difficult to go through each one and determine which
But wasn't the mimic made wasn't some guy that made the mimic?
Afton is defeated, the
Think you still will introduce them to use plot points in next game.
But as we talked about before, it doesn't seem like this is the canon ending for Security Breach. We find Gregory's drawings for the non-canon endings during Ruin, and the last one we collect is his drawing of the burn trap ending, which means this fire wasn't a real fire. And even if it was, this ending takes place at the Pizzaplex, so the mimic couldn't have been delivered to the Pizzaplex burnt from a fire, as the burn trap ending comes later in the timeline. Second option is the FNAF 6 fire, but once again we face issues with timeline. The Pizzaplex is being built on top of the FNAF 6 location, which means the mimic wouldn't be able to be delivered to that location when the Pizzaplex is being constructed, like we see in the book, because it would have already been there. The only other fire left other than Fall Fest is the FNAF 3 fire, but the owners of Fazbear Fright seemed pretty stoked when they found their first one
intentionally using the tours as marketing between games.
It only had bits and pieces.
Wasn't it the books?
So it feels like they'd have also made a pretty big deal of finding a mimic, bringing it back to the location, even if they thought it was just an endo. So it doesn't feel like it can be that one either, which leaves only one fire for the mimic to have been burnt in. The fire of Fall Fest 1983, meaning the mimic has been around for a long time. We actually theorized this back when we covered Sun and Moon after the events of Ruin. We connected the mimics thrown together, thin, simple animatronic design to that of Sun and Moon. Namely, a very weird but distinct feature, independently moving teeth. It's a strange design detail that we've never seen before. So for both characters to have the same detail in the same game makes it seem like they have to be connected in some way. And if Sun and Moon come from the early Full Fest origins of the franchise, then the mimic being around at the same time would explain that connection. But there's one more detail that tells me that the mimic has to have been around during the Full Fest era of FNAF, something that's been right under our noses for years. For a while now, we've believed that the glitch trap virus in Help Wanted 1, the virus that takes the shape of a yellow bunny rabbit and takes over Vanessa's mind, isn't actually William Afton himself, but instead a version of the mimic program that is mimicking Afton's behavior. In the game, we heard about Fazbear trying to keep costs down for this new game they're developing.
I mean, they sent us that stuff in the first place with no explanation, told us to scan it, said it would expedite the process so we wouldn't need to program any pathfinding ourselves. It was a budget thing, I guess. It was just junk, circuit boards and things like that. Look pretty old.
That game was Help Wanted. It's an in-universe game that takes the original FNAF games and turns them into new VR experiences, which is exactly what we learn happened to the Mimic program in The Storyteller. Quote, it's a simple template-style software that takes previously created stories and rearranges them into new scenarios for VR, AR, and arcade games. That's what Glitch Trap is. The Mimic program, having been scanned into the system, gets a crash course in Afton's murdery tendencies and is now mimicking it. Hence, he appears as Afton's iconic yellow rabbit. Except there's one part of this explanation that never sat right with me. If the Glitch Trap mimic was learning about Afton from the in-universe games of FNAF 1 to 6, then why does he take this form? Afton in all of those games, even in the 8-bit minigames, is always wearing his Springlock suit, because that was the costume he wore at Fredbear's family diner. But the version of the suit the mimic
It's so confusing right now. I don't understand anything anymore.
And at the time, we'd never seen this version before. This isn't his Springlock suit. It's a hand-sewn suit with plastic-looking facial features similar to the ones we saw on that concept art. Those
but that one isn't drunk. He's not drunk,
makes sense for this hand-sewn golden rabbit suit to have also come from the same time period. But for the mimic to have been able to copy this design, it would have to have some memory of this version of Afton in its memory banks prior to being uploaded to the Help Wanted game system. It would have to have observed Afton perform in this iconic golden rabbit costume alongside a golden singing bear at Full Fest. The mimic would have to be around during the early costume days of the franchise. Tape Girl did say the circuit boards looked pretty old after all.
It was just junk, circuit boards and things like that. Look pretty old.
Maybe the mimic was originally meant to mimic Afton specifically. I'm not entirely
sure. There were computers in 1970.
I feel like this is where the clues might be headed.
Like
both Full Fest and the diner were
home computers at least.
So they coexisted for at least 4 years, with the diner opening in 1979. And we know that Afton was performing as Spring Bonnie at the diner.
Cute.
So it's possible that the mimic was part of Afton's plan to expand the business. He could literally be in 2 places at once. Eventually, the mimic would be locked underground, with some circuit boards containing its programming set aside just in case. And when
there were computers with not computers. Then how did they were circuit boards so small back then in the FNAF lore?
It recognized
they were huge computers, like geez.
Golden rabbit from the circus, and so decided to take on the form it remembered from all those years ago, creating the monster we have spent the last 3 games and 2 DLCs trying to stop. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory! Thanks for watching. The crying child's name has
If you use logic, your brain will explode. Don't you tell me.
A question that has stumped this community for a literal decade. And the craziest part of all of it, it was solved by a channel with only one video. Matt must be rolling in his retirement grave.
We'll just see about that.
What?
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, the show that's happy to let someone else solve FNAF for a change. Since the release of Security Breach, it feels like there's been a massive new wave of FNAF theorizing on YouTube. We've seen the rise of people like John FNAF, Rye Toast, ID's Fantasy, and dozens more, all joining us in the good fight to try and solve the infuriating lore of this franchise. And just over a month ago, a new challenger, or should I say challengers,
last one before make way.
The channel dual
yes, I will not finish this one.
Went big
today.
for their first outing, making the claim that they'd solved the entirety of FNAF in their very first video. And not only were they laying down a timeline for the whole series, they also claimed to have solved a particular mystery that has been bugging us theorists for a long time. What is the name of the crying child? After nearly 10 years, we still just call him the crying child, despite the fact that every other character in this franchise seems to get a name.
Okay, let's start the game. Let me print screen this so I know the time we were. Okay. Let's start.